Alright guys, we're back. Let's get a drum roll going, see if the booth is going to work. And good troll, Cynacious, good troll. You had me there for a second. It looked official. It looked official. Too late, Mark.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were someone else completely different. I'm sorry.
No, like, it's still just pausing. Just pausing. Yeah, Cynacious, I will always fall for it, every time. Actually, that's the only time I've ever fallen for it. It's the only time he's ever done it. Cynacious is trolling us by making it look as though he's subscribed.
How dare you?
He says Cynacious says we can take his money anyways. And Mark said, don't care about the booth. So those of you who know me, imagine my face. And for those of you who have never seen Zeeksy,
Imagine
wow.
Ryan's face.
Yeah, just imagine. Honestly, that's not a lie. Maybe later I'll post a Facebook picture in chat, but a lot of people do think we're related. We look quite like brothers. And
But we're not. I would never be his brother.
no, I would have killed myself. If we came out together within the span of like 5 years, I would be done. So you have some deck lists?
I do.
Well,
I do.
not full lists. Oh, there's a guy named Ryan. There's another Ryan.
We've got 10 players tonight.
Dumb mother followed again. I remember you.
There might be...
Hold on. Give me a second. Dumb mother. Dumb mother. I love you.
Follow every single time we stream.
He's in it for the hype, okay? Maybe he really is just like someone's dumb mom who doesn't get it.
I'm supposed to follow every time,
Keeps following
right?
for the hype.
That's
So
how
what
it
do
works.
we have today? What are all the legacy archetypes that I don't know that we'll be playing today?
Well, one person's playing Pod. I've never seen Pod in Legacy.
Titania Pod. I know Titania. Yes. I don't know off the top of my head what it does, but that sounds amazing right off the bat.
Titania Pod. We've got Jeskai Top. We've got Elf Combo. We've got Temur Delver.
Okay, I know Timur Delver. I know that one.
We've got Maverick.
It did look like something before Maverick.
No, that's what he was calling it. He was calling it Giraldi, but it's actually Maverick.
Yes, EOSP Legacy Pod.
Yeah, there's Legacy Pod
We
here.
have to get that on cam tonight. Absolutely.
That's what he was telling me. When he first said it, I was like, wait a minute. You mean Pod?
That does not
like
exist.
Actual Pod? And so yeah, there's that. We're gonna see some Farmville, Reanimator.
Farmville? What the,
yeah.
the hell is Farmville?
You'll see. You'll find out.
Okay, is that something like my mom could play? Oh god, Cynacious. Cynacious said, what's next? Boggles. I seriously hope that someone doesn't find out how to make an even more broken version of Boggles.
In Legacy.
An even less interactive version, where you have like a turn 1 12-12 core Spirit Dancer or something ridiculous like that.
I don't know, but I know we have 2 Delver decks, so there's the Temur Delver, and then there's Delver, and he didn't give me colors.
Okay, so probably just blue-red?
Yeah, and then we only have 1 Lands deck.
I like Lands.
Which, yes, but, like, I'm happy there's only 1, because last time there were 2, and they ended up playing against each other.
Oh, I remember that.
It took forever. And then Sydney will be on Death and Taxes.
Oh, good old Sydney on Death and Taxes. Great deck. I was asking him on the right over here what he puts in it.
Yeah.
It sounds special and spectacular. But he was kind of sleepy, so he was just repeating the same cards.
Apparently they did make a Boggles in Legacy.
Holy crap. And we just got Dumb Mother Follow Hype. Thank you.
Again.
Thank you for following. Again, do you have a third username? I think you could get to 3. And I think it should be a little bit less obvious than Dumb Mother Follow Hype. If you just add, I don't know.
How many rounds? I think that there's only going to be 3 rounds tonight since there's only 10 players, but I can double check. So
yeah,
I will
go double check on that. And okay, I'm excited to see Titania Pod. I don't know if we made that specific enough. They said specifically that it was Titania Pod. And Fuku Legacy Chromanticore, is that a thing? Like I said, you guys can slip any amount of misinformation past me, and I probably will not catch it. Zeeksy's here because he understands Legacy. I'm here because I love Twitch chat, and I know how to update the stream overlay, so I'm useful. All right. I don't know what Jeskai Top is. I know Jeskai Stoneblade. You know what? No. Okay, and Mark says 10 players is 4 rounds. And Eosby, get Titania Pod on camera? Absolutely. I think I think we can agree that we're all interested in seeing that one. Maverick will be... I still don't know what Farmville is. I have no idea what Farmville is. I'm just like trying to think how it would be named based on like flavor text, it makes me think it's black-green, but I'm probably completely wrong on that. And I'm going to look online right now to see if there's any sort of like precursor for this Titania Pod deck, or if this guy's the only one doing it. Yeah, absolutely no precursor, because all of the Google search results are for like companies in Poland named Titania that make pods, or pin on disc. Okay, yeah, there's presumably no sort of precursor or archetype for this deck. Just what does Legacy have that Modern doesn't, that you would want to put in Pod? That is the question that's on my mind. Like, what is there in Legacy that Modern Pod is like, holy shit, I wish I could put that in my deck? Nothing comes to my mind, but I'm sure you guys can think of something. Chaotic Origin said, well, based on the name, I imagine Jeskai Top is based on Sensei's Divining Top. Yeah, that's probably...
Jeskai Top is actually not playing tonight anymore.
Jeskai Top is not playing tonight
Instead, this is very interesting. I've never heard of this.
Okay, what is he doing now?
A new guy showed up. This is the reason Jeskai Top isn't being played tonight. That was Chuck. Chuck was going to be filling in, but since this guy showed up, he doesn't have to fill in anymore. So instead of Jeskai Top, we're going to have what he calls a booster deck.
A booster deck?
And
so did he just grab like 10 Innistrad boosters and so...
That's what I thought at first too, but apparently it's... I asked him to like tell me more about it, and he was like, "Oh, it's booster deck because you just keep boosting. So I think he's going to be boosting a lot of his monsters to be bigger and bigger and bigger." I asked him what's in it. I asked if there's anything super interesting in it, and he was like, "I don't know. We'll find out."
Has there ever been like a broken token card?
I'm not sure.
I mean, there are good token cards. Lingering Spirits is a good token card, but it's not like it doesn't usually win you the game. It's kind of like, hey, I have some blockers, and oh, I have more blockers.
I don't know. I've had cards like that win me games before. I've gone what was it? Timely Reinforcements into an Elish Norn, and that'll win me a game.
That's true. Okay, really. And do you know who we have setting up here? Did Chuck let us know?
Yes, I believe this is Greg, and we've got Greg, and I think Titania Pod's going to be in there too. So that's Maverick and Titania Pod. I'm going to go double check.
Fantastic. All right, Zeke's going to check who's on the left, who's on the right. And yeah, I have no idea what this booster deck is going to be. I really... Yeah, EOSB says, I've always thought booster deck meant using a booster pack as your sideboard. That's what it sounded like to me, and I was super excited about that. Like, I hope this guy had like some alpha boosters and some beta boosters and some crazy shit, but I guess not. So yeah, it sounds like if you're going to be boosting a lot of creatures, sounds like tokens. If you're going to be boosting one creature, it sounds kind of like boggles. I'd rather see a weenie build than a boggle build, to be honest. But back to the other topic, I don't think there's ever been a really broken token card. Spectral Procession is really good. I play that in Soul Sisters. And, oh, hey, Once and Forever King. Hello to you too, my friend. If you remember me, I'm Ryan from the Modern stream. I'm streaming Legacy tonight. And I have no idea what I'm doing, which is why Zeke'sy, also known as Alex, is here. Because he knows the names of the cards and how they interact with each other.
Yes. So we've got David, who is playing Titania Pod, and he's going to be on the left.
Okay.
And then Kyle, who is playing Temur Delver, and he is on the right.
Okay, so we've got David. I don't think Lingering Soul, or DevClock says Lingering Soul's not broken. I don't think it's broken, because it doesn't outright win you the game. It's a very good card with a lot of utility.
Thopter Foundry.
Thopter Foundry? I'm not familiar with Thopter Foundry, Ut-X Shiro. What does that do? Master Zior. Master Zior says, oi, peeps. And Zeke'sy and I say oi to you as well. Do you want to be called Zeke'sy or Alex?
Call me Alex, please.
Alex, okay, because that's your real name. But I call you that in real life.
I know, I'm sorry.
Okay, I don't think you guys are excited enough for the fact that this is Titania Pod on the left. Cynation says Goblin Rabble Master is a broken card. Here's it's a good card.
Ryan. It's you pay 1 and sacrifice a non-token artifact, and you put a 1/1 blue Thopter artifact creature token with flying into play, and you gain 1 life.
What?
Yeah, that's Thopter Foundry.
So just like switches up your board state?
Yeah, we saw it in a Lands loan deck. I think it was earlier this week.
WUBRGxyz mentioned a combo Thopter Foundry plus Sword of the Meek.
Oh.
What would you play that in? Modern or Legacy? Is Thopter Foundry? How old is Thop? It's Alara Reborn. That's modern, right?
Yeah, well, technically all these are modern. I've never seen Thopter Foundry in modern. It's mostly just played in Legacy.
Okay. And who is on the right again?
On the right is...
What's his deck? Maverick, you said?
No. He is the Temur Delver.
Timur Delver. And that is a deck I know has had a lot of success in
Yes.
Legacy.
And that is Kyle.
That's Kyle. Okay.
Yeah, I figured Thopter Sword was banned.
Kyle, possible slayer of Titania. Could you look up Titania really quick?
Yeah, it's that's shorthand for titanium, I believe.
No, I think Titania is a new card.
No, he said it was, well, maybe.
Why would he lead us on like that? That's such bullshit. I want to see Titania.
Maybe this is it.
Titania, Protector of Argoth.
When Titania, Protector of Argoth, enters the battlefield, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Whenever a land you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield,
Oh, wow.
put a 5/3 green elemental creature token into the battlefield. So that's going to be that's going to be mean. All right, so we've started. We've got a Gitaxian Probe coming down, so now we can see David's hand. David seems to have an Abrupt Decay.
Paid for that with life. WUBRGxyz Titania makes 5/5 elementals, actually.
No, it's 5/3. He's correct.
It makes 5? Oh, I thought it made 5/5 elementals. That's boring.
No, they're 5/3.
That's boring.
They can still be lightning bolted.
Okay, so I see an Abrupt Decay.
Yes.
I see an Overgrown Tomb.
Mm-hmm.
I
Voice
see...
of Teeth looks like a Voice of Resurgence in there as well.
Okay, so this is looking like Pod.
Yeah, it is. It's Legacy Pod. This is very interesting.
Boom Nasty asks, isn't this deck just called Nick Fit? I'm not familiar with the archetypes, as we said before, but he was pretty adamant about calling it Titania Pod, correct?
Yes, that is what he wanted to call it.
Okay, and he cracks the Verdant Catacomb. So he's down 1. Do we have their last names for the stream? Grab those. We're getting a deck. Chuck said he would bring us out the round pairings, and he hasn't yet. And the last names are on there.
This is not a Nick Fit deck, I'm afraid. I believe he is actually running pods, and it doesn't seem like I'm not familiar with Nick Fit running pod, but yeah.
And did he just crack that and not grab a land? What is that?
I believe he cracked it, and then I do not know what happened there, actually.
That's a little bit confusing. Okay, and we see Kyle with 2. Did he just play... Is that a Goyf? Cannot see from over here. What 2-cost green creature?
Yeah, it's David Gleicher. That's David's last name.
Okay. We'll update that for you.
Oh, yes, it got stifled. That's what it...
Oh, it got stifled. Well, that's not a great beginning. Looks like he attempted to crack the Foothills as well. And Mark's got the last names for us. Gleicher and Hautman.
Yes.
Solid last names.
Thank you, Mark.
Solid. Gleicher. And this is Kyle Hautman.
Alright, so that Goyf is going to be a 3/4 right now, I believe.
Okay. Goyf.
Yes, he's a 3/4.
Goyf is 3/4. Alright, and he successfully cracked the Wooded Foothill, so we're going to take his life down for that. Okay. Him down to 19. See, I'm used to modern, so I'm like, is he gonna shock something in? Is he gonna go down to 17? But you guys get nice dual lands that you don't have to pay for. Passes turn back to Kyle. Draw. And I'm really excited to see. We don't see a pod in Gleicher's hand. So, interested to see what he works around with. We saw he had an Abrupt Decay.
He just played his Veteran Explorer. So...
Okay. And he's swinging in with that Goyf, which we have decided is a 3/4.
David's deciding whether or not he wants to block with his Veteran Explorer. I don't think he's going to want to do that. Actually, you know, yeah, he's gonna block so that the Veteran Explorer goes in the graveyard. That way, each player can search for 2 basic lands and put them onto the battlefield.
Okay. It's good for him, especially if he wants to be casting a pod. He doesn't want to be stuck on 1 land if this is in fact a pod deck. And we see a second Goyf from Kyle. Now I like those Goyfs. I like the art on that Goyf.
However, it looks like it got stifled again. The Veteran Explorer got stifled as it went into the graveyard.
Okay. Well, he's just getting stifled all freaking day. That sucks.
Yeah, that's
not a great board state. Stifle's putting cards into
Yeah.
his graveyard. He's got 2 Goyfs out to the 1 land.
Stifle is really hurting David right now. I gotta say, that's gotta be one of David's worst nightmares.
Yeah, that's a fantastic card. I'm glad that's not in Modern. See, that's the thing. So, Legacy, you guys get to play with super powerful cards, but you have to deal with super powerful cards too,
Yes.
like Stifle.
Those Goyfs are now 4 or 5s as well, since there's a creature
4
in the graveyard.
5s. Okay. And he swung in when it was a 3/4. So we know he's down to 16. Looks like he's finally got his second land out, passes the turn back. Can't do anything from that. Can't imagine this is good position, good feeling when you've got 8 damage coming at your face next turn.
Yeah, here comes in that 8 damage. It looks like, he's going to Abrupt Decay one of the Goyfs.
So he's going to take 4.
So he's only going to take 4.
Putting him down to 12. All right. Turn back to David. Untap, draw. Is it a pod? Nope. Oh,
No,
he
looks
blocked
like
with the Goyf. He blocked the Goyf? What did he block the Goyf with?
No, he didn't.
Oh, he blocked the first one with the Veteran Explorer.
Yes.
Yes, he did. So he did not lose that 3 life. So he is at 15.
That is true.
Swung in with the second
In
one.
his hand looks like that is a
Deathrite
Deathrite
Shaman.
Shaman. And he also has that Voice of Resurgence. I don't
Okay.
know if he's going to try and play that next turn or not.
Well,
it
he
doesn't
can-
seem like honestly, he should have played that as soon as he could to keep those stifles from coming down on him.
And he can shrink the Goyf with that too. I don't know if
Yes,
he's
he
going to be
can.
able to do that fast enough. And thank you, Boom Nasty and Udex Shiro. Well, that's what I had him at. So I think I calculated correctly with wrong information because I had him at 13. There we go. Yes, and the Explorer did get stifled.
Alright, here
It stifled a
comes-
lot.
There's a Dryad Arbor.
Okay. And back to Kyle. Let's see if he has another Goyf. Goyfs all day. We haven't
He
seen
has
any
another
burn
Goyf,
yet.
That's way too much.
Swings him for 4. Looks like David takes it.
David takes it. He goes down to 9.
Yes. All right. At this point, gonna have to assume. I mean, what's his line of play here? It's kind of difficult to.
Oh, there's your burn. Burn comes down, kills the Deathrite Shaman.
Well, there you
before
go.
he can
That
activate
Goyf's gonna
any of
stay at
the
4/5.
abilities.
That is
I think I saw another Abrupt Decay come off the top.
okay. He's tapping 1, and what could he have here? Another Deathrite Shaman.
Yep, there's
Another
another
Deathrite Shaman. Okay. He passes the turn back to Kyle. Definitely not a good position for the Titania Pod player. We don't see any pods. A lone Deathrite Shaman. I believe an Abrupt Decay in hand that can take care of that second Goyf.
Yeah, he's got a Voice and an Abrupt Decay and what looks like another land.
Presumably, he's thinking about decaying here to get rid. Oh, he's just
No,
gonna chump with the
he's gonna-
Dryad Arbor. Okay, or no.
He's gonna block and then he's gonna go for the Abrupt Decay in case the Abrupt Decay doesn't hit for some
Okay.
reason.
Alright,
And now
we-
comes the third Goyf.
we see another Goyf. Okay, Kavaki says, I assume the pod deck is based off a Nick Fit show. That's something we've been discussing. We haven't seen enough cards yet.
It seems like it is based off of it with a few minor changes just because Nick Fit does play the Veteran Explorers just like the pod deck we are seeing. It plays the Abrupt Decays. I'm not seeing any red in this deck, so I don't think it's going to be playing any of the lightning bolts, the punishing fires.
No, we've just
Probably no
seen
Huntmaster of the Fells in
green
there
black,
either.
and is that a scrubland right there? That's a scrubland. Yeah, we've only seen green black cards played so far, but we know he had a windswept heath, so he presumably has white in there, or he's just trying to deck thin more and grab the green.
He's green, black, white. So you replace the red with the white, and
So he is junk,
which we know he has Voice of Resurgence.
junk Titania Pod. Let's see what he does here. Game.
Okay, that would be cable therapy.
Cabal therapy.
So he's going to presumably name.
Well, it's too late to name Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna want to name Goyf.
Because Goyf has pretty much just held this game on his shoulders.
Yeah,
We've seen 3 of them coming down.
Yeah, this is the third one. I think it would be useless to name Goyf at this point.
And I think he's seen enough information to know that Kyle is playing. Probably enough to know that he's playing Timor Delver. He's seen green, blue, red.
He does have a voice in hand, Ukabuka Lakatu.
Yes, he does. And he has not deployed that yet. It looks like he's ruminating on what to name here.
I will go ask him what he's going to name.
All right, and Alex is going to go see specifically what he names, because this is a very important decision. If you guys were in this position, what would you name? Oh. Sure if he named that or if it got spell pierced. I didn't see him tap lands, so. Okay, but we're going to get the exact information on that in just a second. What do you name?
He named Days.
He named Days. Okay, and then I believe the Cabal therapy might have been spell pierced? Or no, he would have to spell pierce it before he named it, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Well, I don't know what's going on with that spell pierce right now. Because it looks like a Days went into the graveyard. Did he play that Days when I was gone?
I don't know. He might have been discarding the spell pierce to play Days.
Oh, yes. No, that's not how that works, dude.
I was going to say, you can't preempt that, right?
No, you return an island to your hand when you play Days.
Oh. Yeah, see, I'm thinking it's Force of Will. Okay. Oh, he has to reveal his hand for therapy. That's right, so he just dropped the one card he had. He names Days. Yeah, I didn't read that clause. Okay. And we see... What is that there? Ooh, it's got the ugly barf border. That's what I like to call that.
I don't know. I like that. I like it because it's so gross.
Okay, so Cabal Therapy takes Days. He still really doesn't have a way to deal with this Tarmogoyf. Okay, passes it back to the Titania Pod player. We see the Voice of Resurgence. I think I just caught a glimpse of a pod in his hand.
That is Pernicious Steed. It's an enchantment.
Okay. Boom Nasty, we miss Mark too. Mark's the legacy expert. We're here filling in for him. I'm a modern streamer, so I'm terrified by all of these cards.
For those of you who don't know what Pernicious Steed is, you pay X mana, and then you sacrifice Pernicious Steed, and you destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment with converted mana cost X or less.
Okay. Well, there goes the Goyf, but it looks like he's curse catching. Now you can come in a little bit closer, Alex, so everyone can hear you.
Yes,
because you're the one who actually knows what the cards do.
Sorry.
And I just saw a flash of a Force of Will in Kyle's hand. Believe. Okay. Bobby H97. Definitely I'm lacking in legacy knowledge. I'm here filling in. I'm one of the modern commentators. So please be nice. Help us out. Trying the best I can. Alex is here. He has a little bit more knowledge of the format, trying to help me out. I'm here to update the overlay and say nonsense, pretty much.
Indeed.
Oh, see, I'm already getting confused by the mermaids. That was indeed a ponder.
Yeah,
That's
that
why
was
he
a
drew.
ponder.
Absolutely.
Come on, Ryan.
Ukubuku Balatu, thank you very much. Yeah, you can ask Mark. He's out of town right now. I filled in for him, trying to learn a little bit more about Legacy. Probably never be able to play it. It's fun
Well,
to see the
maybe
crazy
one day.
powerful cards.
Maybe one day. Okay, so the PD takes out the Goyf.
Okay, and now we have a clear board. We see... No idea. Again, if you guys want to help us, let's see. Boomchild says I can Skype in if you want some assistance. Hey, if Mark set that up. Yeah, Ponder is banned in Modern. We did just give away, last time we were at MTG Card Marker, two streams ago, a foil signed altered Ponder. And finally we see the voice of Resurgence come down. And like I said, I think I saw a pod in his hand there, but he does not have the mana to deploy it yet. And not a whole lot he can do. At this point, he's definitely... Udex Shiro says he's just going to call out card names, and we would be very appreciative of that.
That is a nimble mongoose.
That goose is indeed loose, according to Boomchild. And absolutely. And guys, yeah, thank you very much. We're Mark has big shoes. I'm assuming he's between size 10 and 12. So they're hard to fill.
Yes.
They're difficult. And these shoes that I'm wearing are like size 9, and they're already...
Dude, I am also size 9.
Already a little bit loose. Yep, and it looks like we don't have...
For me, I think the voice would have been better earlier on in the game, in this match, but...
He kept him off of mana so early, though.
That is true.
And what is Nimble Mongoose at right now? Just going to swing in with that. Okay.
That is a 3/3 Nimble Mongoose because he does have more than 7 cards in his graveyard.
Okay. The funky threshold cards.
I would like to let you guys know that there's currently a match that has Lands versus Reanimator.
Lands?
Lands had Merit Legion play. Reanimator has Elishnorn,
Oh my god.
Brand, and Iona in play.
Oh my god.
But was at 2, so I have no idea who's going to win the match.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so we just got some info. We have a Lands versus Reanimator match where basically all the big cards in the format are out there. We have an Iona, an Elish Norn,
Yes.
and a Merit Lage on the board at the same time. We finally see the pod.
Yep.
I believe we see the voice dying. So that's going to be a 2/2 token.
And yes, the Nimble Mongoose is Shroud, not hexproof.
Wastelanded there. He's been keeping him off mana all game. He's got the pod out now. Can work around that. I think it's going to be a little bit too late.
I don't know. I have no idea what is in that Titania Pod deck. We could see something crazy come out.
That is true. You might have just been waiting for the swings in for 2 with the token.
Well, 1 with the token.
Oh, it's 1/1? I thought it
Yeah.
was based... Oh, God. Why did I think pod
There's
was a
only-
creature? If pod were a creature, boys. If only pod were a creature.
And here comes another Explorer.
Hopefully Kyle does not have another Stifle to shut that off. Because David could truly use some lands right now. And we see the Ponder, which is not a Curse Catcher, even though they're both mermaids.
Yes.
And Kavaki mentioned they can pod into Explorer, and that is exactly what he did. But what does he pod into after Explorer?
I do not know what his 2-drops are. If they are similar to Nick Fit, then we might be seeing a Scavenging Ooze.
Scavenging Ooze would have been nice earlier to shrink the Goyfs, which we saw the Deathrite Shaman attempt to do, but he didn't get any work done. Kavaki says podding Explorer seems really sexy.
And it is very sexy.
It was incredibly sexual.
As soon as I saw the pod come out, I was like, oh wait, an Explorer for that? Oh my god, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it was, I felt the sexual tension down here. We're streaming from the basement, and it's cold, and it's desolate, but I felt the sex, for sure. And it looks like he pods that away. Well, now we get to see what he's going to grab. He's grabbing lands for the Explorer, correct? When that goes into the graveyard?
Yes, when Explorer goes in the graveyard, each player picks 2 basic lands and puts them into play. So he's gonna go search those up while he's searching up the creature.
Okay, beautiful. So maybe we're going to get to see Titania Pod do a little bit of work.
I have no idea if David's list has Thragtusk. I would assume it does, just because Thragtusk is great in the Nick Fit shell.
That would be pretty nice. We see he grabs a black mana source, grabs a swamp. Glad I named that card right. And a very old and pretty something. Grabs a
Plains.
forest.
That is a plane.
That is a plains?
Yeah.
Looks like plains. So it looks like, as we said before, he's junk colors. He's Abzan.
Yeah. Oh, I saw a Stoneforge Mystic in there, so he might be potting for the Stoneforge Mystic.
That would be interesting. And what could he grab? What do you think What do you think he has in his deck that he could grab with the Stoneforge Mystic after that?
I have to assume that he has a...
Oh, and there he goes. He grabs a forest. Now there's a forest in a swamp. Looks like he changed that one out.
I have to assume he has Batterskull in his deck. So...
And Boom Nasty said basic lands are modern legal. I'm glad you got those right. Yeah, those are the few I know, but it's like they're so faded that I can't easily tell the colors. Yeah, that would be great. I know that's one of the reasons why Stoneforge Mystic was banned in Modern, because you're just like, all right, play a Stoneforge Mystic, grab a Batterskull, and I'm up by a lot, and I'm gonna win.
Did he not grab anything?
Doesn't look like it. Kavaki asked, win or lose tonight, can he do a deck tech for us? We can ask him for sure.
Yeah, we'll ask him. I'm interested in a deck tech for this pod.
I'm beyond interested if he wins. But here we see another Cabal Therapy.
Yep.
Nimble Mongoose in hand, and it looks like a swamp or some land that is at least partially black. Oh, and he blocked with the Explorer.
He blocked with... Okay, I see.
Okay. We see
a Reclamation Sage comes out.
Okay.
But it does not have any targets.
No, so just another chump blocker.
Well,
or a sack target.
Yeah, I assume he's going to use it to sack.
Okay. And Boom Nasty pointed out that Rug Delver plays no basic lands, which is also why he's not grabbing them off of the Explorer, which is why David gets a lot of good value off of that.
Yeah, that was a P Delta.
Oh, those are the nice old P Deltas, and we see that come down now. And another Nimble Mongoose. Whew. At this late point in the game, that is representing lethal.
I really wish, like, the Nimble Mongoose reminds me of Honey Badgers, and it makes me want to say that the Honey Badger doesn't give a fuck.
He seems to not give a fuck, because there's nothing for him to give a fuck about. It's just a birthing pod with no targets.
I know.
Yeah, Udex Shiro says birthing pod could be a target if he wanted. Yeah, if it demanded a target,
that would be.
Oh my god,
that would be very sad for David.
Like when you play a burn spell and they have leyline up and you have to target yourself.
I shocked myself for 3 damage.
Yes.
Like, okay.
And Boomchild says, yeah, he grabbed another Explorer. So David looks like he's serious. He's got the hood up. He's thinking a way out of this.
He's got another pod in hand. Oh, God.
Okay.
I don't see any way out of this for David. I think...
We see an Explorer.
I think the beatdowns from the Mongooses are real.
Okay. Well, he's got another chump blocker for it.
Yep.
Yeah, and Boomchild makes a good point. Where to go from here?
Oh, yeah. We did not put the timer on
We absolutely did not put the timer up.
Sorry, Mark. We'll get that done.
We're suspended between dimensions where there is no time.
There is no time nor place here.
It's a simple mortal concept that we are somewhat beyond. Let's see. The Explorer goes in, grabs a swamp, and...
See, what I want to see him do, instead of tutoring for the voice, like Boomchild suggested, I want to see him grab that Stoneforge Mystic and then pull out a Batterskull.
That would be great. The Batterskull could beat the Badger.
Oh, no.
Oh, looks like he's going to scoop, and we're going to go to game 2.
Yep.
Update that information, and definitely get a timer on the next round.
Yes.
So this is an interesting concept.
Oh, yeah, he does have an Orzhov Pontiff.
That's modern pod right there.
There's some modern getting in there.
That's definitely some modern pod right there. Okay. And because the game is over, their life totals go back up to 20.
That is true. Good job. Good job, Ryan.
I'm learning. You guys would have loved it. We went to a PPTQ this Saturday, and I absolutely got wrecked. It was hilarious. I played Martyr Life. I lost a burn.
Boomchild, yes. I think that it was a very bold strategy. We'll see what
happens. Scooping, yes, that was... I don't know where he's going to go from there. Presumably he's going to shuffle his deck, grab 7 new cards.
I just saw him pull out... What was that? I think I saw him pull... I know there was an Ethersworn Canonist in the sideboard. I do not think he pulled that out. I saw a... And I'm losing my word. It's the Mage. It's 3 cost. White-black. You play it, and then you basically look at your opponent's hand and take an instance or sorcery spell.
I know who that is, but I can't think of it either. Again.
I saw that go in. Yep, there it is again. He's looking at it right now.
Okay.
Oh no, he took it out. I don't think he wants it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's a difficult question to ask. What does the Titania Pod player board in against Timur Delver?
It looks like he took out the Reclamation Sage, which is a smart move.
Okay. And if his sideboard is anything like Pod's, I see a Gaddock Teeg there.
Yeah, he took out the Gaddock Teeg. That's a Sin Collector. Thank
Sin
you,
Collector,
guys.
there we go.
Thank you. I brain farted right there.
Okay, we're gonna update the round record. Oh, nope, that's round 1.
I saw a Pithing Needle, and he's looking at his sideboard. He's deciding what he wants.
Okay.
What does Delver bring in?
Delver's game plan was pretty good. First time, what does Legacy Delver have options for in the sideboard? What are its sideboard options?
I believe they are.
I know it definitely seems like. Okay, and Mark says we should definitely make that Rug, not Timor.
Okay.
You got that. You're the boss, man.
I know they
Also
they
like
run
saying Rug.
they run Ancient Grudge. He may bring in the Ancient Grudge for the pod. They normally run the Fluster Storm. They might bring that in. I don't think it's really worth it in this matchup. He might bring in the Forked Bolt. Oh, definitely gonna bring in that Grafdigger's Cage. If he has one.
Okay. I think Pod wants some bigger bodies quicker. Getting beat down by graveyard creatures.
Yeah.
Things that grow the goif. And then we saw the Nibble Mongoose. Boom Nasty says he needs a new deck to play in Legacy. You should play Legacy 8-Rack. That's what you should do. Play Legacy 8-Rack or I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's
We might see Submerges come in.
Submerge.
Yeah, it'll put target creature on top of its owner's library.
Okay. Let's see what other sideboard options. Yeah, I would say Rug Delver just had the faster game.
Yeah, it had the faster game. Those Mongooses were dealing tons of damage. The Goyfs, he hit 3 of his Goyfs, all like back to back, which was very nasty for Pod.
Back to back to back. That was
Yeah.
early Goyf domination. And we saw David dealt with those. And he got the Birthing Pod out, which is what he wants to do. Obviously, if he's a pod deck, that's your crucial component. That lets you do all your tricks. That lets you move around and maneuver through your deck. But it seemed like he just couldn't find an answer. And I really wonder if he did have that Stoneforge Mystic in there.
Yeah.
Maybe he did have a Stoneforge Mystic, but not a Batter Skull or any relevant targets for the Stoneforge Mystic. Because presumably if he had a Stoneforge Mystic and a Batter Skull in there, he would have pulled that right away.
I gotta say, I really do like that he's running those Nimble Mongooses, which, as people in chat are saying, were part of Canadian Threshold. I like them in Delver. I like them in the Rug Delver list, just because they're playing lots of spells. They're filling that graveyard really fast. I think the Mongooses were doing a lot of work for Kyle in that match.
And what's his threshold count? Is it 7 cards?
It's 7 cards.
That's not too difficult to do.
No, not right now.
Especially with the pod player tossing so many things in his graveyard through sacking. Like he's
it's your own graveyard.
Oh, it's your own graveyard.
Yes.
Okay.
But it still worked out fairly well. He was countering lots of things.
I would
He
just
was
scoop cards in there. Top of my deck.
Like, I just need more graveyard.
Yeah, I started with all those in there. That's totally fine. And they are contemplating their opening hands. Looks like David is on the play.
There's a Windswept Heath getting
Gonna
cracked.
crack the Heath. Oh, look at that. We have times for this round. Hey, Dr. Derp is here. Dr. Derp knows us.
Yeah.
He found us all on Facebook last Wednesday. It was a little bit unnerving, but I'm hoping that he's a good guy. Not gonna stalk us or take that any further. He seemed to be doing it just for sport. It's a very modern sport. Facebook stalking, internet stalking.
I saw an Abrupt Decay in David's hand.
Okay, I'm excited that David kept his opening hand, and I hope he has a better game plan this time.
There goes the Explorer.
Okay. Rug okays that. And he throws down.
Oh, that would be our first actual Delver. Yeah. So
Okay. Well, there we go. See, if it were me, I would just put like 8 of those
Eight
eight
Delvers.
of those token cards in there
Oh.
of the this is actually a Delver cards.
Yeah.
Okay. Verdant Catacomb? Believe?
Yes.
It's gonna sit on that. What is that green card he has in it? That
That's
looks
the
that's
Dryad Arbor.
the Dryad Arbor. Okay, he's gonna go down to 18. Not 16, because he's got the good dual lands, because this is Legacy.
Yep.
Okay.
There's his green-white source.
Alright, definitely a better start than before,
Yeah, there's
where we didn't
your-
see him get to 2 lands for quite some time.
Yes.
Got stifled early. Rug Delver was able to build
Yeah,
up
that
a
was
pretty
a-
big lead in every way. Alright.
Yeah, that was a very nasty start. There's a green sun zenith.
Okay. And what is he going to grab off of this? Okay, so the card grabs the Deathrite Shaman right away.
I think this is a much better start for David.
This is looking far, far better. Especially if he can toss that Explorer in the graveyard. 4 mana.
Yeah, that's 4 mana right off the bat.
It looks like in chat we have an argument between ban hammers and banana hammers. Well, one of those sounds like a euphemism. So
I mean,
I'm going to go with ban hammer over banana hammer.
I don't know. I like the banana hammer.
I don't
Wait,
really
now
want to
is-
see, like,
Well, now is the banana part of the hammer, or is it a hammer made for hammering bananas?
pretty sure it's just a euphemism. I think I saw a Jite.
Nobody wants to see your ban hammer, Dr. Derp.
I'm pretty sure. I've never seen that chat face before, and it's a little bit creepy.
Did you guys start the timer?
Yes.
Yeah,
Alright.
we got it.
What time do you have on there?
We have 47:05.
I think that's wrong.
That's wrong. Yeah, sorry. That was
Yeah.
first round. No, we started at second round, so we're definitely behind. What are you at?
Just shy of 19. So
Okay.
we should be
Oh,
at like
okay.
18:20 or something right now.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
We'll throw that up there. Okay. And I'm going to fix this. Stop that. Down from 19. And we're going to start. There's the actual land. So they might, if Titania Pod wins this, if it's another drawn-out match, they might not have time to finish game 3.
Yeah, they might go to. They might have to go to their turns.
Yes. Oh, and
There's
Kyle
a
is down
ponder.
to 19 because he cracked the Misty.
Yep.
Okay. And we've got some orgasm faces in chats.
Lots of orgasm faces.
All of the orgasm faces. Boomchild says, give raffle. We're streaming from Dice Dojo tonight.
Yes.
No giveaways tonight. We're working on that.
Yeah.
We're working on that.
I believe there's going to be talk about more giveaways very soon.
There are talks, serious talks. Talks that move faster than Congress, at least.
Yes. I would like to point out as well that all the damage that's been done so far has been from fetch lands.
Yes, this looks a
So-
lot like Modern. I'm comfortable
Well,
here.
It's not just that, but I think this goes to show that fetch lands are really bad.
Okay, we see an attempted bolt on one of the Deathrite Shamans. Taps it to get rid of a card. This is nice that these are coming out early.
He's
Um,
gonna abrupt decay the Delver.
Okay,
I think that was a smart move.
this is looking much better.
Yeah, David has a much better board right now, comparatively to last game.
Okay.
I want to see a pod come out. I want to see him start doing things with it because I feel like he didn't get many opportunities to do that last game. I want to see what he's going to do.
He got held off of mana so badly.
Yes, there's our second Delver.
Okay.
Hashtag fetchland suck.
See, but I feel like fetch lands suck more in Modern because everyone starts at 17. We see a bolt to the other Deathrite Shaman and a passing of the turn. Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
I
Thank
see. I
you.
definitely see a Jite in hand. I'm just gonna keep saying Jite because that's one card I know, and I know it is a very dominant card.
I don't think either of these decks run Jite, right?
No,
So
what
I'm
is that
sorry.
card that looks like a Jite?
I don't think that's wait, really? In David's hand?
I believe so.
Oh, maybe.
It
maybe he
looks
does
like
have it.
okay. My knowledge of legacy cards isn't great, but my knowledge of archaic ninja weaponry is fantastic. And Dr. Derp says he's bad
That
at
is-
Modern, so
that
he
is a-
starts at 12.
That is a GT. You're right. I'm sorry.
It is a
That
GT.
is a GT.
And Boom Nasty says, I think you guys missed a damage from a Veteran Explorer attack. Did he swing in with that?
Yes, he did. So
Okay.
Kyle's at 18.
Ooh, both at 18. This is a life total you never see in Modern.
Everybody's always at 17.
It's a GT. It's a
There-
GT.
it's
Umezawa's in. I don't. Let's bring up GT so we can familiarize ourselves with it.
So that you can familiarize.
So I can familiarize myself with it. I'm not going to pretend to speak for Alex, who actually knows. Yeah, now we're 100% sure it's a GT. I think David's explaining to Kyle, yes, this is 100% a GT. This is, in fact. Cool. Okay. All right. Now, what's he going to be able to do with this GT?
Well, I wonder if he's gonna try and put that on his Explorer. I doubt. Well, maybe that's where he's at.
For the time being, and if Kyle kills the Explorer, that's value.
Yes, Kyle. Oh yeah, he stifled it.
Okay. So going to turn that off for a turn. Delver flips. So at the very least, David's tapped out. He's going to be swinging in for 3 this turn at the very least, leaving his mana open.
Boom Nasty. Yes, that is a GT.
David goes in. I don't know. Boom Nasty, we're still trying to figure out whether or not that is, in fact, a GT. Skull Clamp. I know about that card. Whew. Right, he's going to Wasteland the Dryad Arbor. Take away a chump blocker later in the game.
Yes.
David used those to stay alive against the terrifying Badgers.
I know Kyle has a Brainstorm in hand because that's what he used to flip the Delver.
Yes. True, true, true. Gonna be some good card advantage there. We know you were joking, Boom Nasty. The GT joke is fun. I was making GT jokes before I got here.
It's true, he was.
I was making GT jokes all day. Legacy to me is kind of just like GT porn. Just some,
Yes,
hot GT on GT action.
GT reads, when equipped creature deals combat damage, wreck target Delver.
Pretty much. Once
pretty-
and forever king.
Yeah,
Once and
I believe
forever
that
king.
is the correct term.
He bolts the Explorer, so the GT has no targets now. It's going to give David 2 lands. We have not seen a pod yet. We have not seen a pod. Udex Shiro says he saw the Force of Will in Kyle's hand. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, the Force of Will is gonna...
All right, what's David looking for here? What does he have? I think I see a voice in hand.
Yeah, he took out a Plains and a Forest, and then he's gonna drop the voice, yeah.
Is that the voice?
Yep.
That's a very
And-
pretty voice.
So that's gonna help against the Force of Will in Kyle's hand.
Okay.
Here comes another Ponder.
All right. Ponder is not Curse Catcher, even though they are both mermaids. They both feature mermaids, which is why I got confused earlier.
The Dark Horse is asking about Blue-White Heroic in Standard. I
Oh,
think
the Dark
Ryan-
Horse? I play Blue-White Heroic. It's Standard Boggles, and I hate myself for it. And it's like, oh, you want to kill that? God's willing. Oh, you want to kill that? God's willing. Oh, you want to kill that? Feat of Resistance. Once and Forever King says it feels like it's missing something. I think it needs a backup plan. It's all in. He swings with the Delver, bringing David down to 12.
Yep.
Okay. And Dr. Derp says, what does chat think of banning Standard this Standard? I'm thinking of banning Whip. Whip is the reason why we're seeing people...
Can we ban all of Standard right now? Because it's just terrible.
We can ban Whip. Whip is what's making these ridiculous life tolls, and that die is clarifying that the Tarmogoyf is a 4/5.
Yes. It is a 4/5 right now.
And the Dark Horse says, but do you win with it? I haven't played it competitively yet. I've been focusing on Modern. We see a
There's a-
Cabal Therapy come down.
Cabal Therapy. I will go ask what it's going to be targeting.
Well, he's looking through the graveyard. He might pull the card out.
Yes, he might.
If he's targeting the graveyard, we're definitely going to see Kyle get rid of it. So it's going into
There's
exile.
the Force of Will. He sees the Force of Will in Kyle's hand.
Okay, I'm bringing Kyle down to 17 from the second fetch. Thank you guys so much. You were being so helpful in chat. Like I said, Modern commentator filling in. Alex is the one with some more Legacy knowledge, but he's still mostly a Modern player. I know he got me into Magic when he was playing Standard, which is why we were talking about Blue-White Heroic, and it looks like he names Delver. That was the card. Yes, that is the token card he was using for Delver. Okay. And Blue-White Heroic, like I said, it's fun. It's standard boggles, but if you don't pull a creature in your opener, you're susceptible to bad card draws. Ordeal is your only card draw engine. And Defiant Strike. Defiant Strike is pretty good.
By the
I don't
way, Therapy targeted Stifle,
Okay.
which I think was an awesome
Yes, that
choice.
shut him down first game, and he's swinging in for 8. And the Dark Horse says, you guys are sweet announcers regardless. That's so sweet of you. I'm blowing you a
Yes,
kiss
thank
to the camera. Okay, it looks like David's going to take that. So he took 7, because the Goyf is a 4/5. So he's
Yes.
down to 5.
Come on, do math.
And I have to, did he board the pods out?
I don't think so. I didn't see him board him out. I didn't see him really, like, I saw him put some cards from his sideboard into the deck, and then he immediately took them back out.
Okay, because we haven't seen a pod, and he's playing at pretty low life. And what do we see here? Huh.
Yes, he had the Forest, the Bayou, and the Savannah.
Okay, I'm gonna center this life total so it doesn't look all wonky and off to the side. Okay. And we back to David. I don't know what card he used to get rid of that.
It looks like he is just growing his scoos right now. So he's gaining life. Have you been watching the life gain?
I have not
Because
been
he
watching.
gained at least 2 life from the scoos.
All right.
From those 2+1/+1 counters.
Yes, because that's when he got rid of the Delver. I know. And Utashio said Savannah looks so much like Scrubland on camera. Yeah, I feel you, man. I totally feel you.
Oh, he just grew. Yeah, he grew that scoos really big. It's got 3 more.
It only
+1/+1.
gains
So
life
he-
and gets a counter when it gets rid of a creature, correct?
Yes. So
Okay.
David gained another 3 life of that. So David should be at 10 now.
Okay,
And
and that's big enough to block the Goyf. And he's going to swing in for 7.
Did he get all of the creatures out? Because if he got rid of all the creatures, then that
I see a
means that the-
Deathrite Shaman, so Goyf
that's-
hasn't been shrunk yet.
The Deathrite Shaman
that's
is
exiled?
That is exiled.
He might have gotten rid of all the creatures. A
Yep.
very nice strategic play to
So
shrink the Goyf.
that would make the Goyf 3/4.
So he swung in for 7. So he's down to 10. He Kyle retaliates with 6 damage.
Oh, here comes a second Goyf.
Another Goyf. Down to 4. And nothing to grow the scoos with.
He might just start exiling everything, like as many things as he can from. If he can exile enough things from the graveyard and shrink those Goyfs really, really small, he should be okay. And then he just sits back with his voice and his scoos for 1 more turn, and hope that he gets through after that.
Yeah. Not a
Yeah,
bad strategy.
He's
Scavenging.
looking. I think that's his only option right now, and that's why he's looking at the graveyards. He's deciding what he wants to start exiling.
Okay. Alchemy says he swung for 9. I thought I saw. We agreed the Goyf was a 3/4 because there are no creatures.
Yeah, the Goyfs were.
And he swung in for
3/4.
3 with the flipped Delver. So that was 6. I believe, unless we missed something. I don't think we did.
Well, I'm sure we'll see very soon. He's deciding whether or not he wants to swing. If I was him, I would not swing. I would hold him back to block the Goyfs so that I don't die next turn. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing.
And we see 3 lightning bolts in the graveyard. But if he has another one, I really don't think that Voice of Resurgence is scary enough to...
Yep, here comes the probe to see
Keep
what's
it
in his
away.
hand. It's another Cabal Therapy, which isn't going to do anything.
Okay, and you tap 1 blue for that, so he's not paying with life.
Correct.
Not a good time to pay for life.
He's going to swing in with the Delver, bring David down to 1.
Oh, right. Alchemist was pointing to this. We miscalculated because I was just going off the counters. He swung in for 9.
Oh, I see.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, my friend. Thank you, guys. And once again, thank you guys for being so helpful. We're trying to fill Mark's shoes, but goddamn, they're so big.
Yeah, here we go. Here comes the exiling sorceries.
Okay.
So that'll shrink the Goyfs even more.
So they are down to 2/3?
I believe so.
Okay. That's not a very scary Goyf.
David drew a land off the top, which is not what he wanted.
Definitely not. He's not
We
really in a
got
position where he can.
David should be at 1
Yes.
life right now because of the Delver.
That pesky flying Delver.
So he's got to win this turn. That's the only way.
And with what he has,
I don't think he can do it.
it doesn't seem very
He's gonna try
possible.
Yeah, he's going to try and swing and see what happens.
Trying to intimidate with him all that open mana and the one open card, but he seems very hesitant. He's not taking his fingers off of those cards. But he doesn't have a way to stop the Delver from coming in next turn. Keeping the voice up isn't going to be very useful on that. He can swing in for that 7.
This is why I hate Delver of Secrets, everybody.
So he swings in for 7.
It's kind of not fun to play against.
I've been waiting for my Delver matchup with my Martyr Life deck, and it hasn't happened for me yet. David throws down Cabal Therapy. I don't think there's really anything therapeutic about the process that that card makes you go through, but...
Well, I don't think that there's anything... Okay, he's going to Force of Will that away, or he named Force of Will, one or the other. I don't think it really matters, and I think David realizes that
David
too.
scoops, and Rug Delver takes the win.
Yes, sir.
Which is a good thing, because it would have gone to time for sure.
Yep.
Okay, so what do you guys want to see next? We saw Titania Pod.
Let me grab my list. We saw Titania Pod. We still have Elf Combo. We've got Maverick, Farmville.
What about Booster?
We've got that Booster deck.
We mentioned Booster before.
It sounds like it's some brew deck that a guy brought.
It sounds like it's either, we can't decide if it's Weenie or Boggles. He let us know that it's about boosting his creatures up, not having a booster pack as his sideboard.
Yes.
Which is what we hoped. That's what we were hoping for, and we did not get that.
We also have Reanimator. Farmville is here. We've got another Delver deck, Lands, and Death and Taxes.
Okay.
Mystery Booster. It sounds like Utshiro wants to see the Mystery Booster.
And the Dark Horse asks, what are the more random decks? That would definitely be the Booster deck and Farmville. Managoro asked, what is Farmville? And I actually do not know.
Well, let's...
It's a Facebook game. Is it Facebook or is it just like Cell now? I don't know. Lands. We do have Lands.
Yeah, we have one Lands.
Last time there was a Lands mirror match. That was
very...
It was like watching someone garden, to be honest. It was like being at my grandma's house and just watching her garden. There really wasn't much going on.
Reanimator would be very cool. I agree with that.
No sneak show.
No sneak show
today. I like sneak show.
I mean, we've got Reanimator, which does play the Gristlebrands.
Yeah, the Dark Horse says the mirror match is brutal. If you're talking about the Lands mirror match, yeah, it is. Brutal to play, brutal to watch. No bueno for sure.
I'm going to go see if we can get Booster in the for round 2.
Yeah, we're going to look into grabbing Booster for round 2 so we can see what that is. And then we can look into Farmville. And while we're doing that, why don't you guys educate me on some Legacy staples so I don't have to continue to sound like a fool. What does Lands play as a finisher? So you have all your lands. You're not going to Scape Shift. It's not Scape Shift. What's your finisher? Is there a card? I know there are some cards that animate lands. But I don't know what they use as a finisher. And Ukabalatu and Dr. Derp screaming mud. We don't have mud today. We don't have it. No mud. Okay, and they let us know. Oh, right! Merit Lage! Thank you, Kabaki. You thespian stage onto that, and it gets rid of all the counters. Then you got a big old Merit Lage token. Yes, yes. Actually, speaking of that, they were telling us, Chuck was letting us know, he was watching the matches, it was Lands versus Reanimator, and at one point there was Merit Lage versus Iona. It was Iona, something else, and what was it? And the matchup. It was Lands versus Reanimator. It was.
Oh yeah, Lands had gotten the Merit Lage out.
Okay.
And then Reanimator had a Gristlebrand out, and Iona, And an Elish Norn.
And an Elish Norn. So I own a Gristlebrand and Elish Norn versus a Merit Lage. I want to see that animated and turned into a short film. And the Dark Horse says, I was asking them about Legacy staples. Stoneforge Mystic is one that I am familiar with, and if I played Legacy, I would probably play Jeskai Stoneblade. Because Stoneforge Mystic is a badass card. It looks cool. I like white.
By the way, what we're going to be seeing next is Death and Taxes versus Lands.
Okay.
I asked about the booster deck, and I was warned against it because he said that it's not really an actual deck. Which leads me to believe that it is just super, super brew.
That makes me more into it. Now I definitely want to see that.
What we are going to try and do is, for round 3, we're going to try and get Reanimator in. But Chuck has already set us up for seeing Death and Taxes versus Land.
And our good friend, Sydney, who also commentates beside me on Modern, will be playing Death and Taxes.
Yes, that's going to be Sydney versus Andrew.
Okay, and we don't know what sides they're on yet.
No, not yet.
But we will. Oh, we will.
I'll ask. Okay,
cool.
Hey, Chuck.
What's up?
Everybody really
time.
wants to see the brew deck. Like, really badly.
It's got commons from Theros in it.
It has okay.
Now,
The booster deck has commons from Theros. We need to see this.
Oh, it's legacy.
Please?
Not standard.
Please?
No.
Just one?
No.
Okay. Chuck says no. Chuck says it's not possible.
Apparently, the deck is just going to get wrecked, and it wouldn't be any fun for anyone. And I can tell that's Sydney on the left because of his
fashionable watch.
Yeah. Oh my God. Once and Forever King says that I have to tell Sydney that he can't root for him because he loves Lands too much. Wow.
I will go and tell him that.
But I love Sydney. He's my senpai. And he basically built my entire Martyr Life deck. Like at one point, there were literally none of my cards in it. And I'm going to update the names and the rounds and all that fancy stuff.
Storm wins by
storming,
by touching themselves and just not playing against their opponent, but playing with themselves.
Storm wins with silly cards like
how Storm wins.
Grape Shot.
No, that's Modern.
Okay, and who is Sydney playing against?
Sydney is playing against Andrew.
Andrew, what's his last name?
That is a good question.
Yeah, we need those round pairings.
On the last name.
Okay. And it's Death and Taxes versus Lands. Okay, and I know a little bit about what Sydney runs, and it sounds pretty brutal, but in the car ride over here, he was trying to tell me, but he was like half asleep, so he just kept repeating the same 2 cards. He was like, yeah, I've got Aether Vials and Sarah Avenger, and I'm like, what else? And he's like, Aether Vials. I was like, oh, okay.
It's Bowman, spelled the way that it sounds. It's literally, he is a bow man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great. That is, thank him for making that easy for us. We see Bowman rolls a 5, and Sydney rolls an 11, because Sydney never rolls single digits.
Yes.
And, okay, 2 deck name, that's going to be Lands.
Yes.
Okay, your Destro, thanks for the follow. Glad to have you here.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay. I was telling them the story about how I was driving Sydney here, and I asked him what he had in his deck, and he just kept repeating Aether Vial and Sarah Avenger. And eventually I got him to say Wasteland. And then he wouldn't say anything else. And Rygash says raffle, and I don't think we have a raffle open, but it added you.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
You're going to want to close that raffle.
Yeah, I don't think that was open, but okay. And thank you. We're going to reset the game totals right here. And it's also round 2.
Indeed it is.
Oh, Ukabala 2, stop trolling. No one listened to Ukabala 2.
Ukabukalalo 2.
No raffle today.
How is the proper how do we properly pronounce your name?
You don't.
Ukabukalalo 2.
You don't.
Did I get it right? I know how Mark says it.
And are Sydney and Andrew both, are they 0-1 or 1-0?
I cannot enunciate it the same way that Mark does. I believe they are both 1-0. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to update the match record. Just a second. Oh, God. Okay. Stop trolling about the raffle. We'll work on it. We get it. You love the raffles, but we're going to be back at MTG Card Market. We know they've got raffles. We're trying to set that up here at Dice Dojo.
Yes, I believe I believe Mark is trying to get Dice Dojo raffle going on sometime soon.
Yes. Okay. Both 1-0. And you guys can keep raffling. You guys can do the... Last Wednesday, we were doing exclamation point waffle.
Yes.
So if one of you, if you guys want to do a waffle raffle, and then if you live in Chicago, I'll make you a waffle.
Yes.
Like, I can do that.
And I will eat the waffle that he makes for you.
No, they get to eat the waffle.
No, I'm going to eat the waffle. I'm sorry.
You guys absolutely, whichever one of you wins. Okay. You get to eat the waffle. Okay,
Okay.
and Managaru is... He's making a prediction. Death and Taxes, 2-1. Okay, and Once and Forever King is offering to raffle off some of his original MS paint art. That's fantastic.
That's beautiful.
We see Sydney on the play, leads off with the planes.
And thank you, Ukabaka Baka Laka Laka 2.
Okay.
Or it's Ukabaka Kaka Kaka Laka 2. There we go. Thank you.
I think he's just going to change that every time.
Every time? Okay. That's
And
fine. I'll try and
Lands.
keep
And
up.
what do we see there from Lands? Again, I'm unfamiliar with the archetype of Lands.
Give me a second, Ryan.
Okay. Boomchild says Lands deck destroy dude decks. Don't know what a dude deck is. But Lands off to a good start. Turn back to Sydney. Plays another planes, passes the turn. A little bit of a slow start. I see a Stoneforge Mystic in his hand. And I know Sydney. I'm assuming he runs a
That was a maze and a Mox Diamond, sir.
maze and a Mox Diamond.
Yes.
Mox Diamond and an Exploration.
Yes. And I know that Andrew has 2 crop rotations in hand.
And BPAF, thanks for the follow. You're watching Legacy tonight, but if you want to see me talk about something I actually know a little bit about, you can come watch Modern on Wednesdays. Won't be streaming this Wednesday because it's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve or Christmas.
It is Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, and our gift to you is that I won't be streaming.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, and Kavaki says, double rotate, at least treat Sydney to dinner before you do that to him. Presumably because that fucked him. I don't know how that fucked him yet, but I will see. See, if Phyrexian Revoker...
Oh god, that's gonna... I wonder what he's gonna name with that. I'm gonna go find out what
Yeah,
he's
let's go see what he
naming.
names with that. Unless Sydney... Could we just ask him to scream it?
I'll just have him
From
scream
now
it
on?
really, really loud every time he plays something.
Okay. Alright, and the Dark Horse, the ex-Dark Horse says, woo, Modern. Yeah, Modern's fun. We have a diverse turnout. And Sydney, the Death and Taxes player, commentates alongside me. And again, he knows a lot more than me, but I actually know. I actually know what the cards in Modern are. Alright, and I believe either contemplating a response from Andrew or seeing what Sydney named.
Yeah,
if he's still
the Revoker, it's still on stack, so
Okay.
nothing has been named, but Sydney's going to point out what he's going to name.
Alright.
for us.
Yes, Merry Christmas, BPath. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, probably Thespian Stage would be the one.
Those are good
to name.
suggestions, guys. So, sorry, your win condition is gone. Okay. And what just went to the graveyard there?
I am terrible with art. I wish I could read what these things...
Yeah, especially because this is old, old, old art. Oh, yeah, and Revoker is non-land. Good point, guys. He can't name the Thespian Stage, so they're probably going to name the Mox. That's on the field. Won't be able to use that. Lands deck. It would be very... Ukabalatu says, are those foil unhinged planes? Clearly, Ukabalatu, you are not familiar with Sydney's decks because everything is foil.
Yeah.
Everything is obscure. Everything's ridiculous.
Yes, those are... Everything is foil on Sydney's side, and that was a crop rotation.
Okay.
I don't know why I could not remember that.
You know, I would have known that. And Once and Forever King says, I'd love to Skype in to commentate Legacy. Talk to Mark about that.
Yeah.
I think really we're trying to set that up. We'd love to have some guest commentators.
Yes.
If any of you guys want to guest in on Modern as well.
You cannot. That is correct. You cannot name land. It has to be a non-land card that you name with Phyrexian Revoker. So he did not name Thespian Stage.
What did he name? Do we know?
No idea. But there is our first Dark Depths.
Okay, and we see this Thespian Stage in play already, so this is not a good sign.
I believe he named Mox Diamond. That's what he named.
Okay. That's what they were talking about in chat. That is good.
Sydney's good at wasting money. He trades up all the time. He's been doing this for a really long time, and he's been to lots of GPs where he's made some really awesome trades.
Yeah. He's also I think he deals cocaine or something because he's got a ton of money. So
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. Is that another maze? It looks like yes.
yes, and we believe he did call the Mox, which is why it's being presented upside down because it's on the field, but it's not doing anything as long as that Revoker is there.
Correct.
But we can just stare into the white abyss of those beautiful plains.
Here comes our first Aether Vial on Sydney's side.
Which he let me know that he plays.
Yeah.
In the car right over here. That was one of the 2 cards he named. We see maybe the Stoneforge coming down? Nope.
Buka Buka Lala 2. We do not have a raffle for Sydney's Boggle deck.
But
sorry.
I would love to get rid of his Boggle. He's going to swing him with a Revoker. Is Revoker 2?
Revoker is a 2/1, I believe. And
Don't believe he did not swing in with that.
Thalia came out as well, which is one of my most hated cards.
Trivia for you guys. Alex hates Talia, but Sydney loves Talia.
Yeah, he does.
If you guys want to talk about card collections, he's got a binder page full of Talias from pretty much every conceivable language.
Yeah, every language, and I believe half of them are foils.
Yeah.
Those are all Thalias.
Yeah. No, Sydney's decks are, whew, they're incredible. He built me my Martyr Life deck because I was missing a lot of the cards. I had the Soul Sisters cards, but not the controlling ones, and all of them were foil. Lots of them were foreign.
Yes.
And my deck was way cooler than me. It looks like he's going to block the Talia.
He's going to tap the maze.
Tap the Talia. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so does he get in with the Revoker there?
Oh, what is... The full art is throwing me off. Is that...
Sarah Avenger.
That is a Sarah Avenger. Oh, yeah. I saw him pick those up. He picked those up in Milan, I think.
Yes, picked up a lot of stuff in Milan. He got me a playset of foil promo Italian and French Path to Exiles. So, whew, that was good. And he got in with the Revoker there?
Yes, and Monogoro said it is Thalia, not Talia, Ryan.
Well, I'm going to keep calling her Talia. Tahalia. Fantasy name pronunciation is... Still trying to figure out if he swung in with the Revoker there, if it got tapped.
I believe he did swing in.
Okay. So he's down to 18?
Sydney's reading what Dark Depths does because he doesn't know what Dark Depths does.
Okay.
That's actually a lie. He
Sydney
probably
knows what
does know
Dark
it.
Depths does. He explained to me this afternoon. Well, actually, I knew what Dark Depths did, but I forgot that it was the win con of lands.
Yes.
And it's a great win con.
Yes, the Caracas.
Okay, and Revoker connected. The Talia, correct. The Talia was maze. Could not. And yeah, Once and Forever King says next turn Merit comes in because we see a Thespian stage and we see a Dark Depths. So, and Luxac is mentioning if Sydney does have a Swords of Plowshares, that's an easy bye-bye.
Yeah, I don't know. I have not seen his hand.
Okay, swings in.
He's going to maze the Avenger, one of the Avengers.
Okay, so 2, 4, and those are 3 3s, right? Or 3 4s?
No, they are 3 3s.
So 7 damage going in?
Looks like it, yes.
Okay. Yes, if he does not have a Swords of Plowshare, Dark
He's
Depths
pretty
being
screwed.
activated is...
I saw a Stoneforge Mystic in Sydney's hand.
I haven't seen the swords yet.
I do not see a sword.
Is that the fancy foil card? Sydney, please stop. Please stop. Hey, Crimson Viper. It's going really well now that you're here.
Mark
you're
is
here.
gone.
Mark is out of town.
For today.
I'm Ryan. This is Alex. I'm a modern commentator trying to learn Legacy.
Yeah.
So if you want to be friendly, help us out a little bit. Guys have been helping us name cards. We know a bit. Alex is here helping me.
Yes, sir.
Might know him as Zeexy. He gives us hand info. We see the Stoneforge Mystic.
Have fun with EDH Once and Forever King.
Yeah, have some fun with that. And let us know what you play. Because
yes,
EDH is fun. And all the decks are crazy.
So we see the Stoneforge Mystic coming out, and I think Andrew is thinking about whether or not he wants that to resolve.
What potential responses does he have to it?
I don't think he has a response to it. I don't know. He might be considering whether or not he wants to go ahead and crack the depths.
Okay. All right. And
yes, Yes, the SFM trigger is on the stack. That is correct. And
Andrew is just contemplating a response. We're trying to figure out what possible responses he has or what he wants to do in response. He's got that Wooded Foothills he's yet to crack. Grab that, and then does he have enough to activate Thespian Stage?
I think he does.
And we believe we saw a Swords to Plowshares in Sydney's hand, so he lets it go. We're going to see what Sydney's going to grab off of that.
Does Merit Lage have Vigilance? I don't think it does.
It does not. I don't believe it does. And we see Sydney grab a Batter Skull,
Yep.
and his board is full.
Yeah, he's got a lot of things on board, but that's not going to stop on Merit Lage.
If he has a
Merit Lage
Swords
is
to
going
Plowshares, next turn, I believe he has Lethal on board.
Yeah, Merit Lage is flying and indestructible, so he's going to quit. What's going to end up happening is as soon as Merit Lage comes out, we're going to see Sarah Avengers chump blocking and Sydney trying to kill Andrew before that Merit Lage can actually go through and hit him.
Yeah, and thanking God that Merit Lage does not have Trample.
I think the Batter Skull was the good option. That way Sydney can at least live for one more turn when the Merit Lage comes out.
And have another attacker this turn.
That is true.
Okay.
So he's going to swing in with everything but the Stoneforge Mystic.
So that's 3, 6. That is 10 damage.
Yes, that is 10 damage. So he's probably going to maze one of the Avengers. Yep.
Down to 7 damage. And hashtag dab life. That's my life too. I live the dab life. Hello to you too, my friend. Thanks for coming to watch Legacy. So he mazed one of the Sarahs, putting Sydney down to 7 damage.
This is very close. Andrew has not cracked the Dark Depths yet, but I don't think he's going to be able to get through with damage from the Sarah Avenger.
And we do see a useless Mox Diamond fall out of his hand. That was named earlier by the Revoker.
That is true. Using a swords on the Merit Lage is just going to give Andrew 20 life.
That's going to be a bit ridiculous. I feel like with this board presence, he could. I mean, he's swinging for 10 every turn.
What is that full art?
I believe that's just a forest because he cracked a Wooded Foothills, so he's down to 10.
Yeah.
And he is going to crack the Dark Depths. And hashtag DabLife says, I'm very new to the game. My friends convinced me to buy a Commander deck, and now I'm loving it. It's a great game. We love it too. This is Legacy. It's a bit crazier. I don't know. Commander might be as crazy as Legacy.
Commander gets pretty out of hand really quickly.
Oh, and we see a Mew representing the Merit Lage.
Yes.
Mewrit Lage.
I remember when I used to have that. Oh, is that a Swords to
He
Plowshares?
is going to Swords to Plowshare. It looks like he fetched a basic forest.
Yes.
Unless Luxec, Delver Flip,
and
you see that it's something else. Because that's what I
Bowman took 7 damage from when they swung in last, so he would be at 3 life.
Now 23.
Now he's at 23 life because of the swords.
Boom. Bye, Merit. Hello, 23
However,
life. Sydney is still in a pretty dominant position here.
Yeah, the 23 life isn't going to do much because Sydney is hitting hard.
Absolutely. But that is a beautiful land right there between the forest and the diamond.
Yes.
That is incredible. And thank you, hashtag DabLife, for the follow. Glad to have you here. If you're interested in other formats, we also stream Modern on Wednesdays.
Yes.
Get you introduction to both of those formats. And we try to keep up with chat, answer questions. Alex will probably be fielding those questions. And chat as well is really friendly, and they have a much better knowledge of Legacy than I do. Correct. I'm a Modern guy. Just here filling in for Mark.
Yeah, that's what I've been asking. What is that? I'll go check what that card is.
I think it's a beautiful forest, maybe a snow-covered forest, tropical island, possibly. I see some water and a land. Yeah, that's what we were saying. Udex Shiro and Luxac. That's a beautiful card, and we have no idea what it's representing. He probably had to name what that was for Sydney, because that's a very interesting full art altar. See Andrew contemplating a play here. Another Maze's End. Going to be able to flicker 2 of those guys off. A Grove of the Burn Willows.
That is just a forest.
And the Burn Willows goes down 1, tapping that.
That altered card is just a forest.
Going for a crop rotation as well. And it's just a forest. Okay. Why'd you have the water in there? That's confusing, and it's not even that green. Jesus, come on, guys. Come on. No, guys, we decided that is just a forest, unfortunately. And BPAF said Sydney does have an answer to Merit Lage every turn down. Because, yes,
well,
Merit
he
Lage...
has to. He
Mer-
has to have one.
Yes, and Merit Lage does not have trample.
No, but it's this is gonna be rough for Sydney. He's gonna, because of that loam, it's just that Merilage, we're gonna be seeing it every turn. It's gonna be tough.
It's
But
going to turn into a very interesting, complicated match, I think.
this is very much a race.
Okay, let's see what Andrew's going to do with the end of his turn.
How you doing, Phil?
And WUBRGxyz asked, did he pay extra
done.
for loam or rotation?
I'm done.
I don't know.
Do you wanna tell us what you think about what's going on right now? This is Phil, by the way, guys. Say hello, Phil.
Phil is the most experienced
Whoa.
Legacy player out of all of us. He's playing tonight.
He's done now. Had a rough go of it.
Oh, you're already out?
Yeah, I played Elves tonight, and I played against Lands, which is an average to a reasonably bad matchup, and then I played against Reanimator, which is an atrocious matchup. Because the card Elishnorn.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
looks pretty not great for what's Andrew's a 22. Yeah, this looks not great.
But he has a
for Sydney.
loam and a Merit
Yeah.
Lage in the deck. He's swinging with everything. He's going to
He's
flicker the
gonna-
Batter Skull, so it's 2-4. That's 10 damage now.
There's those mazes.
Oh,
are
2,
gonna-
so he's going to swing for 7.
I'm actually a little surprised by what Andrew did here. So when he crop rotated, he got Tabernacle, which is like a really frustrating card for Sydney's deck to deal with. But another option he could have gone with is to get the card Glacial Chasm.
Okay.
If he had gotten Glacial Chasm here, Sydney would not be able to do any damage to him at all.
Yes. And we saw the
Mark-
Wasteland on the Tabernacle.
Mark is asking to have you on the booth.
Yeah. Join
Okay.
us.
Sure.
Join us? Yeah, Phil's with us now.
I've dropped from the tournament, so I don't have anything else to do.
Yeah, we have a babysitter. We have someone who actually knows about Legacy. This is
Um,
going to be great. It's going to be a good learning experience.
Sure.
And we will add him to the commentators listing. And you're going to have to help me spell your last name.
Yeah, not a problem.
There we go. And Phil. I know it starts with an L.
S.
S.
S-I-L, B as in boy, E-R-M-A-N.
That was not that hard.
No, it's not so bad. It's
I thought that was
it's like
gonna be
Silverman,
really
but with a B.
difficult.
Yeah.
Right?
There we go. And look, what did he just cast that he cannot cast? Yes, and right. Talia should be making him pay more for everything.
Yeah.
Okay, gets rid of the Cavern of Souls.
I don't think he can. I'm gonna go check on that. That's not.
Phil's gonna go
Okay.
make the call on that. This is fun. Sydney catches me all the time. I believe we already see someone up there. That's Phil.
Yeah,
That's Phil's
Phil-
hand. Pointing diligently and valiantly
You're like, look
to the
Thalia.
Gonna reset the board state. Yep. And this is like when I played against 8-Rack and I had a ley line out and I was still letting him target me.
Yes,
Because I
yes.
was just so frustrated at that point. We hear Phil telling Sydney it is his fault indeed. Can play that thespian stage.
All right, that's
Okay, now,
remedied.
yes.
Okay. What did he crack there?
Looks like he just used the stage. He played the stage for turn, so he can afford to cast the loam and get back Tabernacle, and then he got to replay Tabernacle as his second land per turn.
Okay.
So Sydney's got to pay for all of his creatures. We'll see what he draws. His Violon 3 is actually really good here if he ever draws a Flicker Wisp.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see what he's going to swing, presumably with everything again.
Yeah, he'll be swinging with everyone for as long as he can.
Yeah, and again we see Maze End, the Sarah Avenger, and the Batter Skull, taking Andrew down to 8. Okay. And what are Andrew's outs here?
I think Andrew's just trying to build the combo here.
Yeah.
He's just going to dredge loam every turn. He's probably just going to start... Either he'll go straight for the combo if he has... I think he has depths in his hand that he got back from Life from the Loam earlier. So he'll probably just go for Merit Lage.
Yep.
In which case he'll just kill Sydney because he's been able to stop him from gaining life. Although, worth mentioning, Sydney does have blockers. He has two... both the Sarah Avengers are going to act as chump blockers.
Yeah, that'll buy him some time.
Yeah, not very much.
2 more turns, but
2020 is pretty big. Yeah, he's going to play the depths.
And he has the thespian stage, going to activate that. We talked about he's just going to be getting this back every turn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's like, even if Sydney draws one of his copies of Swords to Plowshares, he's
giving him more life.
Yeah, he's giving him more life, which is, you know, ruining his clock, and then he's also just, it's not going to matter because he'll just replay Dark Depths every single turn. And stage, because he has exploration.
Yes. So what are Sydney's outs here? How does he beat this?
Honestly, there aren't many.
Okay, we saw him swords earlier, and that took Andrew from 3 to 23.
Yeah, that sounds right. It looks like he's sacrificing the Thalia and the Phyrexian Revoker, only paying for the Avengers and the Batter Skull. I think, given the exploration, Sydney is more or less locked out of this game.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not much you can do.
Swinging in for 10. Only 3 of that is going to connect.
Kind of interesting. Andrew could have blocked there.
Yeah.
I don't see why he wouldn't. Oh, maybe he is blocking. We'll see. We'll see if that Avenger goes to the graveyard. But
Okay.
there's not really a sorcery in Sydney's deck that he could be playing around here.
No.
Yeah, I guess he's not even. He's just doing it end of turn.
No, just brought it in end step.
Of note here, Andrew does need to pay for that Merit Lage because of
Yes.
Tabernacle. So if he dredges Loam first, that's his draw step.
Okay.
So you 100% could just, you know, accidentally mess that up. We'll see. Well, that is a dredge of Loam. This isn't his draw step, so I would say that that Merit Lage should be dead here, or should be sacrificed. Oh wait. This is actually me not being smart here. I think, yeah, Tabernacle destroys. Sorry, chat, y'all got me. Tabernacle destroys, does not sacrifice.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
Which is a very subtle, old school wording on that card that Merit Lage gets around easily.
That's pretty wonderful.
Yeah, if you're Andrew, it's great.
That is very wonderful. Let's see who's going to chump block here. Chump block with the Avenger.
Decline to go to 1.
The beautiful full art foil.
Yeah, Sydney's decks are always absolutely gorgeous.
They are. We were talking about the full art unhinged lands there.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful.
So we have everything. So looks like with Merit Lage on board, Sydney's board slowly being depleted. Few cards in hand.
And Andrew's doing the Maze of It trick right here. So in the damage step, after damage has been dealt before we change phases, he's gonna Maze of It his own Merit Lage, which because of Maze of It will untap his Merit Lage and leave it able to block.
Right,
Okay.
right.
But because we're already past the damage step, he will already have killed the Sarah Avenger. So this will effectively gives his guy pseudo vigilance.
Okay.
Which is very nice.
So even more screwed for Sydney here.
Oh yeah, Sydney's as dead as they come.
Okay. What do you think is keeping him from scooping at this point?
The Reed Duke mentality.
Okay.
I would guess, you know, just never concede. Maybe, you know, leave your opponent to maybe mess up, although there are very few things that Andrew could just, you know, IRL misclick on here.
Yeah.
To really stop. He's more or less got him in the hard lock.
And Mongaro asked, did Talia die? Yes.
He
He did not pay the cost
For
for
the
the
tabernacle.
So she was summarily destroyed.
He let her die.
Yeah, just let her go into the fire.
That's sad. It's his favorite card too.
Yeah.
It's one of his favorite cards of all time, and he just had to let her die.
All right, so this is, yeah, I don't know if things get too much better for, yeah, Sydney does win if Andrew has a stroke. That's it. The old meteor argument here. Oh, a third Maze of Ith. Great. That's
That's even worse.
Okay, so everything is gone.
It's funny he's got that Mox Diamond over there. They're actually turned back on because he also sacrificed that for
Yes,
Exile.
I think
Revoker.
he forgot about that. But
Yeah, he still had that one upside down representing that was not able to be used, but once the Revoker left the field, that effect ended.
Revoker is actually just surprisingly terrible in this matchup.
Yeah, we were talking about Revoker naming Thespian stage, but then
Can't do it.
Yeah, can't do it. It's non-land cards.
We see a Bramaz, not going to be able to do much, but Crimson Viper is asking us what decks are in the room. We've got Jeskai Top, Titania
No,
Pod.
we do not have Jeskai Top.
We don't have Jeskai Top anymore. We have Booster Deck, Elf Combo, Timur Delver.
Combo is now out as
Yeah,
well.
Elves is
Oh my
gone because
God.
Elves was me.
Oh, that was you. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We've got Maverick, Farmville, Reanimator, Delver, Lands, and Death and Taxes, and that's what you're seeing right now.
Yes, we're gonna try and get Reanimator for round 3.
Okay.
That's
Is Sydney? Did he hit with that Merit Lage last time? So is he at 1?
I think last turn was the turn where he chump blocked with it. Yeah, because that's why the tap maze.
Hey, chump block, and he got a life off of the Grove of the Burn Willow. And Kelexil, okay, we'll say Thalia. We will say Thalia just for you. Okay, we see Sydney scoop here.
Yep, that's it. There's
And don't
nothing
worry,
else.
Kavaki, we don't have Jeskai Top. It's gone. Replaced by Booster.
What is Jeskai? What is Booster?
That was some guy came in with a brew deck that is apparently not doing very good at all.
Apparently he has commons
So-
and uncommons from Theros.
Yes.
Well, how much more you need to tell me about that deck?
And chat, Master Neo, Crimson Viper, we are asking that questions ourselves. What the fuck is Farmville?
Is Farmville Glacier's deck?
I don't know. It's a dumb Facebook game.
That much I understand.
That's about all we know.
Looks like I think Sydney has Pithing Needle in his sideboard, which is it's funny because as bad as Phyrex and Roker is in this matchup, Pithing Needle is stellar.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pithing Needle's way better.
Yeah.
Because you can actually name the land cards.
Yeah,
correct?
exactly. You can name the lands. The only difference is it doesn't shut off mana abilities, but
Right.
that's all. That doesn't really matter. You just want to shut off.
You want to shut off the
Thespian
Thespian
stage, yeah.
and then
Okay.
you're good.
Yeah, like when I was Andrew was telling me that he preemptively sideboards in Crozen Grip against almost everyone just because of the card Pithing Needle.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah, he's just sort of very fragile against it, as 0 main deck answers to it, and can't really operate
Yeah.
at all while that card is out.
And did I see a Rest in Peace?
I believe
Something
so.
similar? Okay.
I don't know if he. I assume he might also have some copies of maybe Cataclysm or Armageddon, both of which are pretty good. Although I think it's weird because if Andrew has some form of has like Mox Diamonds or Exploration in play, he can recover from it pretty quickly.
Right.
But City's just trying to race him. He's just
Yeah.
trying to deal as much damage as possible.
That's
be
all
really
you really
disruptive.
can do.
And Cindy was doing really well until that Merit Lage started showing up
Yep.
every time. He just didn't have an answer for it in game one.
Yeah. He's just going to try and disrupt any of the engine cards that Andrew has going on here. Like, Swords to Plowshares, he's probably going to be forced to leave in at least some number of copies. It's awkward because he's, that 20 life is going to really mess with the plan of racing. But, he has cards like, he has a card like Rest in Peace, he has cards like Pithing Needle. He might have Enlightened Tutor to go search them up. So he's not at a terrible disadvantage here. And it's really important that he has Wasteland. Like, Wasteland becomes so much better post-board for him once he has Rest in Peace in his deck.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Otherwise he's just
It's a 4 round.
We have 4 rounds in this tournament. B-Path and Luxac Delver flip. Graveyard Hate, we saw a Rest in Peace.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if there was at most 2 copies this deck's usually run. Even 1 if they're playing Enlightened Tutor so they can go search for it.
Okay.
But
What is the Lands player sideboard in?
so Andrew's sideboard is almost exclusively combo hate. Because Lands is abysmal against combo decks. They have it's a fair deck that plays Force of Will. Doesn't really do much else.
Yeah.
It'll put 20/20 out, which is really not great against decks that can either cast 10 spells and Tendrils of Agony or
Right.
just attack you with an Emrakul.
Okay.
And that's yeah. There's nothing you can do.
No, certainly not. So Andrew's sideboard I know contains 4 copies of Spear of Resistance, 4 copies of Chalice of the Void, none of which will be coming in. He does have Crozen Grip, that is correct. UTX Shiro, he has 3 copies in his sideboard. So I'm guessing all of those are going to be coming in.
Okay.
He has the 4th Punishing Fire in the sideboard, which is great. And
Another win
then,
condition?
just keep his Cindy's annoying creatures down
Yeah.
for the time being. Punishing Fire kills 90% of the creatures in Cindy's deck. It's everything but Sarah Avenger and Batterskull,
Okay.
basically. Batterskull's it's not even that great of a card in this matchup.
And Cook the 4th, we're showing 30 frames here, so it's probably on your end. Got a solid 30, so if you have more trouble with that, let us know. I'd try resetting the stream.
We got some new follows tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got a few new follows.
Few new follows.
Great. Yeah, he I don't know if he boards in Absolute Law, Shiro. He definitely has it in his sideboard. Absolute Law, for people who don't know, is creatures have protection from red.
Okay.
Which has been sort of the tech that Barha used. He won the first Legacy Open immediately after the Grand Prix in New Jersey. Blue Red Delver, most
Right.
popular deck, all those treasures
Just
things.
crushed everything.
Yeah, and he just, had Absolute Law ready. Absolute Law meaning that, every creature in your deck beats Monastery Swift Spear and Young Pyromancer
Yep.
and Lightning Bolt.
And that's all you really need
Yeah.
against Blue Red Delver.
Nope. Thanks for the follow. Glad to have you here.
Ooh, more follow. That's good
Okay, yeah,
stuff.
and Sydney, Crimson Viper said, someone give Sydney a sandwich and waits. Well, I'll tell you what, Sydney, when we eat, he always orders or makes too much food.
Yeah.
And then maybe eats about half of it. So the problem isn't access to food, it's desire to consume it.
Oh, it looks like Sydney's
Well, I would
mulligan.
say he does have lots of desire to consume it, just not enough room.
Not enough room. He's just got a tiny little bird stomach.
His eyes are bigger than his stomach.
So I think are we going to see
Exactly.
Sydney aggressively mulligan until he gets one of those hateful answers? Rest in peace, Python Needle.
I guess so. Like it's his like fair creature hands are just so bad against what Andrew's presenting. Which is awkward. I think Sydney's going to 5 right now. Yeah, Luxac Delver. And that's it's gonna be problematic, especially
Yeah.
on the play.
Yep, we see him
Um,
giggling about it,
all right.
characteristically.
All right, we'll see how this 5-card hand looks. I see a Port, Crocus. Crocus is actually, very good. Merit Lage.
Gets around the indestructible.
Oh yeah, legendary creature.
They don't gain 23 life. It looks like he's going to snap keep this hand.
And he's got an Aether Vial. Looks like he's got Flicker Wisp, and 2 more lands in his hand. So there's not much you can do. His hand is phenomenal against the card Merit Lage.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is pretty poor against Punishing Fire, and is still going to let Andrew sort of do his thing if he has a Life from the Loam Center draw.
But I think he's hoping, I have an answer for one of Andrew's plans.
Yeah.
Having 2 answers would be a little bit greedy.
Yeah, so certainly
Nigh
have 5
impossible.
cards. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not going to he's not going to ship that hand for 4.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah, and hopefully, he's just really hoping to draw into some form of other disruption here.
Yeah.
Some sort of needle or rest in peace to mess with waste.
And hope that Andrew does not have a wasteland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks like Andrew's draw is pretty good. He used Wooded Foothills to fetch a basic forest and cast Exploration and a Grove of the Burn Willows, which he's casting, I guess, another green spell.
Okay.
Sydney getting a life here and a second Exploration.
wow.
Oh, this is as far as lands draws go. This is about as fast as it gets. Andrew always sort of builds his lands deck different than other people. He's a huge fan of the card Mana Bond, which is like sort of the most all-in card in the deck.
Okay.
It's like the one where it's like end of turn, you can just dump all the lands in your hand, and if you do, you have to discard everything.
And we see a
Right.
Thespian Stage there at the end.
Yeah,
So Lance kind of dumps its hand, kind of like Affinity in Modern.
yeah, it's
just-
a little strange.
And Colexel, Sydney looks like he has really smooth skin. Not to sound... No, you're not sounding creepy or anything. Sydney does have very smooth skin. And we see the Thalia
There we go. Thalia.
coming into play here.
Thalia on turn 2, pretty good. I mean, I think that's the card he drew for turn. I think... Oh, no, I'm not certain. I think that's Flicker Wisp in his hand, but it might be Spirit of the Labyrinth.
Okay.
Thalia's about, it's a reasonable card to get here.
Slow down that great first hand.
Yeah,
For
it
Andrew.
just kind of stinks because, Andrew has all these extra land drops.
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to reasonably ignore what Thalia is doing here. It looks like he cycled a Tranquil Thicket to start his turn.
City of Brass?
No, that's a Rishadan Port
Okay.
Yeah, that's
and
Port.
a
Another
Grove of the Burn
Grove.
Willows. So it looks like he might finally be out of lands. And now this looks like a Life from the Loam here, and he's got to pay 1 more mana for that.
Okay.
And Sydney stopped him. Sydney
He's
remembered
gonna
what his
pay the
card
mana.
said.
He pays colorless with the Grove.
Mhm.
Yep.
Sydney will gain a life from this though because he had to pay red initially.
Correct.
So he should be at 22.
And we have the Thalia-Talia debate raging in chat. I'm on Talia. I'm on the Talia side.
I gotta say this is a pretty important discussion. We need to figure this one
It
out.
is truly important. And Crimson Viper makes a good point. Do you say Thompson or Thompson when
Yeah.
you see Thompson?
Hard to say.
I say Thompson, so I say Talia.
Looks like Sydney played a Cavern of Souls naming something that isn't relevant because there are no counter spells in Andrew's deck.
Guys. Yeah.
It looks like we have a second Rishadan Port.
You need human.
It was human.
I
All
was
right.
gonna say probably named human because
Oh,
that's what he's got.
Can we have one of those boxes over it? Or
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Can
see.
you drop something over that?
this is about to be real miserable for Sydney. Looks like Andrew's just gonna double port him on his upkeep. I would almost expect him to use that stage and just make a third port.
Yes.
Looks like Sydney's got a Mother of Runes, leaving that vial on 2. And then Andrew's end of turn is going to return the Punishing Fire to his hand. So Sydney's going to go to 23.
Whew. Trying to get that to come up there. Been having trouble with the overlay today.
Switch seats with me, Ryan.
Take a crack at that.
Must be seriously expensive as Sydney.
Uh,
That's probably right.
Yeah, seriously, I can't think of a single card that would be out of Sydney's budget. And Crimson Viper, thank you for the nomination for president. I will gladly accept it.
He's
You did a
asking about
lot
the-
for this country.
Yeah, he's asking about the foil, the Judge foil Caracas.
Oh,
Oh, he probably has it.
Yeah, I don't know. though. I'm a big fan of original cards. So.
He probably has it. He probably has it.
Looks-
Just picked up his foil Goifs.
Ooh, wow, that's nice.
French foil Goifs.
Of course, gotta keep it classy. All right, looks like Andrew. So Andrew, to recap what happened last turn. He just punishing fire, gunned down that Mother of Runes before it started protecting anything else going on there. Just approximately there, yeah. And then Sydney basically has nothing going on at this point. I don't think he has a good answer to this punishing fire right now. He just he needs to draw both a land to a land and Rest in Peace, which is going to be rough.
And they're asking if Sydney has told us the reason he doesn't have a foil Judge promo Caracas. No, but I'll ask him. Because that's uncharacteristic.
Sydney at least has an opportunity here to just... He drew Wasteland for turn. So he can disrupt the Punishing Fire engine and just Wasteland that Grove. On the other hand, it sort of leaves Andrew up to, it leaves him open to draw a lot of different cards.
Yeah.
Just if he draws Dark Depths this turn or something like that. Although, I mean, the Wasteland, it's awkward because Wasteland just would have to sit there. He can't ever fire it off, or else Andrew will just respond and create Merit Lage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looks like Andrew has just a bunch of Punishing Fires in hand.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Seems fine. I mean, Lands as it stands, I mean, this is sort of harkening back to what Lands used to be. Lands, way back before they printed Stage, was just the grindiest of the grindy decks. I mean, it just would lock people out with, like, Ghost Quarter Loam, Ghost Quarter Crucible, and, like, Wastelands. It was a reasonably miserable deck to play against.
you just put that stuff out and you sit back and you're like, all right, just gonna keep drawing until I get that Dark Depths.
Chalice some things out. I mean, make it as miserable as it gets. I don't even know if they used to play. I don't think they even played Dark Depths before. They just
really?
Yeah, they just grinded you out so you just didn't have lands.
Oh,
ever.
wow.
I mean, Punishing Fire is a poor man's win condition there as well. I wasn't really playing Legacy back then, though.
We see 2 Wastelands.
All right, that's pretty good. One is better than 2.
Yeah.
We'll see if Andrew decided to not double port here in order to leave up Stage. Oh, I guess he has. Sorry, I guess I thought he was going to be able to break up the Punishing Fire, but he has 2 Grove of the Burn Willows here.
Okay.
Yeah, and it looks like he was leaving up the Stage in order to play around Sydney. Deciding to Wasteland something if you wanted to stage and copy it in response. Maybe you wanted to have a second copy.
Okay, and we see him tap both Groves, and I think he pointed to 1, indicating that he was tapping that for colored mana.
So total, Sydney is going to take 2 from this interaction. He's going to gain 2 from the Groves and then take 4. So he goes down to 20.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Calexo, the old Slaver lock was pretty rough, especially in Legacy. Like, people have done that in Modern and stuff like that, but that's usually with Tron lands, where you can do something at least a little more unfair.
Right.
But old lands, nope. Everything taps for 1. just gonna get up to 12 mana, Slaver lock you out of the game. And that is true misery. Ooh, this is bad news. Andrew just drew a loam, so those Wastelands are basically out now. City just blew them both on those Groves.
Yep.
And he's going to grab those back.
Yep. And play them both, given that he's got 3 land drops per turn.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
This is a Wooded Foothills.
And a Wooded Foothills.
Yeah, this is approximating the hard lock.
Yeah.
We're getting close to it.
Yeah, we're getting back to board state game 1, but just Andrew's side. Sydney has not assembled anything. Mulling to 5.
Yeah, really
That hurt.
Really dashed his chances of winning this game. I mean, in mulling to 5 and also not having an effective hate spell.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I think Andrew at this point is just, I mean, he's just going to dredge loam every turn. He's going to try and hit Stage and Wasteland. Once he hits Wasteland, he can kill the Caracas, and Stage will let him make his Merit Lage.
Yep.
Seems a little bit faster than casting 2 Punishing Fires every turn and getting them back. Yeah, that's what we like to call the slow burn.
And we were talking about the possibility of this game going to time, but with the current board state, it looks like Andrew's going to be able to clean this up.
Yeah, we're gonna have the just normal 45 minutes, 2 games.
Yep.
It happens. And we see Sydney drew a 1 mana 1/1 and a 2 mana 3/1.
Is that one of the Eidolons?
That is Spirit of the Labyrinth.
Spirit of the Labyrinth.
They are 2 creatures with effectively 0 text at this point.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, not
none of
use
it's
what
gonna
is it?
matter.
No.
Can't.
You can't draw
Draw?
more than you can only draw 1 card per turn on the
Okay.
Spirit of the Labyrinth, which
Yeah.
is not going to be relevant.
Well, this isn't Jeskai Ascendancy, so.
Yeah, and he's just gonna gun them both down to Punishing Fire.
Okay.
It's only ever relevant. Like Spirit of Labyrinth is very fringe. I'm assuming it's just City didn't have enough sideboard cards.
Yeah.
Leaving this card in, like it stops the cycle lands.
Right.
So it can't do that. So it won't let him, do extra dredges per turn on Life in the
Correct.
Loam.
Desperation play at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Sidney's just emptying his hand. He's basically, putting all he has out there. And it looks like he did that, in fact, at the end of Andrew's turn.
Okay.
At the very least, what he can do is he can swing in at least once for 3 damage with the Spirit of the Labyrinth.
Yep, which will, make him feel like he did some
He
damage.
did something.
Yeah.
I was there. I remember Lands.
Andrew going to drop to 17, and he's just going to start dredging this loam and letting his deck do his thing.
Yep.
Which is... It's just, a machine getting going at this point. When the Lands deck is allowed to interact like this, it's really tough.
When it's allowed to play 3 lands a turn.
Yeah, and it looks like he flipped 3 of the most hateful cards in his deck. He flipped Glacial Chasm, Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, and I think that was Caracas was the first one. Caracas doesn't...
That was Caracas.
Yeah, Caracas not super relevant here. But
I mean, if he wants to return his own Merit Age,
yeah, exactly. At this point,
might help Sydney out a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like Andrew even has he's just got a Crossing Grip waiting, even if Sydney manages to draw a Rest in Peace. But he's just gonna probably just gun down that Spirit with Punishing Fire. Yeah, it looks like Sydney's gonna gain a life here.
Okay. It looks like Sydney also didn't draw any of those hateful cards we named earlier in the matchup.
No, and that's sort of the perils of playing a deck like Death and Taxes.
Yeah.
You don't have Brainstorm. You're
Yeah,
not
you
able to
can't-
sculpt your draws.
Yeah.
No ponders, no brainstorms, and you're just sort of relegated to drawing the cards that are in your deck in whatever order they are going to be. Which, some people like doing that,
Yeah.
to each their own.
You see
Here
the
comes
dredge.
the Loam again.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get back.
Just dredging for a Dark Depths.
He
Doesn't
doesn't.
have one quite yet. Looks like he's getting back the Tranquil Thicket from earlier, so he can just get another dredge going. Tranquil Thicket actually providing some insurance here. It's how he's going to not get totally blown out by Rest in Peace.
Right.
So if Sydney happens to draw Rest in Peace this turn and plays it, he can respond by cycling. He can respond by almost played that Tranquil Thicket. Respond by cycling Tranquil Thicket and dredge.
Right.
Which will let him just get back his loam and not be completely blown out, and then he can just Crossing Grip it on his turn.
Yep.
And continue playing. Yeah, it looks like he played just Wooded Foothills in the Tabernacle. Not even going to port this turn. Sydney just playing a Plains.
Yes, Crimson Viper says you cannot dredge infinite amount of times with Spirit in play. That is true, but Spirit is dead now, so...
He's going down to 16 off that fetch.
Ah, interesting. Okay, so this is a subtle rules interaction. If you have drawn once previously, you cannot dredge, but if you have dredged and not drawn a card, you can keep dredging.
Oh,
So this is a really weird interaction. So if on that last turn, if Spirit was in play, and Andrew decides for his draw step he wants to dredge back life from the loam, and he casts it and cycles Tranquil Thicket, he can dredge again.
Oh, okay.
That's fine because he has not drawn a card technically.
Right,
Dredge
right.
being a subtle replacement effect.
Okay, and he failed to put a Dark Depths in the graveyard, so it's gonna last a little bit longer at least.
Yeah. I mean, this is all just I think Sydney playing it out for us here.
Yeah.
We
He's doing it for us. He's doing it for the fans.
get to just watch his face get bashed in slowly. That's all right.
Well, we can't see much of his face, but we get to see
His basic planes.
yes, beautiful basic planes. His long, elegant, skinny fingers.
Exactly. And these very powerful Aether Vials.
Elf Attacker with a name like Elf Attacker, you're gonna get quoted on stream a lot.
That makes me sad. And it looks like he's hit the Dark Depths. He's
Okay.
cycled Tranquil Thicket and dredged Loam instead of drawing. And it looks like he's just going to cast that Loam and get back that Dark Depths and attempt to kill Sydney next turn.
Udak Shiro, good point. He says Sydney is doing this to himself so that he remembers Talia in the future.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to go through this again.
Yeah, this is a lesson.
I don't know if he's that masochistic, but
This is all for you, the viewers.
yeah, Elf Attacker, your name doesn't make you pretty, it makes you interesting. And relevant.
Possibly hateful.
Because Phil here was playing elves, and and he lost.
And I got utterly smashed.
He got attacked.
I actually, so I played against Andrew in the first round, and Andrew mulled a 4 in game 3.
Oh wow.
I lost that game.
Wow. Wow.
A lot of things had to go pretty poorly for me, but it was kind of funny. Looks like Andrew's gonna play both a second Thespian stage and a Glacial Chasm, because why not?
Yep.
Okay.
Now Glacial Chasm just preventing all damage that would be dealt to Andrew, and Sydney. And his cumulative upkeep pay 2 life, and he had to sacrifice one of his ports as an additional cost.
Right.
Sir Cucumber, you are correct. It is all over. I do. Thank you, Alpha Tech. I do need to do better with elves.
You're doing better than the mono green elf deck we see in Modern. Which we still don't know
yeah.
what it has besides Mana Dork,
Is that
because it never gets past that.
Is that what's I know his name?
Yeah.
Cal Callan, is that his name?
Yeah.
I don't remember his
Callan.
first name, but his last name is Callan.
Yeah.
I actually played against him once when he was playing that mono green elf deck. And I know he has Bet Call in it, and I know he has
Yes.
Craterhoof Behemoth in it.
Yeah, I had asked him once what his win con was. He said it was the Craterhoof Behemoth.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
the last thing we saw the blue source for that Beck and Call do was enable Island Walk for a Merfolk deck.
That's really
So
unfortunate.
yeah,
UT Shiro, I do have Ren's Run Packmaster in my deck. I know that is the Kappa face there, but that card is in my sideboard. Ren's Run Packmaster is a favorite of mine. I've even gotten other people to play that card, maybe to their detriment. For those not knowing what that wonderful Lorwyn Rare does, it's a 4-mana 5/5, which you have to champion an elf, and it's wolf creatures you control have death touch.
What?
Oh,
And green 2 put a 2/2 wolf into play.
oh nice.
okay.
So this was when before Treasure Cruise was printed, Bug Delver was extremely popular.
Oh, okay.
And in fact, and in particular, Abrupt Decay was very popular. So
I'm sure, yeah.
so a way that this is a Julian Knob, who's a Legacy aficionado, Elves player, and he's a Legacy streamer. He just came up with playing that card. Because it just doesn't get Abrupt Decayed, and it just
Yeah.
doesn't die, and it dominates Tarmogoyf. You just start making a bunch of 2/2 Death Touchers, and nothing can keep up with it. I remember winning a game against, in fact, Death and Taxes. I just played that, made a wolf, and then played a Cradle, and then it was like make a wolf,
That's
make 2 wolves, make 3 wolves.
yep.
Cannibal Food, thanks for the follow. Glad to have you here.
All right, thank you again. I think Andrew is just digging for a wasteland at this point. He's just been dredging slowly.
Yeah.
Yep.
We started the timer a little bit late, so I believe they probably have at least a minute
Yeah.
left to
Well,
play.
there's turns right here. I
Oh,
believe.
turns are on extra turns.
Yes. And it looks like he's just gonna port the Caracas into turn, make a Merit Lage, and attempt to kill Sydney.
Swing. Well,
I guess Sydney is.
he kept him out of range with the Grove of the Burn Willows.
Yeah, although he can still just actually burn him out from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should have enough like non-grove colored symbols where he'll be able to kill him. Which is unfortunate for Sydney.
Yeah, I
Yep.
don't think. And here I believe we see Murit Lage.
Murit Lage coming into play.
Murit Lage based off of the badass. Like, did he get that for going to the Pokemon movie?
Yeah.
I certainly did.
I think he got that for going to the Pokemon
I-
movie.
I got
Damn.
that once upon a
Yeah, I
time,
think-
and then it was stolen from me, which was very sad.
I think I got a couple of those because I definitely went to the movie more than once. Movie was
I
very
mean, why
important.
not? I mean, you get an awesome Mew card.
Oh, it was beautiful. So he's gonna sack. Yeah, Glacial Chasm. Important point, UT Shiro. Glacial Chasm. The first line before it says prevent all damage is creatures can't attack.
Yeah.
And so he wants to do that. He's gonna dredge Loam because why not? Still wants that to get in his hand in case he flips a Wasteland. He'll be fine. For instance, if Sydney has a Swords of Flashers here, he has to take another turn.
Yep. Here comes the
Sarah
Sarah
Avenger.
Avenger. Yeah. Sarah Avenger to Shump Block. I see a Wasteland in Andrew's graveyard. He might be loaming that out to take care of the Caracas.
Almost certainly here.
Yeah.
It's that he'll probably also just rebuy the Dark Depths, so in case something goes wrong, he can just make another token.
Yeah.
You see him casting Life from the Loam here.
The Thespian stage.
Dark
and-
Depths.
Someone should point out the Tabernacle Merit Lage. That came up in the game before, Black Dog 9, where Tabernacle does not kill Merit Lage because
Yeah.
it's not sacrifice.
It's indestructible.
Yep,
It's
and
indestructible.
the old indestructible 2020.
Yep.
I like the Mew token, but I'm also a big fan of the Jerry Thompson, the one that he made for winning the Invitational. His
I
Merit
haven't
Lage
seen that. I'm
token.
gonna look that up right
Oh.
now.
It's great. It's really really cool.
I like
token.
this because we get to call it Murit Lage.
It's
And
pretty strong.
Someone laughed at that in chat, so
Yes.
We have to stick with it now. If one person laughs, you
It's
gotta
worth
stick
it.
with it.
Mhm.
Okay, let's look at that Jerry Thompson token. Is it Thompson or Thompson?
Who's to say for sure?
Oh, with the G.
Looks like we got a dredge here.
There it is. That would be it.
That's pretty beautiful.
Yeah, and
It doesn't look as scary as the regular Merit Lage, though.
no, but well, he's huge. He's got this little like tiny sorcerer there.
Okay, I see the size now. I see that.
Blightsteel thinks Merit Lage tickles. Hey man, Merit Lage blocks Blightsteel for at least 2 turns.
Yes.
Oh, for exactly 2 turns. But
Yes.
There's the wasteland on the Caracas.
So he's not going to be able to bounce that Merit Lage token.
yeah, the actual Merit Lage token is super cool, but really hard to find.
It looks
I'm
like Sydney's
sure.
just trying to run this into a draw.
Which is kind of for naught because if this game ends up being a draw, Andrew still wins the match. It's just
Yeah.
he just wins 1-0-1. But I think this is just gonna be
Here
this is
we
gonna
are.
be it. So Sydney gets turn 3.
Yep.
And he's got Stoneforge Mystic, Spirit of
Yep.
Labyrinth, which
And
don't do
it's
anything unfortunately.
Extends the hand.
Not against that 2020.
And Andrew's going to take that one.
Andrew moving to 2-0 here.
Okay, and for the third round, to reiterate on decks, we have the booster deck, which
We're probably not going to see.
not going to show on camera because apparently it's composed of commons and uncommons and it's getting wrecked. It's probably not even still in there.
I would might be want to
Good
play a little bit of
guess.
fun, but it's probably not the most competitive deck we have out there.
We
tonight.
showed Titania Pod earlier. We have Timur Delver. We have Maverick, Farmville, which we still don't know what the hell that is. We have Reanimator, Blue Red Delver, Lands, which you're seeing right now, and Death in Texas, which we've shown already. I guess we could see what's in contention for how many rounds do we have?
We have 4 rounds today, I believe, because we are just over 8 people.
Okay, so we could see something that's 2-0.
So we got Andrew's 2-0. There should be 3 people that are 2-0. Kyle might be 2. I guess Kyle was playing for 2-0. I know there's the other Lands deck is pretty cool. Is that what? Oh, okay.
That's Farmville?
Ha!
That's
All right.
Farmville.
All right. So Farmville. I'm just gonna tell you guys what Farmville is because that would be smart. Farmville is just Anthony's deck, which is basically a blue Lands deck.
Okay. And
It's-
what differs?
So instead of playing all these red cards, he's playing stuff like Intuition, Force of Will, Academy Ruins, Engineered Explosives. It's sort of a grindier version of the deck. He still has the
Grindier?
maybe not grindier. They're both very grindy. He's less suited to beating creature decks. He doesn't have Punishing Fire.
Okay.
But he's he still has he's still green. He still has Exploration. He still has Loam. And he still has the combo in
Which
there.
are essential.
Yes. But he's more consistent in finding it, given that he has Intuition. There's a very easy pile with Intuition that just
Okay.
immediately gets you the combo. If you Intuition for Life from the Loam, Thespian Stage, and Dark Depths,
Okay.
then one of those cards is going to your hand, and Loam is going to go to your hand within 1 turn.
Yep.
And then you'll get the other card that's missing. You'll loam back whatever piece you don't already have in your hand.
Well, that sounds like a pretty wonderful way. And then
Yeah.
does he have more card filter? Any brainstorm, ponder, anything like that off in the blue?
Yes, I believe he definitely has Brainstorm. I can't recall if he played Ponder. I played against his deck last week when I
Okay.
was playing Storm. And I know he's got, since he has blue, he has some pretty reasonable blue sideboard cards. Oh, he's also playing Living Wish. Living Wish,
okay.
the oft overlooked Green Wish card, which gets a land or creature.
Yes.
In fact, I lost to him because he has...
Because of the Living Wish?
Yes, I played against him and I surgical extracted one of his cards.
Oh, I see.
Just to see what was going on. And I was like, wow, there are no things that can Abrupticate here, because often Lands decks versus Storm tend to sideboard disruptive artifacts like Sphere of Resistance and Chalice of the Void.
Right.
And he had nothing like that. And then in Game 3, I win that game, and then Game 3 he just went Living Wish, Meddling Mage, I'll name Infernal Tutor, and I did not have any ways to remove that card from the board. I had
Okay.
sideboarded all of them out.
Oh wow. Yeah. I think next what we're gonna see
Greg.
is Death
What do
and
you want
Taxes again,
Are you
but we're gonna see Reanimator.
Yeah. Did you not get bearings around?
Not yet. I'll come
They're
up
up
and
on the camera.
I'll come up and take a look.
I mean,
Okay.
everyone's already sat down.
Okay, Phil's gonna figure out for us what match we're gonna have on the feature table.
I had asked to go see for us to see Reanimator because the booster deck actually dropped out, I believe.
Okay. He brought his booster deck, he brought his commons and his uncommons,
Yes.
and then he rage quit. Did he rage quit or was he having fun?
I don't know if you rage quit. I
I
don't.
mean, you gotta have a good personality if you're gonna do that.
Yeah.
You have to go. I mean, he's going in with the mentality of, you know, it's for funsies.
Yeah. It's,
Unless he's cracked, you know. Unless the
I
dude's fucking whack.
have no idea. I think it was his first time. But yeah, so we're definitely. I asked to see Reanimator, and if we're gonna see Reanimator, that means we're gonna see Reanimator.
Reanimator's playing Death and Taxes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we're gonna see Reanimator, and we're gonna see if Death and Taxes.
Yeah,
Get
it's
a win
gonna be.
back.
We're gonna see Cindy
Reanimator
again.
versus Death and Taxes, or Farmville versus Rug Delver,
Oh,
or Lands versus Maverick.
right.
Okay.
What do we want to go with?
Okay, chat. We've got Lands Maverick, Death and Taxes versus
Reanimator?
Reanimator.
And then Farmville, the blue lands deck,
Okay.
versus Rug Delver.
Farmville versus Rug Delver.
Farmville is the blue lands.
Yeah, people want to see. I think people want to see Farmville just to get
Alright.
see what exactly it is.
Yeah.
As Phil was explaining before, it's a
Yeah.
lands deck that runs blue. It has a certain way to fetch the combo. It has some better card filter and draw,
Mhm.
so it gets to the whole Merit Lage or Dark Depths, Thespian stage point faster.
So apparently Farmville is actually what people named it.
okay.
So this is a
This is a real thing. It's an archetype now.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we have to respect it. It is a legacy deck, so it's allowed to have a terrible name
Okay.
that doesn't describe anything about it.
Right.
So
It works a little bit. Farmville. You have farm. You have land.
kind of like that, right? And you
There's
have
a logical connection.
some cows, which are the meat is intuition.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing. But yeah, the it's a European deck. Yeah, that's probably the link to it. I know it was developed in Europe, but the Euros who developed it called it Farmville.
Okay.
And,
They called it Farmville.
and I respect it. I think legacy decks, they deserve to have terrible names.
Okay.
I mean,
what are some other terrible names?
Death and Taxes?
Death and Taxes is okay.
I cannot. Nothing about that deck reminds me of Death or Taxes.
Really?
I
Actually,
don't
taxes
know.
I see. Death
Yeah.
is not even. It's not even
I
close.
think the death idea is just like you're gonna get taxed and then you just die.
Yeah, you're slowly stalled out until you die. And do we know who we have on what side?
We have on the left so that's Kyle Houtman, and on the right is Anthony Z.
So Kyle Hellman is the Rug Delve player.
Correct.
Yes.
Rug Delver.
That's the
And are
one.
they both?
They.
What are the records?
I believe they are both 1-1.
1-1.
Yep.
Okay. I was disappointed. No sneak show tonight. Do you guys have sneak show here usually?
Funny. Kyle usually plays Sneak and Show.
Ah.
He's usually our Sneak and Show player. Kyle and then Jameson over at Card Market has played.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, usually those are the only ones who play it.
And who's on the right?
Anthony Zini.
Yep, that's Zinni.
Okay.
It's
And how do we spell his last name?
Zinni.
Man, see, I'm like asking for these names when I know how to spell them. They end up being way less complicated than I think they
You
are.
just gotta sound it out.
Yes.
And we're gonna start the round timer.
My least favorite name for a deck is probably White Weenies.
I like white weed.
But anyways, I mean,
I'd
they're
never
dorky
even thought of
creatures.
that, Jesus Christ.
Dorky, dumb creatures that attack for negligible amounts of damage.
Yeah.
Until you lay down 3 honors of the peer, and
You just get them. Just get them dead.
no, I've won. I play Soul Sisters in Modern,
Mhm.
slowly transitioning to Martyr Life, as you saw earlier.
Yeah.
And I won when I was playing Soul Sisters. Everything won off of the weenie strategy.
Oh yeah.
Everything won off of Spectral Procession. And I didn't have a real sideboard. I only had more token cards in the sideboard. So someone would be like, wow, those token cards are really annoying. I can't get around Spectral Procession. I was like, that's great. I'll bring in 4 Midnight Hauntings then. Don't ask me why I have those in my sideboard. There's really no reason.
I like this. I like this sorcery so much. I'm gonna bring in this crappier instant version.
Yes.
Of it.
Absolutely. And if I splash black, I would have brought in Lingering Souls as well.
Yeah, that was a much better version of that Midnight Haunting. though.
Yes. And Niam Kapu, thanks for the follow. Glad to have you here.
Anthony's hand looked as all of his hands do, pretty fascinating.
Okay.
You got to turn 1 Tundra into a Ponder. All right, so he does have Ponder. I don't know if he's playing the full playset of them. But yeah, he's playing. We see the Supreme Verdict there, which is a pretty sweet card against Rug Delver.
That's a great card to have on lands as well. You don't lose anything for that.
No, not even a little.
Even
bit.
if you have your Merit Lage out, right? Because it's
Yep.
destroyed.
It survives.
It's indestructible.
And
And Hutman's on Rug Delver.
Yeah, and Rug Delver, you know, this is he's playing like the old style Rug Delver deck, which had fallen out of favor for a while, because of Treasure Cruise. I mean, like
Yes.
the best card in the deck for a lot of people was always Nimble Mongoose. So
Yes, we saw Nimble. We actually saw Kyle play in round 1, and he beat down with those mongooses pretty hard.
yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like people talk about
Goifs too.
yeah,
It went
yeah.
Goif to Mongoose.
Yeah, exactly. You just beat down hard with this deck. I mean, Mongoose very quickly becomes a 3/3.
Yeah.
That's just basically unkillable.
And we see a good turn for him already. Delver out on the first turn.
Oh yeah, turn one Delver is as good as it gets. We'll see. I think he has like a lightning bolt and a mongoose.
Misty Rainforest, I think
Yeah,
I saw?
a misty and a wasteland.
Okay. And Intelligentleman, nice portmanteau there. Thanks for the follow. Glad to have you here. And he was asking what the cheapest deck besides Burn.
Besides Burn.
Yes.
Besides Burn. That's I mean,
So
so
saying Manaless Dredge.
yeah, Manaless Dredge is extremely cheap. Yeah, because actual Dredge can be pretty expensive. It's still, as far as Legacy decks go, very, I would say very cheap. I mean, you have to get 4 Lands Diamonds, which is, you know, approximately $75.
Right.
But that's far and away the most expensive card in the deck. Then there's like, you know, Icarids and Cabal Therapies.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty cheap.
Cracked a Fetch.
Yeah,
Cracked a
yeah.
Misty.
Manaless Dredge is very cheap. Yeah, Goblin Sharpshooter Blue-Red Delver is, I mean, as far as the Delver decks go, pretty cheap. But you still need 4, you know, $200 plus Volcanic Islands.
Yeah, you still need those volcanic islands, and those are
Jesus
very
Christ,
expensive.
Yeah, like you need Volcanic Islands. Like, sure, you get the Dodge Wasteland, but
Yeah.
you need Volks, you need Force of Will. Yeah, Charm Belcher is very cheap, and that's a deck where you don't necessarily need Lion's Eye Diamond. Like a lot of
Right,
people don't
okay.
really play that card. All right, looks like Kyle is gonna play that Misty and Fetch.
Okay, and Dr. Derp asked, does anyone know what Farmville actually is? Phil let us know that Farmville is lands splashing blue.
It's a Bant Lands deck.
Okay. And there's a specific reason. He has a way to assemble the Dark Depths Thespian Stage combo faster.
Yeah, and he gets to play a lot more. All these powerful search effects, these powerful blue like cantrips.
Lots of draw, filter.
Yeah.
Which you know makes the deck quite a bit more consistent, and you're not completely dependent on the card Life from Below.
And we see the aforementioned Goif right here. I
Yeah.
believe he's swinging in for 3.
Swinging for 3 with Delver, and which flipped, and unfortunately missed the card. But Goif is a 2/3. We have land and sorcery currently.
Yes. And if he throws the bolt out there, I mean, Lands isn't going to have anything he's going to want to bolt otherwise. Just bolt it to his face now.
Oh, he's certainly gonna. I'm assuming on his next turn he's gonna throw that bolt right at Anthony's
Yeah,
face.
right before the attack step, grow the Goif a little bit, and then he'd be swinging in for 9, right?
Yes. Looks like
Or he'd be swinging for 6, but he'd get 9 damage off of it.
Anthony has a Force of Will, an Intuition, and Supreme Verdict. So the Supreme Verdict's kind of awkward because he needs to get to this 4th land, and and Kyle's almost certainly going to Wasteland him this turn. He'll start off with a Brainstorm.
Anthony gives the okay on that.
CR3, we've got... And Anthony does have Force of Will here. Looks like we got I see a Stifle in there, another Brainstorm, a Forked Bolt. Pretty poor in this matchup.
What's he saving that Force of Will for?
Anthony probably saving it over another creature at this point. I'm assuming he's going to try to cast the Supreme Verdict
Clear the board.
and then Force of Will the next creature.
Okay.
He also might be using it to protect his Intuition. He's going to float a mana before that Wasteland resolves, and I think he's just going to fire off Intuition here.
Okay.
And Kyle has no responses. Does
No
not have
response.
Daze, does not have Force of Will. Looks like he just has 2 Stifles. Now, Stifle is an annoying card. He can stifle the Thespian Stage. He can stifle the Copy, which is just a Time Walk.
Right.
And he can also stifle, I believe, the Sacrifice trigger. I can't.
Yes, we saw the Stifle doing a lot of work against the pod deck, actually.
Yeah, there are quite a few triggers in that deck.
Yeah.
Kept him off lands, kept him off everything. I mean, he had him down to like 1 mana.
Yeah,
and 4.
I mean, Rug Delver, before anything else, is a mana denial deck. A mana denial tempo deck. Like what they want to do is they want Stifle to be 1 mana Stone Rain every time. Looks like Anthony getting a Flagstones of Trocaire in this pile.
Oh, absolutely. I love that.
We got Flagstones, Life from the Loam, and Thespian Stage. And he's going to give him Life from the Loam.
Flagstones, all the rage for janky deck thing and mono white.
Oh, for sure. You got to ghost quarter your own flagstones. Get that land out of your deck.
Yeah, or Flagstones, your own Flagstones.
Yeah, see,
Legendary rule puts one in the graveyard.
used to be a lot better, weirdly enough. The old legend rule actually was better for that. You have to lose
Hit
both your
both, yeah.
flagstones. Yeah. It was better in those, like the Boros landfall deck.
Yes. Yes, that is true. Triggers landfall so many times.
All right, looks like Anthony's trying to figure out what to do this turn. He does have the Life Emblem in his hand, so he can get back that the very powerful Flagstones of Trocare. And Anthony correctly here, not needing to play around Daze. I mean, Kyle almost certainly would have dazed the Intuition
Oh, yeah.
if he had it.
Looks like he swung in previously for 6.
Yes.
Down to 10. Less. Yeah, we haven't seen that Goyf grown because there are just more lands and sorceries.
He's going to bolt Zinni at the end of his turn, it looks like.
Yeah, so he didn't need to bolt him to add the instant because of the Intuition.
Okay, so the Intuition, the Goyf would have swung in for 4, so he's going to be down to 6, I believe.
No, this is an attack for 6, and then he's just going to fork bolt Anthony.
Okay.
And Anthony, unfortunately, only has
Yep.
Force of Will, which he has to pay the 1 last life to cast, so
There we
he's
go.
dead there.
Yep, that's game 1.
And that's just classic Rug Delver there. I mean,
Yeah.
like, minus, it's like a very typical draw of theirs, minus a Daze. And it's just going to be hard to keep up with it. You know, play a Delver on turn 1, flip
Yep.
it, play a Goyf,
Yeah, and
wasteland you, bolt you.
Yeah, and he flipped that Delver pretty quickly.
It was turn 1 flip.
It's as good as it gets.
And then he doesn't have to save his bolts for creatures, just keeps bolting him to the face.
Yeah, we'll see how many copies of Bolt he'll leave in his deck. I know he's looking at a Crozing Grip right now in his sideboard. We'll see if he decides to bring that one in. It would be all right. Anthony, I know, has several copies of Engineered Explosives,
Okay.
which is going to be the cheapest possible way to deal with Nimble Mongoose and Delver.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You know, throwing it on 0, throwing it on 1, and even dealing with Goyfs. It's just easier. I mean, killing a Flip Delver or a Mongoose is going to cost less than Supreme Verdict.
Yeah.
What other answers does Anthony have in his sideboard?
I think he's just got to have he's got a few lands and creatures there for his wish board.
Okay.
So he's got some goofy ones in there. I'm pretty sure he has one of my favorite hateful cards, which isn't good in this matchup, but he's like a Peacekeeper in the sideboard.
Oh.
Creatures cannot attack. It's a 3-mana 1/1.
Shuts down Infect in Legacy.
Yes,
I've seen.
yeah. Reed Duke gave Tom Ross a lesson on
Oh, that was
3-mana
great.
1/1s for Mirage.
The smug smile, too.
God, I think the exact quote was, during the deck tech, he points to Peacekeeper and says, "This is my card for Tom Ross.
Yes.
I'm not above playing dirty."
No, yeah. That was absolutely, he's like, I have one answer for one dude that shuts down his entire strategy.
Yeah, he played 2 Peacekeepers.
Yes.
Man,
And
that's-
Tom Ross only has one answer, and had only one answer,
The-
which Piracy
the one
Charm.
Piracy Charm, yeah.
And I don't think he ever got to play that.
He cast it in the 3rd game, and it ended up getting countered.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember that. It
definitely.
fizzled. I remember seeing it on the board, sadly, as Tom Ross wept.
Cynacious, Modern will not be happening on Wednesday. MTG Card Market will be closed for Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that's your Christmas gift, Cynacious. You don't get to see me. Merry fucking Christmas.
Yeah, sorry guys. I think that Mark might have plans to stream something at his house. I think he's going to be playing with some friends. I don't know, but
Okay. That sounds fun.
yeah, that's something to ask Mark.
Well, we'll be back next Wednesday, the Wednesday after.
For sure.
For sure.
And you know, if you want to keep posted, you can check the Twitter, the Facebook page.
Yes.
You know, always posting updates there.
And next Wednesday, you also get to see me play that gifts deck that we were talking about.
Oh, yeah. If you guys were on the stream on Wednesday, someone jokingly said you have to play Blue-White Gifts Tron. And then we said, okay, Sydney will build that deck for Alex. And then Sydney had every single card for that deck. So he built it for Alex, and now
Yes.
Alex has been playing it.
Yep, I have that deck now, and I've been playing it with a lot of success actually.
Yes, it's very hateful. Into
It
my deck.
is. It is.
Which
I've
is
been
also very
I've been
slow.
kicking Ryan's butt with it. So.
But I have a game plan now, and you're going to lose next time. Once I get all of my cards. Said every Magic player ever. If I had only drawn this one card, man.
Yep.
If I had just started the game with that Merit Lage token, you'd be dead.
Thank you, Zalthox100 for the follow.
See, now this is a whole new debate. Is it Zalfox or Exelfox?
Yeah, these names are a little tricky to pronounce.
Yeah, usually you kind of just, if they don't have a lot of vowels, you kind of just smoosh it together.
Yeah, you just vomit some words out.
Yeah, some of them have no vowels, and it's pretty bad. Oh, Gooey Ducks! Gooey Ducks. I remember you, man. He was on our Wednesday Modern stream.
Oh yes.
Looks like Kyle's mulliganed here.
I also find blue-white Giftstron fun as hell.
I don't find it fun when you're like, hey, do you want to put an Iona and a Reanimate?
Turn 4 Iona is pretty good against the
Yeah.
mono white deck.
Oh,
yeah, that's great.
It's a lot of fun.
Well, it's similar to what happened to me tonight. I played against Reanimator with Elves, and there was the old turn 2 Elish Nord.
Speaking
yes.
of bad
Yes.
turns, turn 1 Delver, good for Kyle.
And Anthony correctly playing around Stifle here. He went turn 1 and immediately cracked his fetch land, holding up your Misty Rainforest, just asking to get Stone Rain.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like he's got a Mazavith on turn 2, so he's going to lessen the beats. Delver does not flip. Drew another Delver.
Ah.
But Kyle's got the Wasteland at the ready for that maze. I'm not sure if he's going to fire it off. I guess it depends what he's got going here, but
Oh,
yeah,
he is firing off straight away.
Get that Mazavith out of there. Or no, is he gets?
See what he's gonna
Oh.
counter it with the days, or
Ooh, he's countering it with crop rotation.
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, that Mazavith is actually sacrificed as a part of the cost. So Anthony's going to search up whatever land he wants from his deck. Oh wait. Oh, that's getting.
It's getting dazed.
Kyle's going to float a blue and then daze it.
we've got a stack going, boys.
All right, so the result of that
That's
is
over.
Anthony is out a card, and Kyle's out his Wasteland and a Daze, and then he's going to use that blue floating, play a second Delver, and pass with no lands in play.
Okay. Well, you don't need lands if you can have 6/6 flying on the board every turn.
Yeah, it's not so bad. Hopefully, if he gets to flip these 2 Delvers, that's going to be a pretty quick clock.
Yeah.
Anthony just with a Thespian stage and a pass. Looks like he had a Tropical Island, a Force of Will.
Let's see the card, and they flip.
To a Lightning Bolt. So it looks like he kept in at least some number of Lightning Bolts. In this matchup, it's literally Lava Spike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to hit him in the face, like we said. Nothing he has to take care of.
And Anthony's going to drop to 13 here.
14? Oh, no, 13.
After the
That is
crack
correct.
land.
That's correct.
And he's just going to Kyle's just going to replay the Tropical Island and pass the turn.
Nerdman611, thanks for the follow. And Gooey Ducks, I see you talking about Iona. It's a terrifying card.
Anthony just going to play a Savannah and pass the turn. Doesn't have very much action going on here.
He's 13.
13?
Yeah, from the.
Oh, he cracked the
And he's
fetch.
going to take more here, so he's going to go down to 7.
Wow.
Yeah, these
Talk about quick clock.
Delver is real fast, and 2 Delvers is just
Yeah,
it's
that's-
just brutal. He's at an effective 4 too because he knows about that Lightning Bolt. So it looks like he activated the Thespian stage to make a copy, I believe, of Tropical Island. And he's got the Supreme Bird.
Yeah,
in it.
Ooh, I was just going to
Okay.
ask about that card. And
100.
let's see.
Not much he's gonna do about that. That card is uncounterable.
Yes.
So this Force of Will is gonna be pretty important. If Anthony has another, or if Kyle doesn't has a follow up threat. Kyle, I think he brought in Submerge, which is an interesting one.
Oh, yeah.
Since Anthony does have forests, and it does nuke a Merit Lage.
It does indeed.
One of the few answers in that color combination. That's a nice one. I hadn't considered that. So he's just gonna fetch Volcanic Island in a turn, and I think he's just gonna Lightning Bolt Anthony here. Yep. You're gonna send a bolt at his face and put him to 4.
Haven't seen the Goifs yet.
No, I think his only threats he had were those 2 Delvers. I think the rest of his hand is just permission and cantrips.
Okay. Well, we know some threats you could draw. Goif.
You draw Goif
Nimble
or
Mongoose.
Nimble Mongoose, and that's
Nimble Mongoose is 1 away from being active, it looks like.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 1 away. We got a
Right.
Crucible of Worlds from Anthony.
Oh, that's
okay.
a card that I need.
That is also a card that we've
Oh,
not
but
seen
it's
yet.
gonna get-
Spell
Immediately getting
Pierce.
Spell Pierce. Crucible is just a nightmare for what Kyle's trying to do.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like they just all his wastelands, all his stifles just get quite a bit worse once Crucible's in play.
Yeah, I'm sure Anthony is hating that he did not play.
Oh yeah. See that's always the fun situation. You kick yourself for not playing that land before casting your spell, and it's-
Yeah.
some people just don't have the some people are a little too prideful.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just don't want to play the land. It looks like he's going to cast an Engineered Explosives on 0 here, playing around any future flipped Delvers, which is interesting because I would assume he'd want to play around something like Tarmogoyf or...
Yeah, because we already saw 2 of those Delvers, so the odds of drawing another one and flipping it, as opposed to a Goif coming down right now, which he would be, we've got Artifact,
He's gonna
instant,
force of
sorcery.
will that inspiration.
Intuition.
Intuition, my bad.
Yeah. Good move by Kyle. Letting that Intuition resolve basically ends the game. He's going to get a very similar pile to what he got in the first game involving Life from the Loam. And
Yes. Intuition was the card you were telling us about that allows him to assemble the combo very easily.
And Anthony just naturally drawing the combo. There is the Dark Depths.
Wow.
I'm a little surprised he didn't just do that main phase. that way he doesn't get got by Wasteland.
Watch Brainstorm and 2 Lightning Bolts.
And again, yeah, he drew the Wasteland here, so this is a little awkward for Anthony. I think you're supposed to just main phase make a Merit Lage there. Now you're sort of giving Kyle an out if he draws Wasteland here, because Anthony's not gonna be able to respond to him playing that Wasteland while he's
no
still his
loam yet.
priority. So it looks like he's brainstorming and he's putting back. He's keeping Force of Will, Brainstorm. I'm not sure what the last card is here. We'll find out in a second.
What's he looking for right now? Just another beater?
Wasteland.
Wasteland?
He needs the
Got rid of the Dark Depths.
Yeah, well, he just needs it to sit there, so that Anthony can't make this 2020.
Yeah.
Like a threat is ideal. He's putting back a daze here, which is pretty poor.
So we're gonna see him possibly chain into another Brainstorm. Gonna crack that.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like he definitely kept another Brainstorm.
Maybe chain it into that. Look for a Wasteland.
Basically.
Yeah, he's gonna shuffle, then he's gonna brainstorm again. He really needs that Wasteland right now.
Yeah, he needs a Wasteland. If I was correct in seeing a Submerge there, then he does actually have an out to this Merit Lage, but it's just a little rough. He drew Nimble Mongoose.
There we
which is
go.
a threat.
The aforementioned Nimble Mongoose fully activated.
So I think he's just passing the turn here and just hoping this Submerge that I'm hoping is the card I saw, which will be able to play for free. We'll get there. Now Submerge again. Putting a creature on top of the deck, so it'll just get that Merit Lage gone forever.
Oh yeah.
So Anthony, I think, tanking here on what he's supposed to do. I'm not sure if this is in response to the Nimble Mongoose or at the end of his turn. We'll see. Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, thank you guys. That isn't Academy Ruins. That isn't a Dark Depths.
Oh wow,
Oh.
not nearly as scary.
And
Okay.
then we got the 5-mana Cast a Force of Will.
Wow,
the
wow,
alternate.
That's the first time I've ever seen a
Oh,
Force
yeah.
of Will be hard cast.
That's the real alternate casting.
Because he
run
did
there.
not want to discard that Ponder.
Sorry guys, yeah, my mistake. I didn't realize that was an Academy Ruins. But Ruins plus Engineer Explosives is actually extremely difficult for Kyle to fight through. He's just gonna be able to rebuy Engineer Explosives every turn. Oh, it looks like he's casting a Living Wish
Yeah,
here.
there's that Living Wish that was mentioned before.
And I think there it
Yeah,
is.
there's the Dark Depths.
They look kind of similar. Academy Ruins is a little bit bluer, but
Yeah.
he's gonna play that Dark Depths per turn, and pass right back to Kyle. Yeah, now this is basically it for Kyle. I think he might, like, if he drew Wasteland this turn, which he doesn't look like yet. He just has
He has a Delver,
he has a Stifle, a Delver, and a Tarmogoyf.
but that
Yep.
Delver is going to die. Unless he swings in and
Well,
doesn't flip it.
He can leave it as a 1/1. I think his best play here is to just play Tarmogoyf and pass.
Do you get to choose
Yep.
to flip it?
Yes.
Okay.
Since it's in a hidden zone, you don't necessarily need to reveal that card.
You may reveal that card.
Mhm.
All right, so we can keep it at a 1/1.
Wish does exile itself.
There we go. We see a Goyf.
And we've got a Merit Lage coming in, and Kyle is going
No,
to stifle the trigger.
Yep, he's gonna try and stifle that.
So
Oh,
he's trying to figure out exactly
what to stifle?
what to
I
stifle.
believe.
Can we pull up Dark Depths here? I just
Yeah,
want to
for sure.
see exactly how it's worded.
And that Tarmogoyf is representing lethal next turn if Anthony does not find an answer.
Okay, so if I'm reading this correctly, the way... Okay, all right. Kyle just stifled the Thespian stage. Stifle does not work favorably in this situation. So what happens if he effectively Thespian stages the Dark Depths?
Right.
This is one trigger. It'll keep triggering because sacrificing doesn't happen first.
Right.
If it was 2 triggers, if it sacrificed and then put the token into play, he could put the token into play.
Yeah.
But it's one trigger, sacrifice, then put token into play. So he could stifle it.
But
That'll
then he-
resolve, but then it'll just trigger again.
Yeah.
Immediately after that.
sacrifice it if you do.
Yeah, 'cause as
Not
soon
when.
as soon as state-based effects are checked again. So he
He just he stifled one of the stages, and then Zinni was like, okay, I'm gonna use my other one.
and do it in response, and Zinni's gonna end up with a 20/20 here.
Yep.
And Kyle's done. Yep.
Yep,
There we
that's
go.
it.
And there it is. That's the actual Merit Lage token.
All right, yeah, there we go. I think it was foil too.
Oh, it is. It is.
So-
It's a foil token. It's
Is
really
that an
cool.
expensive token?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna update the round to the match record to 1/1.
Yeah. Pretty sweet showing from that from his deck. Like, this is what's the cool thing about this deck. Like, it's the normal lands deck. You know, they run significantly more lands than this Farmville deck.
Yeah.
Like the lands deck runs approximately like 35 lands or
Mhm.
something like that. Whereas this deck is a more conservative 26, I
Okay.
think. About
Yes.
Being replaced by those blue cards for filter and search.
exactly. So
Cool.
you're able to cantrip through your deck a bit more.
Effectively lands.
Yes, yeah,
Better
really.
than lands.
Because you get to decide what you want to draw.
Yes.
But because of that, you're less reliant on drawing your spells. Like he does have exploration in his deck. He does have life in the loam in his deck, but he doesn't need to draw them to really execute his game plan.
Right.
His game plan is certainly better when he draws them, but he's better at finding them when he needs them. And he's better operating without them because of the stuff like Academy Ruins plus Engineered
Right.
Explosives.
Yes.
Right.
Which is a dirty combo.
And just Intuition being a 1-card
It's
combo.
very dirty.
Yeah, this is
So he doesn't have the Grove of the Burn Willows Passion Flames in this then? No red?
no red at all.
Bat colors?
Just the green for this, the green for Wishes and Loam, the blue for Intuitions and all the cantrips, and the white for the Supreme Verdict. I know he has the Meddling Mage in his sideboard.
Okay.
And I think it's just that you wanted a third color. I think he has 2 main deck Supreme Verdicts. Which is like how he beats cards like, he really keeps up with the deck like this and a deck like Blue Red Delver.
Which we showed worked.
Luxac is asking, does Kyle have a sideboarded loam for the Living Wish?
Or does Anthony?
Or yes.
Living. Hold on, I don't understand this question.
By the way,
Does Kyle have a sideboard loam? Oh no. Kyle, I don't think has a sideboard loam. Yeah, so Rogue Delver decks in the past have sideboarded Life from the Loam for Wasteland Mirrors.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the
There
idea
you
is
go.
that like when you really need more than 4 Wastelands, you can start loaming
and you
them back.
really need
Yeah.
more than 4
Yeah.
Wastelands when your opponent's running 27 to 35.
Yeah.
lands.
And that's sort of fallen out of favor. I don't think he does have it in his sideboard.
And happy holidays, Dream Killer, spelled with 2
Yes.
ones instead of S. You're loved here, don't worry.
Do we thank Nerdman? I don't remember.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we thank Nerdman
I
for
just missed it.
following.
All right, looks like Kyle's keeping his 7 and Anthony's going to go to 6 here. Didn't like what he saw.
Okay.
Um,
Assuming Kyle's going to have to keep an aggressive hand.
yeah, I mean, any hand with like a turn 1 Delver.
Probably going to see a
Yeah.
Delver in there,
Del-
maybe a Bolt. Did we see him sideboard anything?
Not between these 2
Kept
games.
the game plan.
Yeah, he stuck with whatever he decided to do for this game. I'm assuming he brought in that if the Cruising Grip wasn't in already, I'm fairly certain it was, and it's probably in for this game. Something to just mess with the Engineered Explosives at
Yes.
least.
Yeah.
I don't think he has too many haymakery cards, honestly, for this sort of matchup. Rogue Delver tends to sideboard a lot of like random counter spells and anti-creature things, and those
Yeah.
just aren't very effective.
Yeah,
against
all
what
its
Anthony's
aggro
trying
is
to
in
do.
the main board.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, but, they might sideboard like some number of Vendilion Clique,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
is a fine sideboard card, and I wouldn't mind it against what Anthony's doing.
No.
It doubles as both a chump blocker for Merit Lage and a disruptive card, because Anthony's effectively playing a combo deck.
Can we get a list for Farmville? Do you know, Anthony?
Yeah, I'll ask Anthony for it.
And we'll post that to the WUBRG Facebook
Yeah.
page. Tashism.
Yeah,
Tashism.
that's actually you can just call him Tash.
Tash.
Yeah,
Tash.
I know that person.
Okay.
Well,
Well, Phil knows you. He knows Anthony.
Yeah.
He's got your back.
I
Don't
think
look at
I think someone in chat had a link to the Reddit page for the Bant Lands deck, but yeah, I'll see if Anthony will get us a list too. But it's a pretty cool deck.
Yeah, I'm liking it so far.
Kyle did not have a turn 1 threat. He's got a turn 2 brainstorm after playing a Misty Rainforest, so he's looking to make this a good brainstorm.
Yeah, hopefully.
So-
You see the dramatic pause there.
Yeah, it looks like he has a Tarmogoyf in his hand,
I see a Delver.
and yeah, there's a Delver and a few lands. There's a Wasteland.
Wasteland.
That's coming right to the front. And Anthony leading on his flagstones. He is Wasteland proof this turn.
Ooh.
Ready for anything he's thrown at him. Flagstone's not the most exciting turn 1 play for this deck.
Oh, I love
No,
that card,
no.
though.
I mean,
I love it.
oh, it's great.
It's got a place in my heart.
Just does not produce blue or green mana.
Yeah, that's not gonna help Anthony out right now.
No.
We'll
All right, still pondering what he's going to keep on this brainstorm.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to decide. It looks like he has quite a bit of disruption. And I think he's sort of in this weird spot where all the cards are reasonably powerful in his hand,
Yes.
but he 100% needs to play with Delver, so he's getting rid of 2 cards.
All right, it goes down to 19 on that fetch.
And I'm assuming we'll see just a Delver follow-up right here.
And here, I believe we have another Bant Lands.
Yeah, take a look at
Checklist.
that link right there. That should give or a primer on what to expect out of this sort of goofy Bant Lands deck. I think it's pretty cool. I like this deck a lot.
I like the name Farmville better than Bant Turbo Lands.
Yeah, I gotta say, it sounds
Turbo
good.
Lands gives like a bad impression. I feel like the lands are going to be animated. You got some man lands, but not true here.
And Anthony's gonna Force of Will pitching Supreme Verdict, try and get rid of this Delver. And
He
and
dazes.
Kyle's gonna daze, returning the Tropical Island. He wants to keep this Delver in play. I believe it's his best threat right now.
Absolutely.
He's gonna lose out on a lot of tempo.
What did he lose that to?
Wait, just
It must have gotten Force of Willed.
oh man. Okay, so Kyle messed up kind of bad here. So Anthony just paid for that daze. That Flagstone was
Oh.
untapped. And Kyle just sort of dazed, and I think he just messed up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a little awkward because like losing that land drop is pretty bad. Yeah, it was a little bit of a misplay there. It's all right. He still has a backup threat. He's gonna be able to play this Delver next turn. Or,
Okay.
sorry, this Tarmogoyf next turn. But he's losing out on a lot of tempo.
Tarmogoyf is going to be 1, 2, and he played a.
It's gonna be a 3/4.
Okay.
And Anthony is at 19 now,
Yes.
or 18, excuse me, because he paid 1 for the Force Will.
Right.
He's gonna just jam this Goyf.
If he just has that Goyf out, I think Anthony has enough of a clock.
Anthony's got a crop rotation at the front there, which I think he's definitely gonna, float a white here, and then sacrifice the flagstones, which is, a pretty cute interaction.
Love
Gonna net a
Love
land
it.
out of there.
Love it.
And then we'll see if this crop rotation resolves. I believe it
Yeah.
does. It looks like Kyle's hand, I don't think Kyle wants to fight over this.
Yeah.
You just sort of want to let him get the lands he wants, especially because he has a wasteland in his hand.
Yeah, he wants those lands to come out so he can get rid of them.
Wasteland a choice target.
Exactly. He has the Force of Will, but I think it's fair to wait it.
Yep.
He's got Force of Will and Daze in his hand. Force of Will, Daze, Ponder, and Wasteland.
Okay, and
I think
Goblin Shark.
he's gonna do it. All right. I think he's just worried about Anthony having more lands. I think he's just
Yeah.
like taking
Yeah.
this opportunity to effectively take. It's a 2-card Wasteland.
Yeah, and he saw what happened last time
Yeah.
when he waited too long and let Anthony assemble a board state.
And you just sort of
He needs 1 or 2 cards and he goes off.
Yeah, and you end up just drawing these like Dazes late game, which are just really ineffective. Looks like Anthony has an Intuition in his hand here. I don't know why that Force of Will is there. That's definitely in the graveyard.
Sir Cucumber, Flagstones are already pretty high. They're between like 6 and 10 right now.
Looks like we got the stage. Kind of awkward that Kyle made the play that was more important for his next turn. He pitched the Daze instead of the Ponder here. But it means that he's sort of left open to this Intuition.
Yep.
And he can't
Okay.
Daze it. And this is pretty bad. So he didn't Daze it because he pitched the Daze to the Force of Will and has Ponder in his hand instead. So Anthony's going to get some combination of Light from the Loam. Yep.
There's the loam.
And Dark Depths and something else.
There we go.
Do you pay for parking until what time?
Oh shit. What?
Parking attendant.
Oh god.
Well, Ryan's got to go deal with this meter.
Yeah, he's
It's a small issue. All right. Looks like Anthony's getting engineered explosives. So I think he's just playing around any potential wastelands here. Just wants to answer the threats that Kyle's presenting to him. Maybe he's gonna get the Academy Ruins, his last card instead.
and that's all he really needs.
Yeah, I mean he could start dredging here. Like he doesn't need to kill Kyle immediately. Like this Goyf is just not a huge threat. I mean this the Loam and the engineered explosives will combine to make it a 5/6. But he's just gonna quickly he's gonna dredge this Loam back, see what it flips, and then he'll probably just start making his land drops, and then it's just tough for Kyle to keep up from there, especially with the one wasteland. Well, I think it should be a 5/6 Goyf.
5/6 now.
Believe so. We have Intuition, we have Instant Land, Artifact, Creature, Land.
Do we have a creature?
Yeah, there was the Delver that was Force of
Oh
Will.
yes, that's right. There is the Delver. Okay, yeah, that'll be a 5/6.
Yeah.
Goyf.
I think that die is supposed to be it. I think I have to go. Hopefully they catch it. I don't have to go up and tell them.
Yeah.
Kyle, I think, has a second Goyf in his hand. And he's trying to figure out how to navigate this turn. Looks like he's going to start it off with a Ponder. See if he finds anything he's interested in here. I see a Delver. Another Force of Will. Force of Will, not great here. I mean,
Yeah, it's not doing much for him. Was that a probe that I saw? I thought I saw a probe.
possibly it might be the third card there. I can't see it. So the interesting part about keeping something like Force of Will here is that he can Force of Will.
Oh, the chat is saying that the Goyf is actually a 4/5. There is no sorcery.
Oh, did he put the Life from the Loam in his hand? Okay, yeah, he
yes.
put intuition then. Now there's a ponder in there though.
Oh,
So
now
it's-
there is.
Yeah,
so
so now it's a 5/6.
Okay, there we go.
My mistake. He's got a second Goyf. Honestly, Kyle might be able to race what's going on here.
Oh yeah.
So-
He's got a lot of feel out. 2 Goyfs is hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And since Anthony went ahead and pitched the Supreme Verdict for a Force of Will early on, he doesn't really have a response.
Yeah, and this Life from the Loam, it's not actually all that effective. I would have been tempted to Force of Will there. It looks like Anthony's got the Exploration here. It's not a making mistakes that I've made. All right, so he's gonna go resolve an Exploration after that, and his second land for turn will be probably the Flagstones he got back. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is a little awkward. Anthony's definitely gonna try hard to Explosives next. He won't have enough lands to Explosives next turn.
I think Zinni is at 13 at this point because
Yes.
he did swing with the Goyf.
Yeah, and it was a Gitaxian Probe, which was that last card.
Oh, it was a probe. Okay.
Yeah, so he's gonna be at 13.
Yep.
And then Kyle's gonna go to 17 from the Gitaxian Probe.
Right.
And he's gonna Wasteland the Academy Ruins, which is really just gonna set Anthony back.
Yeah.
This is gonna be tough unless he has basically Supreme Verdict, which I know he has access to multiple copies. He's gonna be in a lot of trouble here. It's the one card that Force of Will is not gonna interact with.
Yeah.
All right, so he's gonna Brainstorm. Start this off. Try and dig. Found Intuition, Mazavith, which is gonna save him for
I'll save him for a little while. That's not gonna.
actually no. Anthony's at 3 now.
Oh,
he just took 10
Oh yes,
from
he
these
did.
Goyfs.
He took 10 from those Goyfs, and
So-
now he's.
So he needs to be able to kill one of these Goyfs, or he's just dead. So he's got Brainstorm, Mazavith, and Windswept Teeth. That's not gonna do it.
Nope.
Anthony's just not gonna be able to.
Unless that is a Supreme Verdict, which it isn't.
Oh, interesting. Anthony decided to Brainstorm on his upkeep. In case he decided to dredge something with Loam.
Yeah. Oh, he's considering whether or not he wants to crack this.
Well, I think he's got Intuition, Windswept Teeth, Mazavith, and Brainstorm.
Yeah.
He is gonna fetch.
Yeah, he's gonna fetch for it.
Going to 2.
I mean, at this point, having 3 life instead of 2, or 2 instead of 3 life isn't making much of a difference.
For sure.
Not when your Goyf is 5/6.
Yeah.
Certainly not. Not quite sure what his out is here. I mean, he's gonna play the Mazavith as his second land. He's got the Heath was his first one.
Gets rid of 1, but
I don't know how he's gonna deal with the other lethal Goyf. I think he's just gonna hope to
Brainstorm into something, right?
the perfects.
Yeah.
Yep. There's this Brainstorm. The Desperation Brainstorm. Yeah, that was just them confirming life totals.
Yep. He's like, you are at 2, right?
Let's see. I'm not sure what series of cards he can hit off this Brainstorm. I think he needs Blue Land, Supreme Verdict, and he had to crack that Windswept Teeth, and it's getting Force of Will, and that's gonna be it.
That's
game.
all.
Kyle gonna go to 16, and Anthony's just on air at this point. He can play the Mazavith, but it's just not gonna do it.
Yep, that's not what he needs.
And just Rug Delver doing its thing, providing a quick clock and being extremely disruptive. It's just it's tough for these sort of slower decks to deal with at times.
that seems like a very good answer to lands.
Yeah, just being aggressive.
Straight up in their face.
Being aggressive, having Wasteland Stifle days, like just disruption is great.
I think Anthony is regretting exiling that Supreme Verdict early on now.
Yeah, it's sort of coming back towards
Yep.
him. He's got a
Bolt
bolt
in
on
the
top. Don't need the combat step. Could be basically anything there. Yeah,
Yep, and yeah, he was.
wasn't gonna get there. Look at his top 3 were Force of Will and 2 fetch lands.
Yep.
So yeah, really good showing out of Rug Delver here. I mean, a lot of people thought this deck was just completely unplayable because of Treasure Cruise, but there were like a very small number of people who decided they were just going to try and jam it anyways, because if everyone's playing Blue Red Delver, they're all really soft to the card Nimble Mongoose.
Yeah.
Because they just can't kill it. There's just nothing they can do. They're already reasonably soft to Tarmogoyf. What's up?
The camera got bumped. How's the picture?
The picture's fine.
Looks
Yeah, it's
fine.
Oh, do we want to see if we can get another match? We got 14 minutes left in the round.
Let me go. I think is it slightly off? It's probably
Look,
yeah,
this
it looks
thing
like
every time. I can tell they padded it just for that reason.
Oh, absolutely. Looks like Kyle had some pretty reasonable sideboard cards. It didn't. Yeah, he had Grip, Ancient Grudge, Null Rod, and Surgical Extraction. Surgical Extraction by far the best card.
Oh
there.
yeah, that would that would wreck Zinni's deck.
Oh yeah, just being or Anthony's deck.
Yes.
Just being able to just get a loam, something like that is really tough for that deck to come back from. But yeah, I'm assuming he just sideboarded out of some of his crappy burn spells like Fourth Bolt.
Yep. That's not going to do anything against Loam.
No, absolutely not. You see that Peacekeeper? Yeah, he didn't sideboard it much. I think I would have been tempted to sideboard it in Flusterstorm in Anthony's spot. A lot of the time when you're playing a deck that just needs to put a lot of lands into play, I've come up with this in Storm. Like, if you really need to make your land drops, Flusterstorm is just really helpful for fighting a card like Stifle.
Yeah.
Like, I've played Flusterstorm specifically for slowing down other combo decks and just not getting stifled, and it's helpful. I mean, you really need your lands, and especially in this old Farmville deck. It's pretty important. I think the deck's still really cool though. I could see it being a little soft to just this sort of fast disruption though.
I don't think we're going to be able to get another match before this round ends. We
Okay.
might possibly if someone moves into game 3.
Let's so we have all right. We have Kyle moving to 2-1. We have one more round. What do you guys want to see?
Do you guys want to see what's in contention for 4-0? Or
believe-
one of the more interesting decks?
Yeah, I mean, let us know what you want to see. I mean, we have Maverick, we have Reanimator. We saw earlier Death and Taxes and normal like red green lands.
What's 3-0 now? We don't know yet. Rounds aren't finished.
I know that
What was 2-0 when we were moving down here?
Maverick was playing lands for 3-0,
Okay.
and I'm not sure what the other one is. But yeah, let us know in the chat what you guys want to see. We'll try and get something on there. We're gonna obviously try and feature one of the decks that's doing reasonably well tonight. At least make it interesting.
And Dreamkiller asks, so I'm thinking about getting into Magic. What's the best way to format deck for me to start, and how much money should I save up? I'm going to say standard. Best way for you to start. Drafting
Oh yeah.
is a good way to start.
I think if you're gonna play constructed, standard is definitely the way to start. If you're not gonna play constructed, I would 100% say play limited.
Yeah,
I mean,
go
I-
play
yes.
limited.
it's the best. It's also, I think, in my opinion, the best way to get good at Magic.
Yeah, it teaches you the game really well.
Yeah, and it teaches you in subtle ways. Teaches you a lot about deck building.
Yes,
just like-
absolutely a ton about deck building, because
um,
you're playing with cards that are somewhat subpar.
yeah, you're playing with cards that are on average much lower power level.
And it's only $15 every time you go play. as
And you have the
opposed to
opportunity to
100.
make a lot more than $15.
Yeah, exactly. Randomly open some foil fetch land or whatever. But you just learn. You just learn about Magic the best way there. But as far as constructed goes, yeah, I think standard's a good way to do it, and standard's actually pretty sweet right now. I think it's much better than it has been in the past.
It's
it was for a while.
up and down. It was really nice. There was a ton of diversity, and then everyone was like, "Oh, hey, things are kind of slow." You know what's great when things are slow? Whip of Erebos.
You had these grindy Whip of Erebos mirrors and stuff like
And
that.
now blue-white control
Uh,
is up in standard. We've
yep,
seen
is
some
it?
190-minute matches.
I think that happened at the Players Championship.
Yeah,
that
and then
happened.
Sidisi Whip mirror. That's a great. That's fun to watch.
Oh yeah. Should we put the camera back on us for now?
We're
we
trying. The booth has
cannot.
been down all day.
Yeah.
Down? Oh rats!
Yeah.
I can't see our beautiful faces.
Yeah. We've been apologizing profusely. People have rampaged for the faces.
God, I'm
Yep,
sorry
see,
guys.
now
There's nothing
working.
that we can't do it.
Come on. Oh, that's unfortunate. Anyways, yeah, I think standard's sweet though. I'm also like a fan in general of like grindy, annoying decks.
Yeah.
Like,
You're gonna love standard right
Yeah,
now. You got Abzan midrange, Abzan Reanimator, Sidisi Whip. Anything that's black and can play a whip. Anything that
Oh,
can
yeah.
anything that can shoulder the 2 black mana
Yeah, they're
is gonna
playing-
play a whip.
they're
And
playing
that has
4
creatures.
whips.
They're like lots of whips, lots of Sidisis, all this self mill. I keep seeing people talking about how they will randomly lose to just decking themselves.
Yep, that happens.
Actually, the one standard tournament I played in recently, I played blue-black control. Because as I said, I like a grind.
Yeah.
And I played against an Esper control deck, and we just We just I decked him. We just sat there with like killing each other's win conditions, and then we had way more removal than win conditions.
Yeah.
So we just so I like killed every Elspeth in his deck, and like we went through every counter spell. And we just like sat there for turns.
Most exciting grind I've seen in Standard was an Ashiok trying to race a grind clock.
Yeah, exactly. That's
The guy
awesome.
was calculating, okay, how many times can I tap to get charge counters out to get the most effective mill to beat this Ashiok?
I actually saw something like that happen on like the Star City game stream, and I started writing a program to calculate it because I was like, that's really interesting. I need to know that in case I play those cards. Because I was like, I love Ashiok, and I've been known to play a grind clock or two.
Cook the Fourth asks, what do you guys think of Eidolon Blossoms? It's playing really well in the green-black shell.
Yeah.
It's really really strong on that deck.
If you watch Reed Duke played it
Yeah.
in the Players Championship, he played a green-black shell in Standard, and the Eidolon Blossoms was a killer card.
yeah, for
It
sure.
procs off of Courser, procs off a lot, procs off of another.
Doomwake Giant.
Yes.
The Doomwake Giants were devastating.
Farika and her tokens.
Yes.
Farika's tokens are crazy.
I didn't even think about Farika's tokens,
Oh
but that's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, unless you just go crazy. You just get to machine gun their team with like a Doomwake Giant and like draw a bunch of cards. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's interesting because Reed played a blue-black green deck. He played a Sultai deck.
But it's pretty much green-black
Yeah.
Constellation
Yeah,
with
and
a splash of blue.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Like he had no Sidisi's in
Yeah,
his
nothing.
deck or anything like that.
Which
I mean,
was annoying because they called it Sidisi Whip, didn't they? Or they called it Sultai Reanimator.
they call it Sultai
But
Reanimator. I'm
what
like,
was
that's-
Reanimate? Did he even have?
It's more or less he played Whip. Like,
Okay,
he
I saw
played
the
Whip.
Whip.
He played Warner
Everything
Queen.
has Whip. We're just gonna call everything Reanimator.
Yeah,
Burn
just
Reanimator. Freaking
Blank
everything.
Whip.
Rakdos Reanimator.
I'd play that.
That actually sounds really fun.
Get a lot of Siren Sand.
Bunch of like Bernie.
Since they only have 6 minutes left, when they're starting game 3, they're not going to move just because
Cool.
they need to.
Oh no. That's
Yeah,
fine,
no
that's
problem. No problem.
fine. But yeah, like it's his deck is I think pretty sweet. I know Andrew Beckstrom won a pre-PTQ on Sunday playing just the green-black Constellation shell.
Yep.
Playing when he was on
That
the
was Spectrum, right?
and he was I know when he was on like the national team, he played with Owen Turtenwald, who's a big proponent of that deck along with Reed, and he said like he learned a lot watching them, and I think that deck's very good. I mean, I think Reed in his article said it was like the best Whip deck, but
It's coming back. What happened was before Whip was popular, people started realizing okay, green-black Constellation can be a thing. Not many people playing Back to Nature. There's not so much enchantment removal.
Yep.
And like it takes care of Hornet Queens and their tokens.
yeah, very easily. Doomwake Giant just cleans
It was
right up.
originally built as a response to Sidisi Whip, and now it's slowly becoming it.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, there's a sort of melding
Without
of
the
shells.
Sidisi,
Some
without
kind
the
of-
Sidisi,
yeah.
but
Yes.
it's
Becoming what it was intended to destroy.
I mean, it's interesting, like I guess Eidolon is occupying the spot of Sidisi here, but like I mean, Sidisi is just an Eidolon that instead of drawing a card, just puts a 2/2 into play, and I don't know. It seems kind of hard not to play that card if you're able to cast it and you're
Yeah.
playing Whip of Erebos in your deck. Stuff like Murderous Cut.
Yeah, Sidisi Whip was one of the first decks I wanted to play in Standard. I just really got into Magic like this rotation, and I really wanted to build Sidisi Whip, and then it wasn't doing well. And I was like, oh man, and now it's everything.
It's tough. I mean, I think it's definitely one of those decks that people just don't build correctly initially.
Yeah.
Like the very first week of the format, I played in the Star City Open in Indianapolis, and I played a Teamer Monsters deck.
Okay.
But I just built it like garbage. The deck was just not great. I had like a lot of just random spells. I had like 4 lightning strikes that were absolutely awful.
right.
Like I kept playing against like either like an Abzan deck with no targets, or
Yeah.
I would play against these like weenie decks where it's like not even an efficient removal spell. It'll keep you alive a little bit, but if you don't gun like like a red deck, if you don't hit Rabble Master, you'll just die.
Yeah.
Well, we see a lot of the old archetypes that people first tried coming back now.
Yeah, I mean basically everything but the sort of Jeskai mid-range deck. That one hasn't really come back.
Switch to tempo and
the
tokens.
tokens. That deck is
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
I thought he just broke the format in half when he built that deck.
Yeah,
but
that was right. And we saw the combo in the beginning, in the very beginning
Yeah,
of
the
this
co-
rotation Standard. Everyone was like, this combo, we need to ban it. And then
Yeah.
it didn't really kind of fizzled out.
yeah, and
Jeskai was like, I have a better game plan. I can go tempo and I can go tokens.
exactly.
I can just burn the shit out of you.
I still think that card is still certainly broken. Luxdeck Delver, I agree. I think that deck is Abzan Aggro is a very good deck.
I love that. That was the
Yeah.
second deck I wanted to build, but I didn't want to buy Temples of Milady.
Yeah, and I didn't want to buy Wingmate Rocks.
Yes.
Those were very expensive.
I don't
back
think you
then.
play those in aggro though. Your curve stops at like 4.
Nowadays, the one that Andrew Tendrum has been playing this deck. He's something like 30-6 in
Damn.
like premier events with this deck. He has just been crushing with it.
The aggro.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, it has such an efficient curve.
Yeah, exactly. It's brutal. But he's playing. He's like he won a. He lost in the finals of like a 5K with it. Lost in the finals of a PTQ, not a pre-TQ, an actual PTQ. The other day, like he's just had a pretty absurd win rate with it. But he's playing 4 Wingmate Rocks in that deck.
Wow.
Yeah, he's not playing like I remember the original Pro Tour deck played like Herald of Torment
Yep.
and like Air of the Wilds. And he just, like,
I
cut
never
those cards.
understood the Air of the Wilds, and that it wasn't enough of a beater for me. I feel like Rakshasa, because
Yeah.
you can pump it up
Oh,
to
yeah.
4 is better.
Death Dealer and Fleeceman Lion are both
Yes,
superior.
that's what I was gonna say. You have the 2-drop advantage no matter what.
Yeah.
And whoever's playing the Players Championship, they had a great curve where they would drop a Fleeceman into what's her face, Anna Fender.
And if it was a BBD. BBD played the deck. He basically played Tendrum's deck. It's like, it curves either Lion or Death Dealer into Anafenza, into Rhino, into Rock.
Yes.
And then they just play a bunch of removal.
It's a sick chain.
Yeah, it's very good, and it's Death Dealer is a very powerful card.
I loved that card.
Yeah.
That was the card that made me want to play Sultai,
Yeah,
but he's not in Sultai now.
yeah, and BBD did pretty well with that deck if I remember correctly. And people I know have been saying very good things about it. Like at the first, yes, one of the things he got 9th at the first like Star City Grand Prix or whatever that they.
Yeah, Mike
they were
Segrist played the first Abzan aggro I ever saw.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah,
he
the one at
had-
the Pro Tour.
He also had a pretty efficient curve. He didn't have the Anafenzas in there, I think.
Oh,
Which is
He did.
did?
He had and he had Herald of Torment.
Okay.
Just to like make the old 7/8 Rhino.
Yep.
Fly right over you. It's funny that card has sort of fallen out of favor. I understand that it's been replaced with Wingmate Rock. They sort of serve the same purpose of
Mhm.
having like something that goes over the top, literally, like just being above all these like. Because like a lot of standard matches come down to these ground stalls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like between all these decks we've been talking about with Whip of Erebos, they just gum up the ground, and like Wingmate Rock is just like I'll kill you.
Yeah.
I'm just going over all of that. And
Yeah.
you're-
Hornet Queen stops it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hornet Queen is definitely a problem with the deck, and that's why I was seeing people just like jamming 4 Bioblight.
Bioblight. Yep.
Yeah, just like
Drown in Sorrow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, these decks have a lot of Drown in Sorrows. They also have like they want to be able to keep up with the token.
Yeah,
decks
and
as
Drown
well.
in Sorrow kills the Queen and her tokens.
Yeah. Oh, it's excellent. It's
Yeah.
it's the best removal spell for Hornet Queen in the format.
Absolutely.
Unless a Resolve Hornet Queen at least. I'm
Yeah.
a fan of Disdainful Stroking it as well. That's a sweet card.
Another good card. Stubborn Denial in blue-white heroic.
I've seen that card's been really powerful.
That is great. I need 2 of. For some reason, in my absurd collection of junk commons, I don't have a single Stubborn Denial.
That's very strange.
So we should have a raffle to see who gets to mail me Stubborn Denials.
Why not, Chad? If anyone wants to mail Ryan, we're gonna start a mail Ryan a Stubborn Denial fund.
Yeah.
Um,
And I will mail you waffles, or I will make you waffles, because as we had before, there's no raffle today, but people were exclamation point waffling in the hopes of getting some breakfast.
Yeah, we don't have a raffle tonight, unfortunately, or waffles.
No.
I wish we had both.
Yeah, because I'm seriously hungry.
Yeah, no offense to the chat, but I think I would prefer a waffle.
Yeah,
this time.
especially after running after that parking attendant.
Oh,
I
did you?
avoided the ticket.
Oh, you did?
I avoided the ticket.
I should have asked about that. That's good.
It was fantastic.
Oh, Alpha Attacker's friend has a foil Stubborn Denial.
Well, I'm your new friend. So,
Geoducks, I think we could all use some waffles. In the
gooey
mail.
ducks.
Wake up in the morning, walk downstairs, mail's waiting for
waffle,
you.
right?
Open the package and there's just waffles.
It's just the mailman in your bedroom next to your bed with a silver platter holding waffles.
He's a good man.
Like a sexy cut mail suit.
Mr. Mango Jenkins, our deck was not outstanding. Okay, this I think his name is Mango Jenkins. If I'm saying that correctly. Him and I built this deck, this teamer deck. He was actually doing pretty well with it at this open. I think he says to this day that he should have top 8 at that event.
It was Timor Monsters is doing fine now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it looks good. It was
People
just
were kind of like, oh hey, Stormbreath Dragon.
yeah. That's the thing. People
works.
forget that that card doesn't die to Abzan Charm. And
Yes.
that card gets right through Wingmate Rock and all that stuff. It kills you dead and real fast.
Yeah, I thought Timor was going to be very powerful when I first saw it.
Same. I mean, like we built this deck with the anticipation of being able to go over the top of what the Abzan decks were doing, but ended up being a little hard to keep up with. We just had so weird distribution of spells in our deck.
It's something that I think it spiked about a month ago, and I haven't seen any really competitive lists as of yet, unless you have.
Yeah, the only person who's really been playing it are like Brian Kibler and Jeff Hoogland. Hoogland loves that deck. I mean, I know I talked to him a bit about it. He like played some other decks for a bit, and then he just went back to playing the teamer deck after he lost a bunch of other decks. And he, constantly do well with it. Like the worst I would see him doing is just like X and 2ing tournaments, which is respectable.
Yeah, I thought Sagu Mahler was going to be a big thing. And Gary Merchant, next match coming up soon.
Yeah, we're
Got
just
Alex upstairs, seeing who we can get on the future match table.
yeah, we'll see who's doing well tonight. I figure we're gonna get maybe something like Reanimator or
Haven't seen Reanimator yet. Very
yeah.
interesting.
I only saw it in the very painful destruction. Next round will be starting soon. I don't think we have any more matches going to time. I guess we do have 2 Lands decks.
Yeah.
So we got a little
Might
bit
be finishing
of
up some rounds there.
yeah. Hey man, I respect Killer. That man loves basic forest. Like no other. He just really wants to play, Elvish Mystic.
Yeah.
We decide what we're watching?
We're waiting on 2 matches that are still going on.
Are they Lands?
One of them is Lands.
All right.
My Merit Lage doesn't die to your Merit Lage. They're both indestructible, so we're just going to wait another turn.
Yeah.
Much to the surprise of no one, Lands is one of the last decks playing.
Yes.
Yeah, they're on turns right now, so it should be
Okay.
ending soon.
All right.
Pretty soon.
All right, so less than 5 minutes. We should be ready for the last round.
And Gooey Ducks, where are my Gooey Ducks? We talked about getting me some of those. First Wednesday Modern stream.
Oh,
We
man.
were softly promised Gooey Ducks. Or maybe it was me.
Maybe it was just you.
Maybe it was me who promised to go get the Gooey Ducks, but I have no idea. Have you ever seen a Gooey Duck?
What is a gooey
It's a
duck?
really phallic clam. And the only way to harvest them, they dig themselves into the dirt, and they're in shallow waters, and you have to pull them out.
Wow.
And they seriously, they look straight up like a penis. Like there's nothing around. And I kid you not, like when you pull it out, it squirts the excess water out.
Wow.
I'm not. It's nature's like phallic joke.
I gotta say, I am not going to Google this. No, I'm definitely going
We'll
to
do
Google
it
this.
when Alex gets back to his laptop. I'll show you what a Gooey Duck is.
Gary Merchant, the secrets to playing Storm. So I will say, here's how I learned to play Storm. I built the deck over the course of like about a year because I was in college, didn't have very much money. Once I had the deck built, I goldfished that deck so much. You just need to learn repetition and like know your combos. It is an extremely difficult deck to play optimally. I've said it over and over again. 9 out of 10 of my losses are because of me.
Are we talking about Storm?
Well, it's
Yeah.
Storm because you play with yourself.
Yeah, you do. I mean,
Your losses are always not always, but most of the time because of you.
you think so? I mean, like it's.
0-0.
I think Storm gets a bad rap as being like a non-interactive deck, but like you interact a lot. Like you cast Duress. Duress is super interactive. But it's just a. It's a really fun deck to play when you've played it a lot. I love playing that deck. I play the poorly named ANT, Ad Nauseam Tendrils. I say poorly named because I voiced this over and over again. Casting the card Ad Nauseam is the worst. You cast that card and you just die every time. Just like you cast it, you like either brick or die. It's kind of miserable. But I go up there and goldfish some hands. I might be kind of bored.
Yeah, Master Neo, we want the camera up. It's not working today. We're gonna get that fixed by the next
What do
stream.
you guys want on camera?
What do we want on camera? I think Reanimator.
Yeah, I think that
Well,
was the
who's
next.
who's 3-0?
Maverick.
Maverick and Rug Delver.
Maverick and Rug Delver.
We've
Delver
seen,
Trio? Oh, I
yeah,
thought it was-
we've seen Rug Delver
twice now.
twice
Twice,
now,
yeah.
so let's go
Reanimator's
with.
playing not a deck.
All right, then
He's
let's
got
do
the
that.
vibe.
Let's do that. I
He's
think.
playing not a
For
deck.
the final round, you want not a deck.
Yes,
Uh,
can
let's-
we
let's
get
do it.
boosters?
Let's-
Please, let's do it. Yeah,
let
they
me
want to see
take a look.
Reanimator.
All right, Phil's gonna take a look upstairs.
Yeah, we might see the
See what we've
booster
got.
deck.
And
The booster
As
deck
not
might
a
come
deck
in.
is, it's not very like entertaining.
Gooey Duck. Gooey Duck said that he would mail me a Gooey Duck for $50 in spring.
Oh.
Because apparently he's somewhere where he can harvest Gooey Ducks. Because he said he's not gonna go out there and harvest them in the cold.
I see. Guys, so one of the options is watching Reanimator against booster deck, or as Chuck calls it, not a deck. So that is, if you let us know if you guys want to see that.
If you really want to see it.
I know Reanimator was one of the decks that we wanted to see. The other option is watching Rug Delver again versus Maverick.
Yeah. 3-0 is Maverick versus Rug Delver.
Right.
Classic legacy battle.
Yes.
And then another interesting match is Lands versus Junk Pod.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we saw Junk Pod already.
Yeah.
Every
We also saw Lands already. Yeah, I don't think we should watch Reanimator play against this other deck because it's just going to be brutal. It's
They're saying
it's going to be turn 2 kill you both games.
Yeah.
I'm
F Poon wants to see Reanimator. Gary Merchant wants to see Not a Deck.
come on, guys.
I know they're asking for it. ESB wants to see Reanimator or Booster, which are both playing against each
Oh
other.
my god.
So I think we're just gonna have to do it.
We're gonna have to
guys.
see it, and then we can switch to another match after he loses in 2 rounds.
All right.
Yeah. There. We'll watch them. We'll watch Not a Deck lose immediately, and then we'll put something else on afterwards.
And Gooey Ducks lives in the Pacific Northwest, where Gooey Ducks live natively. You can just walk up to the beach and dig one up. He said he
I'm
promised
glad
to
we
mail.
laughed.
He said he would mail me one in spring when the weather's nice enough to dig one up. I'd have to pay $50 for the
Fair.
shipping.
Metalworker, the pod decks do have 4x Cabal Therapy. It's a veteran explorer deck. And those cards go hand in hand.
That's pretty much all we saw in the pod deck. Do you have more info on that? Because we didn't get to see it do anything.
The pod deck?
Yeah.
It's like so Glacier has been playing this. He's been playing Birthing Pod in this format for a while, and he usually plays. There's Peter. He usually plays Sultai Pod, which I'm going to start calling it that, but instead of Bug Pod. But he's decided today to try out what I am calling Rhino Pod. He's playing like Siege Rhino in his deck. He asked
We
me.
didn't see that.
Yeah, he
We
asked
didn't
me
see a Siege
before we started. I feel like I misspelled that. I feel like there's an A in there somewhere, but I'm gonna do as good as I can.
It's close. Just
But,
call it not a deck.
I don't want to be that mean.
Yeah.
Let's, come on.
Booster is
We're
his
calling
deck.
it
We got it.
Booster.
But yeah, the deck is just a value Birthing Pod deck.
Did you play against Booster, Sydney?
Yes, he did.
Who's Worcester?
The
Orange sleeve guy.
guy that you just played against.
Oh, that guy.
What was in the deck?
I mean, I would be pretty thrilled. Do you know?
Borderland
Do you know
Ranger.
his name?
What?
It was Sergio, I think. I'm gonna go double check
Are we gonna make
because.
you later?
Or you? Yeah, you can go.
No.
Let's go somewhere. Let's figure that out later, Sydney.
All right,
We'll
stream.
figure
While we're
out
trying to
this
figure
later.
out how quickly Reanimator is going to beat Booster, what should we eat after this? Sydney, famous death and taxes, super foiled out Dex player, wants to go to McDonald's,
Yeah.
and I think that's a horrible decision.
Oh my
I'll go to McDonald's with you,
best.
Sydney.
It's the cheapest. It's the best.
It is
It's the
cheap and
cheapest.
fast.
That's why he
Oh.
only eats McDonald's, so he can afford to foil out all of his decks. So
I was close. I was
What
close
is
on
it?
Chrysopolis.
you were close.
Oh.
All right. It's like this.
Well, let's do Sergio.
Sergio
first.
You were not far at all.
I was-
That's like the Americanized spelling of like. That's how you spell it phonetically.
Yeah, basically.
And I'll let you type that one in.
Yetter Me says we should go eat at Wendy's. What? That's not.
Wendy's isn't around us. I
Ooh,
don't
Gooey
think.
Duck says get some Thai food. That's a much better idea.
Thai food closes
Now?
8 minutes ago.
8 minutes ago? Yeah.
Well,
okay. I guess we're not getting Thai.
Give
Well,
it.
for Reanimator. I think Reanimator can beat Booster in negative 12 minutes, giving us time. Negative like hour.
I am.
giving us time to get
I gotta say though, I'm definitely rooting for Sergio just to have some random, extraordinarily hateful card in
Wow,
his deck.
actually, I've seen something like that happen. My friend had a crazy Phyrexian Obliterator deck, and he lost to a common that makes your creature deal damage to itself.
Senacious is asking what is Booster? Booster is a... We don't know.
That's the thing.
It's a thing.
Who knows? Who knows
We
what Booster
really
is?
don't know.
We're all gonna find out together.
Yes.
This is gonna be a journey.
And then I think we're going to move to Rug Delver versus Map.
Here we go. Lotus Petal, like, first turn, as well as a
Polluted Delta.
Polluted Delta, yeah.
Yeah, Peter doesn't have the turn one, which
No.
is, fine. But I'm assuming he has some sort. I think he might be going a little bit slower because he has no idea what Sergio's playing. But I think once he finds out, there's going to be like a turn 2 Exhume.
It's just going to be mayhem.
God,
It's a
Yeah,
slaughter.
Basic Forest.
you gotta read it. Yeah,
Yes.
Sergio is sort of showing his like legacy.
What is on top of his deck?
I honestly have no idea.
Some kind
That
of
is a crystal.
pale
It looks
crystal?
It's like
Yes.
a divining
I was going to say.
crystal thing.
It's like a real Sensei's Divining Top.
Peter fetching and a turn for Underground Sea. We'll see if he has a tomb as well. Sergio does not recognize Lotus Petal, and let's give him some credit. He's new to Legacy. This is a tough format to break into, and you gotta learn him at some point. But this is gonna be a trial by fire, and he's got the Entomb. This is gonna be
This is gonna be brutal.
yeah. Unfortunately for Sergio, this is gonna be a rough introduction to Legacy. And he's just gonna get Grizzlebrand immediately.
Well,
And we'll see what happens on turn 2. I'm going to imagine that Peter's going to have a 7/7 Flying Lifelinking Demon in play.
Yes.
Um,
I
which-
would not be surprised.
if I were Sergio, I just wouldn't read that one.
Sergio just like untaps and just like go for the throat sit or something. And
Gotta take a sip of that Red
Yeah.
Bull. Prepare.
Start the round timer.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
and then
Cool.
Peter is at 19.
Yes.
Ah, yes, the 1 card cut. I respect it.
Did he really just?
It's a uncommon maneuver, but respectful. All right, Peter cracking that Lotus Petal for a color that doesn't matter and casting Exile.
Actually, we don't know if Sergio's won a match. What's his record right now? I'm assuming he's actually.
I think he has not won a single match.
Yeah, I think
so-
they're both
he's
bottom bracket.
Peter is 1 and 2.
Okay.
Peter
And
is-
Sergio is 0-3.
Yeah, to tour de force, I think Peter will consider drawing 7. If he feels like it. Especially since this was not even a reanimate. If this was reanimate, this would have been a turn 1 Grizzle Dad. But instead we got we have the old turn 2 off the Exhume, cost him no life. He's at 19, and he's probably gonna take 7 cards here. And
Yeah, Gooey Ducks, that was us. Sorry, the overlay did lie to you. He has not won a match. We just didn't update that quick enough. And he is reading Gristlebrand here.
yes, Elf Attacker, that sounds like a powerful Storm deck. I wish you the best of luck. 4 Stormcrow, 28 clones, 4 Ponder, 4 Preordain, 20 lands. I like that you also declined to play Brainstorm.
Yes.
Need those Preordains, though.
And did he? I don't think he drew here.
Has not drawn, hasn't decided. I think if I'm Peter here, I immediately, hello Graham, I immediately draw 7. Because, I mean, excess cards don't matter here. What are you going to do? Like, just throw the Elish Norn or extra Gristlebrands into your graveyard. If Sergio had pregame Leyline, who would win game 1? If he had, well, which Leyline?
Yeah, really important question.
I'm assuming, I know you mean Leyline of the Void, but I mean, I'm just saying, if it's Leyline of Vitality, who really does win? If he has pre-game Leyline, or pre-start the game Leyline, then I think
Oh,
Peter
we're
is
gonna-
just dead.
We're gonna get to see Sergio's hand
All right,
here.
we get to see what is going on. Thus far, we know that Sergio's deck has at least 2 basic forests. That is the extent of our knowledge. And Peter's going to cast a Thoughtseize here.
So we're gonna get to see Sergio's hand.
Got another forest. Another forest. Duress. Duress.
What?
Oh man. What is that card?
That's a lot of standard
Ferris
cards.
Band Trooper.
Yeah, that's a
And
Ferris Band Trump.
Borderland Ranger.
Yes.
And Peter is.
Speaking of getting I think we got a reader here, guys.
Yeah.
We got someone who needs to know what old Borderland Ranger does.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Peter's the reader. He's like, what is
In
Ferris
case you
Band
wanna know
Trooper?
what that card is, it's Last Caress. It's a 2-mana, target player loses 1 life, you gain 1 life, draw a card.
Oh, I
Damn.
see.
Okay.
Black one.
Black 1.
Okay, so in case you guys didn't hear that, that black card right in the middle is called Last Caress. Black 1 sorcery, I think. Target player loses a life, you gain a life, draw a card.
Right.
I have never seen that card in my life.
Nope.
I've been playing Magic for a long time. And he thought he's the Borderland Ranger, which is just insult to injury if you ask me. I mean, come on, he could have cast this. You can't even let him cast his Duresses. Like
No.
this, that's
No.
just rude. Duress is actually pretty good against Peter's deck for what it's worth. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, Dress is also pretty bad if you don't have a black mana source.
yeah, that guy
That's
would
true.
agree with that statement.
Oh, yes. He swings in with the Gristlebrand, and Sergio is at 13.
And Sergio in, I mean, even before considering what is in his deck, is in a world of trouble.
Yeah, we might want to switch to a second match immediately after this first one. After the first game.
Sergio playing a tapped green-black land that I've never seen before also.
And
Man.
Kavaki says, and
That-
so begins a new tale. The Ballad of Sergio.
Oh, my goodness.
Is that a fetch?
I
No,
don't...
that is not a
It's
fetch.
definitely not a Verdant
No,
Catacomb.
that's a tap. That's a dual tap land. It
Oh,
just
okay.
comes into play tapped. I believe it gains
Oh,
him.
No, it's not. It's not a
It's
refuge.
not- it's
They're
not
not.
a life
There are no
counter.
enemy refuges.
Oh, okay.
And it's not Jungle Hollow. I think it's the. It might be from Commander. God, I'm at a loss.
Is it a check land, a buddy
Come on,
land?
Phil, you're the one who's the legacy pro.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Legacy Pro Phil Silberman is entirely stumped by what is going on.
No, it's clear that he's learning the format. He's here.
Tainted. It might be Tainted Woods, which is, ooh, yeah, the one that's like taps for 2 different colors, but it's like a filter. I mean, I'm not.
Maybe,
I'm not
the
quite
one
sure.
where you
All right.
tap one color to tap the other one.
This is this is a little unfortunate that Sergio got paired against like such a like a vicious combo deck. Like Reanimator is an extremely unforgiving.
Yes, absolutely.
It really they jam Gristlebrand into play immediately, and it's rough. I mean, Sergio's playing a fair deck. Thing is, I'm super happy to see him here. Like this shows like a lot of like courage. Like
Absolutely.
coming to this, like this is awesome for him. And it's like more than anything else, it's a learning experience for a lot of people. This happens to everyone.
Yes.
At some point when they're playing a
I mean,
format.
this happened to me. Like I brought a good deck built
Yeah.
by Sydney to PPTQ, and I just got wrecked. I lost on a mono white life gain deck to burn.
Exactly.
Like-
This happens. Okay, so it is a Tainted Wood is the card.
Okay.
It's a land that taps for black and green. I don't remember what set it's from though. But yeah, this sort of thing will happen every now and then. I feel like I've been in both of these players' seats at one time or another.
Yes.
Like I've been in Peter's seat. Like I've been the guy like playing Storm against someone who brought their like really
Yeah.
fair creature deck, and I'm like, well, I'll kill you on turn 2, and it's rough.
That was me at this previous PPTQ against goblins. It was,
Yeah,
for sure, yeah.
blue white gives Tron, and I just
And you just die.
yeah,
Um,
he couldn't do
Yeah,
anything.
I agree. Geoducks, it is like pretty fun just like getting completely annihilated.
And dude's really happy. Like I walked up there and he's actually the one who saw my parking ticket.
Oh
Who
my
saw the
god.
parking attendant.
You owe this man.
I do owe this man.
Yeah, I mean, okay, for what it's worth, if Sergio has draws that are not unreasonable here. Like Peter like has several hands that just like don't
He's
have
at 30 now.
that just don't have counter magic in it, and just getting dressed into hell is rough.
It's not impossible either that he would have. Let's see. He's playing both of his commons and uncommons.
I mean,
What kind of removal could he have?
I know he has at least Doomblade in his deck, because he played against Greg earlier.
Okay, Doomblade won't take care of Gristle though.
No, unfortunately not. It looks like Sergio dressing him, taking his Brainstorm,
Okay.
leaving him with just the Flooded Strand. Peter electing not to draw 7. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Now we get the Last Crest being cast, which is going to make Peter lose a life and Sergio gain a life.
Correct.
Unfortunately, not getting him out of range of this Gristlebrand.
It looks like it's going to be over this turn.
Yeah, soon as Peter untaps, he's just going to attack for 7, and then end this game.
So I misread the mana cost. It's 2 and a black.
My mistake.
2
Yeah,
and a black.
Last
But-
Crest is actually a 3 mana spell. So
But he drew an Ord Viper off of it, so it's fine.
all right,
Right.
all right,
Well,
all right. Going to game 2 here. I definitely don't know what's going to be in Sergio's sideboard here. I'm hoping there's some some sweet like graveyard hate. I mean, green has access to a lot of sweet things.
That would be great.
Yeah.
We know he's got green black.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
I'm
like,
assuming those are his only 2
And
colors.
and Mark is making a valid point. Play to win, but be nice and give them pointers along the way or ways to improve their deck.
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah, I love playing against like newer players. Like
Yeah.
it's like one of my favorite things to do in Magic, and you get to like teaching is just great. Being able to explain really like crazy interactions and like why things are really cool in Legacy specifically.
Yeah.
That's how I made friends with everyone here.
Yeah.
And other places. Like when I tried to, I was playing Alex's blue-red Splinter Twin deck,
Yeah.
and I tried to Spreading Seas of Fetch Land.
Yes.
And my new friend Mike Grossman said, "You don't want to do that."
Yeah, all these
And it
situations.
is true.
Yeah,
You do
it's-
not want
It's
to
just
do
a rough
that.
situation. I mean, there are, you gotta like, you always have to take these moments as teaching moments. Like I had a situation where I was playing a deck with Mindslaver in it, and I played against an Affinity deck. This is in Modern.
Yeah.
And I ended up Mindslavering him, and he had an Arcbound Ravager in play, but he did not sacrifice his Arcbound Ravager.
Mhm.
So when I got to his turn, I got to sort of, sack his entire board to the Arcbound Ravager,
Yeah.
and then sack the Ravager to itself. So I wrapped his entire board for it.
Oh
But
my
it's like-
god.
but after, afterwards, you tell them this. You gotta. I talked to him. I'm like, being aware of this is really important. You need because in the future you could play around this and you could beat me.
Yeah.
Because I probably lose that game.
Right.
I think I lose that game if something different happens. All right, looks like both players are all shuffled up for this next game. And I'm not sure if Peter sideboarded much of anything. I mean, this is sort of exactly what Reanimator wants to play against, right?
Yes.
Like fair decks that have a tough time interacting.
A turn 1 duress.
Yeah.
If Sergio's on the play, could be nice.
Yeah, I mean that last hand had multiple duresses in it. He just got a little bit unlucky. He just didn't have any black mana on turn 1. Looks like he does have Forest and Swamp in his opener, so mana should not be an issue here. And I think he has. I'm not sure what else is there. Master Neo, if you Mindslaver someone in a game, you can look at their sideboard.
Yep,
Wow.
and I did that so many times
Yeah.
at the PPTQ, and I judge was called every single time.
Yeah. In general, every time I've tried to do that, my opponents immediately concede, which is a fine move to do.
Which is fair if they think they're going to lose the match anyways.
Oh yeah,
They-
if that game's done, like don't give up that information because that
Absolutely.
information is super important. On the other hand, if you're the Mindslaver player and you're gonna lose, but you can still Mindslaver them, still getting that information for
Oh,
you is
yeah.
really important.
Oh, and Mark
And
with
here
the
we go.
beautifully
Fetchlands.
timed fetch lands suck.
Oh, I haven't seen one of those in a while. I
Yep.
missed it.
Sergio is currently ahead because of the fetch land.
All right, and we got a turn 1 Ponder from Peter. So not a blazing fast start. We don't have like a turn 2 this
Yeah.
time. Looks like he sees a Reanimate off of that and a few other cards, and he's gonna keep. I'm assuming keeping that Reanimate, putting that in his hand. Yep. He's got a couple of Lotus Bells. Oh wow, this actually might be a really fast hand if he has either Careful Study or Entomb.
Antimatter J asks, what the fuck does booster mean? That's what Sergio told us his deck was. Looks like he just put something together and he's here to try to learn the game and the format.
Yeah, I mean, Sergio wanted to give a shot at this format, and I think he built most of his deck just from opening booster packs.
Yep.
Thank you, Sydney, for also letting us know that fetch lands suck.
Only
And
legacy.
only
How about
legacy.
hashtag McDonald's sucks, Sydney?
Oof. And Peter, which is with what I was wrong, turns out to be a brutally fast start, having
Wow.
both the Lotus Petals
Oh, wow.
into where he was able to Careful Study, putting Grizzlebrand in his yard, and Reanimate. So it looks like the only thing he was missing from his opening hand.
Yeah,
yeah.
Sergio's like, what is this?
What is
I
this?
mean, this is about as brutal. He's like, well, this
Get
card
this
is
guy
important.
outta here.
I mean, like, really, what are you gonna do? This is turn 1/7/7 is about as brutal as it gets, and Peter should be at 11 since he cast that Reanimate. And lost that
Oh,
11.
yes, that's right.
Yeah, and Peter basically kept his hand on the strength of that Ponder, and he had Careful Study Grizzlebrand, and finding basically the perfect card in Reanimate.
Yeah.
And this is just a brutally fast start. And it's one of those things that he can specifically do against Sergio because he's an Enforce of Will.
Yes.
Devour Flesh.
Oh, he's gonna devour
Get Get that Grizzlebrand out of here.
Ouch.
Let's do this.
Look at Peter.
Let's see if Peter draws 7 in response. Come on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to be unbiased as a
Yep,
commentator, but I'm
he's
really
drawing.
hoping he bricks on Force of Will here.
1, 2. Yeah,
Five,
he goes down to
6,
4.
7. Yep, Peter going to 4 here. It's
Trigger
pretty
on this.
unlikely that he bricks any days, any Force of Will, but I'm loving that there's an answer here. Does Peter have anything? We see a Force of Will, so unfortunately no fun is to be had. Peter gonna Force of Will going to 3 life.
Yeah, yes, that would bring him to 3 life.
Actually I think he's going to 2.
2 life.
Man. A brief flash.
This is
Yeah.
where Sergio comes in with the Geth's verdict.
That would be awesome. He needs the second swamp for that one.
Actually, no, I think he is still at 3. Why would he go to 2?
8 from Grizzlebrand, 7 from Paying the Life,
Wait,
1
why-
from the Force of Will,
8 from Grizzlebrand?
from the Reanimate. He's an 8
Oh,
drop.
yes.
Yeah, so 8 from Reanimate, 7 from the Life, that's 15.
Yeah.
1 from the Fetch Land, 16. 1 more from the Force of Will, that's 17.
So he's
I
at
was
3.
3.
Come on.
Perfectly. Did I say 2? I meant 3. All right, Peter mulling over his options. I know he does not have another Force of Will, but he does have. Looks like he's boarded in Show and Tell. He's got an Entomb. He's gonna go for some other crazy fatty here. I see he has
great.
Sphinx of the Steel Wind on the bottom of his library. I'm assuming he's gonna get something like Elishnorn here, but maybe he'll get something else.
Well, he's gonna get to introduce Peter to
yeah, he's
something
gonna
else
go
that's,
for the
or
Elishnorn.
Sergio, something else that's terrifying.
Yeah, as someone who was brutally Elishnorn earlier today, it's just
You were
Yeah,
telling us about
it's-
that. On elves, that sounds nasty.
yeah, it's great.
Bye, mana dorks.
Yeah, the only card that lives through that is Craterhoof Behemoth, and you don't have enough lands in your deck to cast it.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
So it's not good. Yeah, Peter's probably just gonna exhume this into play, which does double duty of getting rid of future creatures that Sergio could play, and also
Yes.
protecting his Grizzlebrand from any more edict effects.
Pumping his Gristlebrand.
Also pumping it so he's able to attack for 9 and gain 9 life.
Yeah.
In this combat
Which-
step.
Which is very useful.
Metalworker, I don't believe Peter has Inkwell. I know he has Sphinx of the Steel Wind. He has like Ashen Rider and Tidespout Tyrant, but I don't believe he has Inkwell available. Yeah, give us that's what this deck does.
Entomb, exhume, something scary.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yep.
and with Force of Will backup half the time. That's the brutal part.
Sounds like a deck I'd like to build.
Sergio just mulling over his options here. He's got a Forest for turn.
So you just play one ofs?
For the most part, the only card you play multiples of in Reanimator is Grizzlebrand.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sergio playing a Vine Lasher Kudzu. But here's and trying to put a land to put so Vine Lasher Kudzu. I'm glad this is the card I recognize. Is a 2-mana 1/1. And when you play it's the original creature with landfall.
Okay.
When a land comes into play under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Problem here, it's a 2-mana 1/1.
Yep.
So it's going to die to state-based effects from that Elishnorn.
Yes.
Yep.
So before anything happens, before he can even play that land, that card's going to go to the graveyard.
Yep.
Unfortunately for Sergio.
I don't think he has any other answers in his hand. I can't quite see what he's got.
He's got a Groundswell.
I think I see. Is that a Green Sun Zenith?
No, I
No.
don't think so.
Okay.
I,
That'd be nice.
he has 2 copies of Groundswell there, which are not going to do much there. He's trying to. Yeah, so this is sort of going to be a lesson about state-based effects here. He's trying to see if he can Groundswell in response to what's going on with Elishnorn, but because Elishnorn's effect is it's going to be
Yeah.
state-based,
Yeah.
it's never going to be in time. He's never going to have a chance to cast Groundswell here.
Right.
It's just immediately going to go
It
to the graveyard.
simply is.
It simply is in the graveyard. It's a -1/-1. Yeah, Peter just explaining what's going on there. This is as Mr. Graham is saying here to Tour de Force. This is a teaching moment. This is how you learn about these sort of things. About as brutal as they come.
Yep.
And this is going to
This
be
should be game right here.
yeah. I mean, Mark, I wish I had just not played. I could have given it my deck. Although my decks are all like really not nice for beginners. And Peter, a little bit of showmanship here, reanimating the Vine Lasher Kudzu. I want to point out that he played his land second, so he missed a counter, and then just attacking for the win here, and that's going to be our match.
Well, I will say, like I said, I saw Sergio up there. He was having fun. He was playing Sydney when I went up there. He caught my parking ticket,
Oh yeah, that's important.
and we're gonna see if we can get Maverick Delver.
Yeah.
See who wins out for the night. For sure. Okay. Well, there we go. There's a teaching moment.
Teaching
I was in that
moment.
position not too long ago, spreading seizing fetch lands and
Yeah.
doing silly things. I still do silly things a lot. Like forget that I have a Ley Line of Sanctity up.
Well, I think we're gonna see. Hopefully, we're gonna be able to get Maverick.
I believe
and-
we're moving to Maverick Rug Delver, and both of them are 3-0.
Yes, they are both 3-0.
And we've seen the Rug Delver deck. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Fast clock, got through lands. Lost one. Well, we know it lost 1 game to lands.
I'm
We saw it the
interested to
first game,
see
too.
what it's gonna be, how it's gonna go against Maverick.
Yeah, Kavaki and everyone else saying that someone loans him a deck, something like that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
He's expressed interest. He's here. He had fun. He was laughing.
yeah. He definitely did not have a bad time.
What is like the easiest deck to play in Legacy? Because Legacy is such it's like this rapid chess match.
I don't know. Probably to me, I think Delver would be the easiest to learn.
Okay. Jizzo 26, we believe that was an old draft deck of his.
Yeah, for the most part. I'm back. So every match but one is done. I think there were a lot of 2-0s. Rug Delver, I believe beat Maverick, which is pretty surprising, honestly. traditionally a very good matchup for Maverick, or at least relatively positive. Knight of the Reliquary is such a beating for that deck. It is
Oh yeah, I'm
so
sure.
big, and it's very hard for them to interact with it. Our last match that we have going is David Gleischer playing his Titania Pod deck, his Abzan
Okay.
Pod deck.
Oh, we get to see Pod come back.
Yep, and he's playing against
Lance?
yes, he's playing against
And
Andy
we're just-
Bowman.
Okay, so we might get to see Pod get on the field.
Yeah.
And we might filter through his deck, see what he has.
Hopefully. Although I will quoting Mr. Gleischer said this is his actual worst matchup.
Okay.
He said I looked he lost to that first game and he seemed a little dejected about it. It's incredibly difficult for his deck to beat the card Glacial Chasm.
Yes.
And Andrew is a guy who will aggressively search up that card against him. It's
Does
just
he have any wastelands or?
no. There are no wastelands in David's deck. He's playing
Ow.
a bevy of basic lands, in fact, to complement his veteran explorers,
Okay.
which let him search for basic lands.
Yes, the 2, right? Once it goes into the graveyard.
Yes, there's a 1-drop, one mana, 1/1.
Mm-hmm. And you get 2 when it goes into the graveyard.
Yes,
Wow.
yeah, two basic lands. And I mean, on the plus side, it's not like it's not as bad as against Miracles, where that card will just like let them also get 2 lands. I think Andrew only has like one basic forest. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
Legacy,
it's
a
two
lot of
basic
people
forests.
don't run basic lands, so you
Yeah.
get a lot of value out of that card if you are.
Yeah,
We saw him against, I think it might have actually been Rug Delver.
yeah. Against Rug Delver. Rug Delver is 0 basics.
We saw it get stifled early.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
And they
kept him
have to
off
do that
mana.
because those basics are extremely valuable.
Well, he stifled a fetch, and then he stifled that.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's how they want to. That's playing right into their game plan.
Yeah, so we watch him have like 1 land.
So I believe both players here are going to be 2-1.
Okay. Gonna update the
maybe
overlay
2-1.
info.
2-1.
Yeah,
Are they both 2-1 or 1-2?
I think they're both 2-1. Andrew is on the left side.
Okay.
No, sorry, right side.
Right side.
My left.
Uh,
Your right.
Oh yeah, all right. When we're looking at it. Thank you.
Just going to update the overlay here.
All right, we'll get ourselves situated. And are we moving into game 2 here?
Yeah, we were going to game 2.
Okay, 2 or 3.
This is game 2.
Okay.
Yeah, they had seems like a pretty drawn out game 1. Which is not terribly surprising for
Lands.
yeah. Player 1 deck name is
And speaking of coming just to learn, we're here streaming live from Chicagoland Games, the Dice Dojo today.
Yes, sir.
Shop on the north side of Chicago. Pretty spacious.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice
Dice Dojo's a
basement
nice
as well.
area.
We're streaming from the basement.
Yeah.
It's a little creepy. Low ceilings, but there's a lot of room. And I can't even begin to count all of the stuff they have down here.
There's a lot of board games.
All of this amazing geek stuff. It's like Geek Kingdom,
Yep.
and I'm in love.
Big ups to them for being our gracious hosts
Yes.
week in and week out. We recently actually moved on up there. We were down here playing in the basement for a while. Like we
Wow.
were actually playing in the other room down here, and it's winter, and it started to get a little chilly.
It's cold.
And so we've moved upstairs to warm. We retreated to warmer climates. It's nice. So all the players are upstairs, and you can hear the chairs, I assume.
Yes.
But yeah, we're shuffling up for this next game. Yeah, I think as far as this matchup goes, this is gonna be a little tough for Mr. Gleischer.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
His main way of interacting with his opponent is with this card and with annoying creatures. Most of these annoying creatures are trumped by the more annoying lands in Andrew's deck and the
Oh, yeah.
extremely powerful ones between Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale and Glacial Chasm. We'll see though. I mean, there are definitely like very slow hands that Andrew might end up having to keep. But we'll see. The pod deck is also just a bit slow. Like,
Yes,
I mean,
that's definitely what we saw.
it just does not come out of the gates very
It did
fast.
not assemble a board. There was one point where like, okay, maybe it can assemble a board, and then it lost like one component, and it was all downhill.
If I'm not mistaken, there was still an Orzhov Pontiff.
Yes.
in-
Yeah.
yeah,
his
He's
hand.
running Orzhov Pontiff.
It's a little unfortunate that he's got to leave that in his deck. All right, Glacier, turn 1, fetching using his Verdant Catacombs to fetch up a Bayou and casting a Cabal Therapy.
Orzhov Pontiff and a Sin Collector.
Sin Collector's sweet. Sin Collector at least exiles life from them. I'm assuming he named either Gamble or Exploration here. Nope, did not name Exploration because it's not going to the graveyard.
Right.
And Andrew revealing a pretty sweet hand. He's got the turn 1 Exploration. He's got
Crop
2
rotations?
crop
Wow.
rotations.
Yeah, that's really good. That's a Dark Depths already.
The Dark
too.
Depths already.
Dark Depths and Stage.
And the stage in
um,
hand too. Wow.
And,
Wow.
and a Punishing Fire to slow him down. So uninterrupted, this is a turn 3 Merit Lage.
Absolutely. That's a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, this is going to be a little miserable. I would assume that Glacier did not name Life from the Loam here, because that would not really help him.
Nope.
Very much. I think he named Gamble.
I mean, after seeing that hand, he might have just wanted to say, you know what? I'm just
Yeah.
gonna help you end this quicker.
Yeah, this is the downside. Like 2 of the best cards against him are Punishing Fire and Life from the Loam. And both of those cards are completely okay going to the
Just
graveyard.
picking off his creatures.
Yeah. So Andrew playing his Wooded Foothills and immediately fetching up Forest. A little strange he's going for the Forest immediately. I think it's like very safe to go for dual lands against what David is doing. And I think it's also like reasonable to have a basic in your deck to fetch off Veteran Explorer. But Andrew has the Wasteland immediately for Glacier's Bayou. This is at least important because it stops him from flashing back this therapy on a crop rotation.
Okay.
Um,
What line of play does David have to get out of this now that he's seen that terrifying hand?
I think he wants to go Veteran Explorer into take your crop rotations. I think that's his best way to get into this game. Andrew actually took he sacrificed a little bit of speed. He's not going to have a turn. He's not going to be able to attack on turn 3 with Merit Lage this way. Because next turn he can play Stage and Depths, but he'll still be a mana short of activating the stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
He will almost certainly be able to do it the turn after. But these crop rotations aren't actually. I mean, I talk about him taking these crop rotations, but they don't actually mean very much, given that Andrew has most of the cards that matter right
Yes.
now.
And
right.
someone asked for Sir Cucumber asked for a list. I'm assuming for the Abzan pod.
We can ask Glacier about it.
Yeah, and if we do that, we'll post it on WUBRG's Facebook.
Yes.
And Sydney, I will drive you with those monitors to help you.
Right, Glacier fetching up another Bayou here, and he is going to play a Veteran Explorer, and he's going to sacrifice the Cabal Therapy. He's going to snipe those 2 crop rotations, assuredly. And yeah, Andrew not searching. He just has that one basic forest, and
that one very beautifully altered basic forest that gave us trouble in the beginning because it doesn't look much like a forest. There's not a lot of green.
so this is what I was talking about. So if instead Andrew had fetched Taiga on the turn 1,
Yeah.
If David goes for this exact line, he will have a forest in play along with the Taiga, and then on his next turn he'll be able to play both of those new both of those lands, Stage and Dark Depths, and be able to activate it.
Oh yeah.
So he actually like lost out on a mana because he fetched up this forest instead of fetching Taiga.
That is true.
Right.
And then Glacier playing modern staple Voice of Resurgence.
Yes. Beautiful card.
He asked me for this card when
Really?
I came here, and I was very surprised. I mean, I've never seen the card played in Legacy. But it's very good with Cabal Therapy. It's very frustrating for other decks to for a lot of like blue decks to deal with. Even though Swords to Plowshares is a very popular card, like decks without Swords to Plowshares, like it's 2 blockers, if anything, and it could be one very big attacker after it dies.
It's annoying to get rid of. And Jeffrey K asked, any elves tonight? And
Elves did terribly tonight. I was the only Elves player. I lost my first 2 rounds very quickly and decided I wanted to talk about Magic instead of play Magic tonight. All right, so Andrew just playing 2 lands for the turn, playing a Stage, and not playing the Dark Depths. No real reason to play it. Glacier running out the aggressive Orzhov Pontiff, and pumping his team, so he will attack for 3 here.
all right, takes Andrew down to 17.
16. I missed a fetch land.
Sorry, yes. Well, fetch lands suck. It's not your fault.
15. Yeah, God, fetch lands suck. Sorry, I'm not great with keeping up with the overlays. And Glacier just doesn't have very much interaction here. You look at his board; it's creatures, and this is
There's nothing we can really do to stop this Merit Lage.
yeah. Andrew just playing Grove and Dark Depths this turn. He's gonna pass the turn and end step make a 20/20. That's just gonna rip apart David after this.
Oh yeah.
Gonna end up being pretty brutal. Mark, I get that you don't like Abzan. I get it, man.
It's junk.
But this is
It's Abzan.
But this is the new Magic. It's what's happening
The
now.
new
can't-
magic.
You
Get-
can't fight it.
Get with the times. As awkward as it is that Sultai is just so many more syllables, and
Yeah.
then Abzan is more syllables. Like they
We're just
made this
adding
for a
one
reason.
syllable. It's evolution.
Yeah, look, it's not so bad.
It's linguistic evolution. It's the evolution of
I
the
bet
magical lexicon.
exactly. We're past that at this point. Glacier just fetching at a turn. I don't believe, given that he has the absence of Wasteland in his deck, there's not much he can do here. Like even Birthing Pod wouldn't really do much here. It's especially awkward because if he does draw Birthing Pod this turn, he can't get above 20. And that's the real thing. Like if he was able to get above 20, maybe in some world he's able to deal 15 points of damage. But this deck is built for grinding.
Yeah, Pod's not fast. No haste creatures. Nothing that's going to get you 15 damage quickly unless you. I mean, if you have a Murderous
my.
Red Cap combo.
Glacier just drew Caracas.
Okay. Well,
So
is that a one of? They usually just one.
almost
Right?
certainly. I think almost everything in this deck is a one.
I was about to say I've also never seen anyone run more than one Caracas.
At times, I have seen Miracles decks play like multiple Caracases,
Okay.
and Death and Taxes plays 2 to 3 copies of the card.
Okay.
In general, but Glacier just dropping the Caracas on the table. And I gotta say,
Well, we discussed an answer, and here it is.
I had no idea this was in his deck. I mean, it makes sense. It's effectively better than like the 3rd basic planes or whatever.
Yeah.
I have no clue what's in his mana base. Andrew going for the mana mode on Dark Depths, removing a snow counter manually. That's pretty awesome. I'm very surprised. So now Andrew just has to dig for a Wasteland here, a Wasteland or a Loam. He cycles Tranquil Thicket and draws into Mazabeth, which is going to significantly slow the beats. The anemic beats are going from 3 a turn to 1 a turn.
Yes.
And Sir Cucumber, wow, makes a pretty good point about the evolution of our language and language itself
Tend to lose syllables.
as an inept vessel for meaning.
I agree. Very fancy. All right, so yeah, Glacier's just hoping to draw like basically Birthing Pod at this point. Like now that he has the Caracas, he's all in on hoping Andrew doesn't do something powerful.
Bounce,
Yeah.
bounce, bounce, assemble a board state.
Yeah, like he just wants to provide annoying things that like go wide, go as
Yeah.
wide as possible here, so that Andrew can't keep up with Punishing Fire and Mazabeth.
Yeah.
Yes.
and Bowman probably wants a Wasteland.
Yeah, he can draw any number of Wasteland, Rishadan Port, Life from the Loam, Crop Rotation, which will get him out of this.
Oh yeah.
Which is what it is. Looks like I think he drew a Thragtusk, or has a No, he has Thragtusk
Well,
and
that'll
2
give him
lands in
above
his
20
hand.
life.
He's gonna have to fetch to do it because he's got to leave that Caracas up, unfortunately. Yeah, he's gonna
go
fetch here. 16. That Orzhov Pontiff notably haunting that Voice of Resurgence. That's probably not going to come up in this game.
Nope.
I
Get
mean,
rid of all those pesky 1/1 lands.
yeah, I mean, Thragtusk, though, a pretty good draw here. It's a creature that does not die to Punishing Fire. And that's like really what he wants to draw here is like bigger things that he can grind through Punishing Fire with. Because next turn, Andrew runs a bit of a risk by Punishing Fire this Voice, because it could just, if he plays another creature, it's immediately a 3/3 and out of range of any future Punishing Fires. Now he's going to gain 5 life.
Yep, we got Thragtusk on the board.
And again, 21 life.
So he got above. We talked about him getting above 20. He did
He's
that, but
there.
preempting that, he drew a Caracas.
Well, Andrew going to gamble, and that is not what David wants to see. He's going to gamble for life in the Loam, assuredly here. He has no cards in hand, so the card's going to go. It's effectively in Tomb. Red in Tomb. That's going straight to his graveyard, and then next turn he's going to be able to dredge it back.
Yep.
So theoretically, in 2 turns, Andrew will try and put a Merit Lage into play, and we'll see what he can do till then. He's just got Windswept Heath and this mystery card he drew this turn. He's probably just going to attack with both creatures. See, it looks like he has a Reclamation Sage, which has, unfortunately, the only target is that Exploration, which doesn't really do much right now.
But as you said before, if he has any way to get rid of that Caracas,
Yeah, it's gonna. And he's got a Wasteland in his graveyard. Just gonna take 2 here, down to 13.
Oh, right, which he quickly used to get David off of mana
Mhm.
in the very beginning. I think that was like one
The
of
very
first
first
things he
turn.
dropped, yeah.
First turn, he went Exploration, and he wasted it. He's going to play Reclamation Sage, plays Windstep Teeth, and pass, letting him know that he is hellbent at this point. Loam is going to get dredged, flipping Crop Rotation. That is all 4, and Richardson Port. So if you didn't need, if you didn't have the Wasteland, hit that port anyways. Pretty rich right now.
Now, a backup plan for the backup plan.
Well, for what it's worth, he can only play one of these lands this turn. If he didn't have this Reclamation Sage, Andrew would just be able to have it all. He would be able to have this 20/20 this turn. He could get to go play a land that taps for mana, Wasteland your Caracas, pass, and then activate the Thespian stage. But this way, he has to wait a full turn.
Yes.
It's still pretty bad, given this Mazavith is just gaining 5 life effectively every turn because of that Thragtusk, and 4 a turn is just not going to cut it. Yeah, Andrew's just
Let's see
gonna
that Wasteland.
deciding what land to play. He's gonna play the
Oh,
Wasteland.
Yep. That's all he needed.
Yeah, and now he's likely just gonna pass, or Wasteland immediately. I think he's just deciding what he really needs to play around here.
Yes.
If he wants to expect, like, I don't know, the random. Oh, okay. Okay, for what it's worth, if Andrew Wastelands him now, David does have Titania in his deck.
He
Oh,
does.
when it
yes.
comes
That's
to
why this is
yeah.
this is Titania
This
Pod.
is this is the Aftling Day of Titania Pod. So if he happens to Wasteland him here, he could just peel Titania and just put it right back into play. And then Andrew's got to do it again. He's doing it now. So I think the draw is going to be live, which would be pretty great. I would be thrilled because he's been talking about playing this card for a long time and he just couldn't decide what deck to put it in.
Yeah, he absolutely. I mean, he made a point of telling Alex that this was Titania Pod.
This is in
Yes.
fact the pod deck built around.
You know what? That's a good compromise. Let's just change the name to Titania Pod.
All right. It's been told, and he's gonna fetch. Let me do the live totals real quick.
Yes.
I'm a little. I don't know if he should have fetched down there. He's going.
Into Merit Lage range.
Yeah, he's fetching this Dryad Arbor. In case anything dies, he just wants to put as much power on the board as
And a
possible.
backup chump blocker.
How about this?
All right. All right.
We're compromising here. Yeah, Jeffrey. He might have Titania's response. Who would expect that one? Did he draw it? Pod would not get there, unfortunately, because he doesn't have a 4-drop in play.
No. What's Thragtusk?
Thragtusk is 5-drop.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that the top of his curve?
I believe so. I don't
Or
think
is
he has any
what's
6s.
Titania?
Pithing Needle. That is a phenomenal draw.
Oh, okay.
And he is assuredly naming. I mean, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wonder if
Oh,
that was lethal. I think we had the life totals wrong. My mistake. He named Mazavith and killed him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. He just won. I can't believe he won that game. Some timely draws. Timely draws from Mr. Glacier. That is just fantastic.
that was very cool.
Wow. Good job to him.
Well, we wanted to see Titania Pod get something, assemble a board state. They're gonna have 12 minutes to play this next match.
Yeah, this could be rough. This is a pretty grindy matchup. But wow, what a draw. I'm really sorry, guys, that we had the wrong life totals there.
They're going to game 3. They have a little less than 12 minutes.
Yeah.
A little less than 12 minutes. Okay. So we're a bit up on the timer. They actually have a little bit less than 12 minutes. I mean, obviously.
I gave them an extension so when they moved.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
But man, that was I mean the Caracas draw, the Thragtusk. His draws had to be like pretty good, and the Caracas and the Pithing Needle in particular.
Oh yeah, those were fantastic.
They're perfect.
And once again, we're here, Chicagoland Games, Dice Dojo, north side of Chicago. Nice place. Even the basement's nice.
I love this store. I've been going to this store for it's like the first place I started playing Magic in Chicago.
Wow.
Years ago I was drafting here, and they've always been fantastic. It's just a great store.
And this is our Mark as he's going to bed. Satsuka Kawai. Once you guys know, we're not gonna have a stream next Wednesday. Probably not Wednesday or Thursday. It's the holidays.
Yeah, unfortunately, MTG Card Market is our usual location for those streams, and they'll be closed for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Indeed, they will. Good night, Mark.
But the Wednesday after that, Dream Team's back.
Yes.
I'll be commentating a format that I actually know something about.
There you go.
Sydney will be there, and Alex will be giving us hand information.
No, I'm gonna be playing.
Oh, you're playing.
I'm playing Giftstron.
Right. Alex is playing Giftstron because he promised the stream he would do that.
Yes, I
and he
did.
pulled through.
Good man.
Yeah.
He promised he would do that.
And it
Didn't have any of
turns
the
out I
cards,
really
and
like the deck
Sydney built
anyways.
it. So
So, yeah.
All right. Looks like people, both these players mulling over their hands. David's hand looks pretty interesting. He has both. He has Birthing Pod in it, which is pretty excellent.
yes, we have not seen that card do any work,
but
when we've seen him play.
Yeah, but he also has a GT in it. Yeah, and he's shipping this back. I think it was just like Pod GT lands,
Yes.
which not the best hand. So he's gonna go to 6 here. Andrew keeping 7. Can't be great news for Glacier. Although he did beat that phenomenal hand that he had the last round. I mean, you know, he can get there. He has the cards. in
Is
his
there
deck.
much of a better draw for lands?
I mean, there was. I mean, if he had made that one different play, I think he would have won the game.
Yeah.
I think that the play where he fetched Forest instead of Taiga.
Yeah, he definitely needed to fetch for that Taiga.
Yeah. But we'll see what this hand has a Crocus in it, and a Thoughtseize, and a Forest. I don't think it has.
And I
another
definitely
land.
don't think he'll
Siege Rhino?
make that
I
mistake
think I saw
again.
a Siege Rhino in there.
There's definitely a Siege Rider on the head. I think there's a Kasali Pride Mage as well. He has Caracas, he has Thoughtseize, but I do not think he has Black Mana. He's keeping, though. Andrew with a Mox Diamond discarding Wooded Foothills. Rishadan Port.
And yes, the Jekyll Modern on Wednesdays. Not not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that. We'll be back.
Mhm.
And every Wednesday thereafter, till time itself collapses.
That's right. And Glacier does have the Marsh Flats. So you'll be fetching a black source here. I'm assuming a Bayou, if you will.
I will,
Good.
if you want me to.
Thank you. I will. Considering, I think, playing around Wasteland here, I don't know if there's much he can do in the way of that. I mean, he can fetch basic Swamp, but the mana requirements in this deck are kind of steep.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he fetches for it, Swamp here, he can't cast, like, Voice or Kasali Pride Mage if he draws them. It gets awkward. He's reconsidering, though.
We also know something I want to see come down in this deck. He has a Stoneforge Mystic.
Yes.
Do you know what targets he has for that?
He has
With GTA.
He certainly has GTA. I don't think he has Batterskull in his deck.
We were hoping he had Batterskull.
Yeah, it's kind of goofy because I mean just the idea of pod my 1-drop into Stoneforge Mystic, get a GTA is pretty awesome. All right, fetches Scrubland here, and he's gonna cast Thoughtseize. We'll see what Andrew is working with. Andrew's gonna respond by punishing Fire David. So I'm assuming that means that there are not very many good targets for this Thoughtseize.
No.
He's just throwing it out there. Just take 2. Yep.
So it's going down to 17.
In fact, no targets.
He's going down to 15 because of the Punishing Fire,
And
correct?
the
Alright.
Thoughtseize, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Andrew just tossing a Punishing Fire at David's face because he has 4 lands in his hand.
Yeah, that's something I would side out against lands.
I mean, he wants to have like some sort of Thoughtseize effect.
Just to get rid of the crucial components?
Basically, yeah. He just wants.
Okay.
It's also just one of the few ways he can actually interact with what they're doing. Like it's obviously not stellar. There are a lot of draws. I mean, this lands deck plays like 35 lands, and they could just completely ignore Thoughtseize. But other times it takes gamble, it takes crop rotation. You're just hoping to like give them as many speed bumps on the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Andrew's playing a land for turn. Last turn stage, this turn he's playing a Taiga in passing.
And as we saw, the Rug Delver, it had a good matchup against lands. It's just fast enough. I don't know if
Basic.
Pod has that kind of speed.
It's fast enough, and it's It's more disruptive.
Oh, yeah.
In more annoying ways, basically.
Yes.
Andrew electing not to use Rishadan Port this turn,
We see the aforementioned Kasali Pride Mage.
and Andrew's gonna
Crop
respond with a crop rotation, fetching a Dark
Straight
Depths,
for the Dark
and there's a Merit
Oh,
Lage,
wow.
Wow.
That was
okay.
really fast.
and that's it.
That's
Yep,
it.
That's the
Yeah.
scoop,
There we go.
and-
Lands
oh,
wins.
wow.
I
Good
thi-
games.
I think I thought that Glacier had Caracas in his hand at the end there.
So that
He did, but he never played.
that Thoughtseize needed to be an encroach.
Yes, Encroach. For those who are unaware, Encroach. Black sorcery, look at target player's hand and choose a non-basic land card from it.
Wow.
This is
Thoughtseize made just for lands.
Yeah, an uncommon from Urza's Destiny.
I know way too many cards.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, wow.
It's not often we talk about Encroach. It's not often anyone ever mentions that card, but I gotta say, it's pretty good
That's
against
perfect for
lands.
the lands.
It's not good against Life from the Loam, but it is good against that exact hand there. Encroach would have been optimal. And yeah, as we see, David needs to draw very specific cards to be in this matchup.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't draw them, he's just going to die. That's sort of what happened there. Andrew's playing just too hard to interact with. All right. Are we going to be doing anything else for the stream, or is this going to be just about it?
I think that's the end of the night.
I think so. I think we wanted to try and get the pod deck to do a primer.
Primer?
Or at least post the list to our Facebook.
I think we can do that. Thank you, DeBoy Blake, for following.
Oh,
Appreciate
that's
it.
my boy.
That's
That's
your
my boy, Blake.
Blake?
Blake,
Thank
my
you.
boy, you're here.
I appreciate
I
it.
had
We
no idea.
were waiting on you. But yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure what is in David's pod list. We could have him pile it out. Maybe, I mean, worst case scenario, we can have him post the list that he played.
Yeah,
with
we'll have him
to
post the list to
page.
Facebook.
We can just do that. There was no high tide tonight. We almost never have high tide.
No.
Nathan is a guy who he plays he loves goofy combo decks, and he has played high tide on occasion. Oh my goodness.
Sir Cucumber, good point. Birthday Pikachu seems like a better merit lage, considering that when it hits, it's your birthday.
Oh, adorable.
I agree with that. But yeah, I think we're going to get out of this cold basement after we thank Rednecks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Rednecks for the follow.
Appreciate it.
Again, this has been Phil, Alex, and Ryan. You can't see our faces.
Yeah,
No, you can't.
unfortunately, our camera is just malfunctioning tonight.
Yeah, wish you could.
But we want to thank you guys for tuning in. I want to thank the Dice Dojo for hosting us.
Absolutely.
Dream Killer, thank you for following. I'm glad to get all these follows right now. This is
think
great.
Dream Killer
We have squirrels on
follows-
Thursdays. Wooser Rugby.
Every
10.
now and then we do.
Yeah, squir-
We've seen squirrels.
Yeah, we have seen squirrels.
We've spotted squirrels. They're real.
Yeah, but no squirrels tonight. We had I mean, it's the holidays, so we're gonna have a little bit of a lower attendance than usual. That is, I don't know what that.
$15 on the table is, but
Yeah, it's money apparently.
that's a bribing needle.
Yeah, bribery perhaps just
Yes.
been cast.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks you guys for tuning. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Thank you Dice Dojo for having us. Once
Crimson
again.
actually, he said he wanted to see Maverick versus Delver. We tried to get that on, but it ended very quickly. Delver won.
Ended 2-0.
Yes.
So Mr. Kyle Hauptman was undefeated tonight.
Yes.
4-0.
Yeah.
And he played very well, except for that one minor slip up we saw.
Basically, yeah, that one days. Like the one game we really saw him lose.
Yeah.
I see David's taking your voices out.
Yeah, I think he's gonna throw those right in the
I
garbage.
think he's gonna sell those. And Dream Killer, we're glad you started playing.
Yeah.
And we'll be here. Like we said, we stream Wednesdays. It's a different format called Modern. If you want to check that out.
Yeah.
And I'll actually know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
And we love new players. We love new players.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's one of the great parts about being in the community is helping new people.
Yeah, we want as many people to play Magic as possible. That's
So
all
it
we
doesn't die.
Thank you for the compliment, Metal Worker.
Yeah.
And I think we'll see you guys.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also-
and check us out Wednesday, Thursday, and Monday.
Of the new year, I guess.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, so happy holidays to all. And special thank you to Phil for saving our asses.
Yes.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, guys.
Take care.